Good evening, everybody, or wherever you are in the world. Welcome to CPL 6, King of the Tier. I'm Neblime, joined by Saetzero, and tonight what we're bringing you is not regular Match of the Week action. It is in fact going to be the King of the Tier tournament, organised by Pete. Big shout out to Pete for doing all the work there. We smash all the players of one tier together, and see who comes out on top. So, we're going to be casting the finals of each tier, Tier 3 all the way through to Tier 0. I think it's going to be a pretty exciting night. I'm pretty excited to see these games. What do you think, Saetzero?
I think it's going to be a great time. For anyone not fully aware of what this is, it's just for people in CPL, in your tier, running a tournament before the season gets started. Everyone can kind of, throw their weight into it, see, like, hey, am I the best of what I'm doing here? See, like, where everyone kind of lines up, and then coaches get to use this to, like, see, like, oh, this guy's the guy to watch out for. It's going to be cool. I got to pay attention. But also, it's just a good opportunity to check out some of the maps that we're playing in CPL 6. The map order for the finals that we're going to be casting here is best of 3, and we're going to be casting Polypoid into Eclipse into Neo-Sylphid for the game decider if it's necessary.
Excellent. So, shall we jump in and look at our bracket for Tier 3?
Absolutely.
Okay, so... Oh, it says Tier 1 and Tier 3, just ignore that. Like I said, we're going to start with Tier 3 and work our way up to Tier 0. So, the two finalists, as you can see there, are Gerfang and Ruzo. So what is their journey to get here? That's what I want to see. What did they have to go through to get through here? At the bottom, we have the losers bracket. And you can see that Ruzo actually came up through the losers bracket. Had to win one best of 3 versus Gerfang first. Sorry. Wait, what? That doesn't seem right. Is that correct?
Ruzo lost in the semifinals and then...
Oh, that's what happened. Yeah. Sorry, I thought it was this double best of 3 thing. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
That's all good. It seemed like the two players we got in the finals here kind of dominated their way through. Both of them making it to the semifinals before the finals, and then Ruzo getting knocked down, said, I'm having none of this, gets right back into the finals, wants that rematch.
Alright, so it's like the grudge rematch. That's pretty hype. I mean, did they kill any amazing players to get here? I'm just trying to look at the earlier bracket, because, sometimes, what they say, the real finals can be back there. Rizzo taking out Nice Pants. Nice Pants not bad.
I'm seeing some mainstay names from the Tier 3, but both these players, from what we've seen of them so far, seem like they're pretty strong players. Wouldn't be surprised to see them moved up to Tier 2 reasonably soon. So I'm excited to see what both their players got coming for us. Unfortunately, I see Gerthang knocking out my boy Skizmo on my team. Not a fan of that. We're unbiased. We will cast. We're all good.
Well, on that note, what team are they both from? They're both Smurfs, says Magic Bullet. Well, we'll find out.
Well, our Tier 3 representatives. Gerthang coming in. He's representing Team Amigos. And then Ruzo coming in, also representing Team Amigos?
Oh no, brother against brother. Alright then, well.
The sign of CPL corruption. Look at this Tier 3 domination from Team Amigos. Everyone should be on the lookout, especially Week 1 matchups. If you're playing against them, study these matches, get ready.
That's right. Alright, well, as Saetzero mentioned, it's a best of 3 for the crown. Let's jump in and get into our first map.
Absolutely.
Alright, in the top right here, in the yellow, we have Ruzo, and the bottom left, in the navy blue, it's Gerthang. PVZ here on Polypoid for game 1 of this best of 3.
That seems reasonable. Kind of curious to see what we see, because like we've done some of the match we cast some of these like the Tier 1, Tier 0 players, and it seems like there's a lot of variety, but when we're casting like this Tier 3, this lower level player, I'm curious to see, especially from the Protoss side, is it going to be that gateway expand? Is it going to be that forward expand? Is it going to be just that 2-gate I've seen popping up more and more frequently?
Well, speaking of the Protoss side of things, what is going on with his APM right now? This is Tier 3, guys. Chill. He must be spamming hardcore. Like, that's pretty high APM right there.
I mean, hey, you played in this tournament all day. You're in the finals. You're amped
True.
up. Got that adrenaline pumping. I think you're ready to go.
Well, do you reckon Gerthang might be a bit nervous? Oh, actually, maybe the other way around, because they already played in the semis, right? and Gerthang won. So is Gerthang thinking like, yeah, I got this guy's number, or is it more like, ah, crap, he's figured me out now, he's back for revenge, you know?
I don't know. I know that's like that's a spot I don't want to be in, where it's just like, if you won before, you feel that little bit of that pressure, especially like if games start not going the way you want them to.
Yes.
Now, look at Gerthang going for tier 3, going for a gateway expand.
Hell yes.
I respect it. That's bold. It's a little hard. You gotta be good with the control of your zealots, especially on a 4-player map like this. A lot of open areas to get caught out, and it's like there's no guarantee you're gonna be in this position to really put the pressure on.
Oh, that Ursidon blocking. Okay, he's looking for an Overlord there, man. I'm liking this play out of Gerthang so far. Some high-level concepts on display here.
It makes a lot of sense, but I think a little unfortunately for this gateway expand to be cross spawns going across like this. Not really what you're looking for here. Now, we didn't really talk about the openers from the Zerg side of things, but that basic overpool, that's stuff you're used to seeing.
Oh, did you see this, though? He hit the drone behind the minerals in case the probe showed up, so both players showing some really cool stuff in their openings so far. You know, maybe this is what gives them the edge over other tier 3 players. Like, you know, people have their openings, where these players, they just have that, like, one extra step, making that a little bit better. Oh, wow, look at this. It's Gateway Nexus, no Forge. I guess when he scouted the hatchery timing, it's safe to go for that. But I love that adaptation, not just grabbing the Forge for safety. He knows he can get away with it because he sees that it's overpool then hatch.
I mean, I think a big part of that isn't just the fact that you see the hatchery timing, is that is cross positions. You have all this extra time. Ooh. And then the pro was there saw that it was only a handful of links. It's still a little bit dangerous. You got to be careful with an early zealot in a silly way. You see here, usually with these gateway expands, you see a little bit of pressure from these zealots, but this one's staying right back at home, plugging the walls, and even probes being pulled to make sure he can get away with this opening.
Yeah, I think when you lose the scouting probe, this becomes much harder though, so that's a very unfortunate loss for Gerthang. With gateway opening in particular, the scouting probe is really essential, keeping that alive as long as possible, so Gerthang a bit in the dark, and you know, like you said, it's a bit unfortunate it was cross position, so I feel like Rizzo's taking a bit of an early advantage, like only slight, but you know, it's just the start of tilting his way. We'll see how we go.
I mean, my experience playing this gateway expand, you do build a couple zealots, you kind of work your way through. Look at these zealots, these links trying to work their way through, kill a couple probes, which is pretty decent for what that minimal investment, getting some probe kills. The can didn't get finished up, but look how fast that Nexus is already completed.
Yeah, that is true. That's a big deal. And you know what? Since the gateway's already done, you can get your cyber right away. Although he's actually building another zealot instead. Thing is, I still feel like it's good for Rizzo because he was up against Gateway Expand, but he only made 4 lings. You know, normally Gateway Expand you force out like 8 or so at least, so it's looking pretty good. But he is going for 3-hatch Hydra here as well. But again, it's cross position, so this is slightly less effective because the Hydras have to travel a long way. But, you know, with Protoss totally blind because he lost that scouting probe, this could work.
I mean, you always, like, people always think like, oh man, I don't know about this 3-hatch Hydra cross positions, you're not going to get the pressure on. You don't have to make a lot of Hydras. You don't need the hard commit to that kind of attack. You can just kind of threaten it and just, if your opponent overmakes cannons, overmakes the defense, plays a little more cautiously, that could just be your opportunity to really drone up, get a 4th base going, get into your lair tech safely. This 3-hatch Hydra is built so flexible, and then we're going to see what Rizzo decides to do with it.
Yeah, well, he's getting Hydra speed so far. Of course, if you're crossing the whole map, you have to do that, but he's still droning, curiously. I wonder if he's actually just going to go that like mass Hydra style where you don't get the lair for ages, if he's just going to add more hatcheries here, because he kept droning even when the Hydra dam was finished, trying to get those upgrades out.
I mean, I think you got these links at the front, you can keep an eye on it, like, see how the zealot count's building up, see if more cans are being added on, which actually, this gateway up at the front for Gerthang not being active for a significant amount of time, really trying to cut corners as best they can, get things going, getting that second gas on the way. And you see, in the base, like, the cyber core is done, the tech hasn't been started yet, but it looks like Gerthang trying to get that economic advantage as best they can, which, consider how fast that Nexus was. Very greedy play, and Rizzo might be able to take advantage of this.
Okay, well, we do have a Citadel build coming up, and, you know, against this kind of, like, 3-hatch Hydra, it's probably for the best because your Storms will be slightly faster than if you got a Corsair out. But he still has to live that long. He does get that second safety cannon. 3 zealots moving out now, but they're going to see that Hydra, and that's like, oh god, panic button. There's Hydras here. There's not supposed to be Hydras here.
We're seeing a cannon getting added up there, but I think if you're really preparing for this Hydra thing, you got to add more cannons. You need to survive, especially with the Citadel opening. Just survive till you got Storm. That's the big go button to make sure you can
Look at this
get
Overlord. This Overlord does not give a shit. It's just going straight in there.
I mean, what's gonna punish it? Like, there's no cannon in the main. It'd be irresponsible to make a cannon in the main. But you see Russo pushing forward, trying to get an opportunity, trying to poke down one of the cannons, but walking into some zealots, taking 3 significant losses. It does not kill the cannon. I'm not sure about that attack. Russo keeping the pressure.
Okay, but all these cannons going to finish up. I don't know. I feel like Gothang's probably going to survive this. And Russo's going to have to transition because it just looks like there's going to be enough cannons up. There's not really much Russo can do. Well, more Hydras are continuing to be made. No Templar Archives yet, by the way. Oh, wait, no, I'm wrong. Oh, but it's in the natural. Overlord's seeing it.
Well, we're already starting to see a little bit of that transition for Russo, adding on some more hatcheries back at home. Still building some Hydras, but not super hard committing. Now, if you don't really go overboard, like a lot of cannons were made, you still forced a lot of things out of here. And that forge at the front, you can stop this from finishing that upgrade. I think you might be in a decent position. Russo just needs to be responsible here, not overcommit.
I think Gothang's trying to stall this out with the Zealots, but there's no way. That +1 is like 50%. There's no way you're going to have enough time for this.
Yeah, I think that's just going to be a loss you have to accept here. And we see from the Pros player not remaking that forge in main or anything like that. So this is the last cans that can be made. So Russo really wants to go hard. He knows exactly how much he has to deal with in moving forward. But now that Templar Archive is finished, we see Storms on the way. And it's some High Templars in production, so I think Gothang's going to be able to defend this. I want to see Russo like kind of chill out on the attack, take some drones, get another base going, lean back knowing his opponent can't move out right now.
No, it looks like to me, well, you say that, but he immediately tries. Well, I guess that's why he can't.
That's why he can't. He tried.
Looks like it's going to be all Hydras all day, though, from Russo. I don't see any sign of transition. He's getting that 4 Thatch, but I think that's just more for more Hydra production. Coming down here to hit before Storm is done, but does get repelled, though. Zealot for speed actually pretty effective in front of those cannons. And for now, there's nothing Zerg can do. And you know, it's only a matter of time. Once Storm is out, Zerg is in a pretty awkward position here. Because as you mentioned, he hasn't taken the opportunity to drone up or take up at all. He's just saying, Hydra's a good unit, cannon's bad, here I come. And you know, that's pretty good, getting 2 cannons there without much trouble.
I do like the movements we're seeing from Russo here, going in and out, trying to poke down these cans just a little bit here and there, like not overcommitting, trying to draw the Zealots out, get some free damage, and you can see that gateway up the front going down, and some of the cans already done. Remember, that Forge got killed, so it's going to be hard to replenish. Like, a lot of money being wasted. Robo on the way as well, respecting that Lurkers could be a possibility, but if we look back at Russo's base, there's no lair. This is Hydra. It's going to happen.
And that Storm more or less wasted, by the way. The second one was good, though. And yeah, Storm is out now. I assume more Templars are on the way. So over time, this is becoming less effective for Zerg. But I don't think the first 2 Storms really did enough. These Zealots, well, they're getting in there.
Actually, you say you assume more Templar on the way. They're not, though. It's just Zealot production.
That's a problem. You really just need Storms. I mean, but Zerg is kind of locked in here. If they're just not going to make any more drones, then all Protoss has to do is build up a big enough army that they can, you know, just storm down all the Hydras and move across the map. You know, the thing is, if it was a Stargate opening here, we probably would have seen more cannons from Gothang because he would have that intel with the Corsair that there's no lair going, and then you know you just really need to commit to defending this. But because he doesn't have any intel on the map, he's really got a kind of minimal defense here. I mean, it's kind of silly saying like, you know, 7 cannons is a minimal defense, but against Hydra-Bus, like a committed one like this, it's really not quite enough.
Yeah, this is honestly, I'm very worried about the Pros player here. You can see like, without the wall at the front, you can get the, whatever concave you're looking for, poke up as much as you want. Storm's not ready. The High Templar haven't regenerated the energy. Hydra's moving back in, just killing a little bit of cans here and there, poking on Zealots. Zealots actually going in for the engage, trying to take this fight in the middle of the field. Russo has reinforced, moving across the map. Both sides taking pretty significant damage here, but I think these Zealots have to pull back here and try to survive because you can't afford as a good thing right now to lose your army.
Well, if you trade Zealots to buy time for Templars, it may work out in the end, because the Zealots ultimately are less important. I think they traded alright. They killed some Hydras, they lost some Zealots. It wasn't terrible. But yeah, really just need more Storms out here, that's the key. And you know, I really like that Gothang's got a great robo timing following up from this. He's not going to be caught off guard by a sudden Lurker switch. That's really great, actually. A lot of Protoss players we see make that mistake where they just don't have a robo and suddenly Lurkers are out.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good moves from both players here, but unfortunately...
That was a great Storm, but also a great reaction from Russo.
We're seeing all these units moving across the field for the Zerg, keeping that pressure on, but you can see slowly adding on more Pros, getting more Templar. Another decent Storm, but not going into the big crump of Hydras. Moving out in the middle of the field here, I'm not sure about this fight here. The Hydra's getting taken down, having to morph into Archons. These Zealots taking a lot of free fire damage. I think Girthang is overstaying a little bit here, losing all the army, and there's so many Hydras still in the middle of the map. This is a very dangerous spot. It was looking so good until it went so wrong.
Yeah, I think the Storms just weren't placed the best, and he just overwhelmed. And now he's coming in here for these cannons again. No energy available. These Templars are vulnerable. There goes one. Oh, and the cannons are falling. There's not that much left here for Protoss. I think Zerg pulls back, expecting a storm in a moment. He's right, energy just became available. But yeah, this looks like a very tenuous position. Girthang's got his back to the wall. Well, some goons have come out, though. They can try and replace the cannons, but to be honest, they don't do that good a job. Here we go. Nice storm.
That storm is huge, doing so much damage to these Hydras. Can't move in forward. Doesn't want to be taking a bunch of damage. But all the Zealots are gone. It's just a couple Dragoons now. Storms are already being wasted. So the armies keep getting reset back and forth, but look at Girthang's economy. 43 probes made for them, 6 gateways of production as well. So if Russo keeps throwing things in here, but look, now it's links and they don't even have speed. You can see Russo
+1 weapons is done, by the way, so these Zealots will tear through those Zerglings. Oh, Templar snipe.
I think the Protoss player just hung out just long enough. Like, Russo really committed to this attack, never got that lair time, didn't add up more drones. You see Girthang being bold, moving out on the map, and Russo having to concede all this pressure. And if you look at the state you're in, Russo knows how bad it is and taps out of game 1. Girthang taking a convincing win in the first game.
Yeah, I guess like you said, his economy really kicked in with those 6 gates there. And even though Russo done a good job picking off Templars and Cannons, he just didn't kill him before he kind of pulled ahead. So wow, really great game from both players there. I'm very impressed by Russo's like Hydra Micro and just his opening in general, and Girthang as well.
Yeah, both these players looking very strong. I don't want to play against either of them, and I'm not even in tier 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Like you saw, like that was both players doing pretty like normal kind of opening stuff you're supposed to be doing, and then it's like a good reaction from both players. It wasn't just fumbling your army away. Both players being very careful to not lose their army in a silly way, trying to eke out the advantages they could. That was a great game 1. If that's what we're going to have moving forward, I'm excited to watch the rest of the series.
Yeah, I mean, that sets the stage, but it looked like Russo was dominant, really, until he suddenly wasn't. Alright, here we are in game 2. In the top right, in the yellow, it's Russo, currently down 1 game. And the bottom left, in the navy blue again, it's Girthang. Love that color consistency. He's nailing it.
See, I know we've talked about this before, and you say you play random colors, so if you love color consistency, what are you doing, brother?
Oh yeah, I'm a hypocrite. If you're casting my game, screw you, I'm not helping you, but if I'm casting you, goddammit, you better make it easy for me.
You're a little bit of a nightmare. So game 2 going to be on Eclipse instead of Polypoid. You know where your opponent's going to be, but is that set distance? It is diagonal. It's a pretty long rush between the 2 players. But I think Russo, if you're willing to do 3-hatch Hydra like that on Polypoid, I don't see why you wouldn't do it here. But is this where you audible? You tried 3-hatch Hydra as such a stable build, and your opponent defended it without too much trouble at all. Is this where you go, I don't want to try this again, maybe we should do a more economic opening, go into a real mid game, not just try to close the game fast?
Well, I think in any series you want to mix it up. You don't want to go for the same thing 3 times. I mean, sometimes it has that element your opponent like doesn't expect it, and also if it's some build that's just like breaking their play, there's just nothing they can do. But in this case, I think it'd be better to switch it up for sure. Opening wise, though, I think they're both going to do the same thing. Well, we'll see if we see a gateway again. Honestly, I think on a 2-player map, gateway opening would be even better.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense on Eclipse, in my opinion. Especially since the wall here, with that little egg on the side, it's a little bit hard to get like a really solid wall. You can see that gateway being made on the right side. The side's supposed to be on, in case anyone watching unaware, gateway should be on the right side against terrain. Forge is on the left side, just to get you that tight opening so you don't have to worry about lanes. But that gateway moving across, and you even see that probe moving right across the map once you see that pool timing. Although, from Russo, I think we're seeing something a little bit more aggressive. We're seeing a little bit of that overpull, but I'm hoping to see more lanes, because last time we just saw 4, it didn't get anything done, didn't shut down.
Well, I think against Gateway he'll have to get at least 6, because the Zealots will actually come across the map this time, I believe. Gets that hatch down unmolested again, though. I think Girthang sent his probe a bit too slowly there. So that's pretty good. Anytime you get the hatch down without any harass at all, I think is quite good for the Zerg. Okay, only makes 4 links to begin with, but he doesn't know that it's Gateway again yet.
we're seeing from the Russo, only 2 pairs of links being made. So again, kind of enough to make your opponent respect what you're doing, but not really trying to break through, getting pressure on. Just probe in the main. Let's see if Girthon keeps the scouting probe alive a little bit longer here, because that'd be super nice. But you already see a drone moving out. I think Russo going to be going for a very similar style, trying to get that 3rd hatchery up as fast as possible. And we're seeing the same thing from Girthon, this super fast Nexus with this gateway expand, which is, to me, it's just wild. Like, I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but it's just like one of those, like, man, you have the fortitude, you have that courage. I respect.
You know what's interesting is that Russo sent a drone scout because he knows his Overlord's going to get here a bit too late for him to make the decisions he needs to make. I really like that, just making sure he's being safe here. But one thing I don't like necessarily is Girthang sending this probe back. It looks like he's just going to send it home. I think that's a big mistake here. You really need to keep tabs on what the Zerg's doing. If it's another 3-hatch Hydra bust, you want to know. And Girthang's kind of voluntarily blinded himself there, just sending that home.
I mean, this is one of the things, though, about this gateway opening. If you know where your opponent is and you feel comfortable moving out a little bit, those Zealots can move forward. And you move out at the right time, you can see, like, if the Hydras are in production, because you'll see them available for the defense. You can kind of get in there. The Zealots can do the scouting a little bit for you. So maybe just wants to get that economy going, push out with a couple Zealots that will force, like, a reaction, get some Sunkens up, or, like, make more Lings. Try to get a reaction out of Zerg rather than just the information.
That is a pretty fast Cybercore, by the way. He's going to have a really good, like, Corsair timing if that's what he chooses to go for, or Citadel again. We'll see. So I don't know. I think Girthang's opening, you know, hasn't put him in a bad spot at all because he's got that fast Nexus again. It's just there's so many things Zerg can do that you need to know about. But we don't see a 3-hatch Hydra yet. But that said, the lair hasn't started either. I suppose it's about to.
Hey, we are seeing a difference, though, from Russo. This time we're actually getting the link speed. So
Ooh.
an adaptation being made, realizing that those Zealots later on were a bit of a problem, trying to invest some of this gas, making sure these units are a little bit stronger here, get a little more map control in case Girthang does manage to break out a little bit here. And we are seeing a Citadel opening again, so committing to that style, doesn't care about the Stargate, willing to play in the blind here. And we see from Russo not going for this lair, committing his Hydra. Like, the big punish for this would be to go Mutus, but they're so far away. Girthang getting that build order advantage, reading his opponent as just this kind of early game Hydra player.
Oh, that probe trying to sneak out now, but I think with link speed, well, Russo not sending anything to deal with it yet, but he should be able to catch up with it. I'm sure that Overlord saw it, but did he notice?
Yeah, the did he notice, I think, is the thing, and I love this path way out of the way, really avoiding any kind of reinforcements, no opportunity here if you can get in there. Now we are seeing a little bit of a deviation from the Protoss players. Stargate actually on the way this time, not just that hard commitment to fast Templar, but hasn't gotten the scout off to really realize it's this kind of Hydra play. So still getting that early Citadel, has the opportunity to get it, but hasn't started Zealot legs or anything. So the tech here, the order seems a little bit weird, but I think Girthang's still sitting in a pretty comfortable spot as this probe just walks right into the main.
You know what's unfortunate? Russo got supply block there just as he needed to make all his Hydra list. But this probe gets in, like you say, walks right in, sees everything he needs to see, so he should know now. I expect we'll see more cannons coming up soon. Well, we'll see.
We're seeing lots of Hydras on the way in production. Like, just everything's producing Hydras right now. So, if you see Girthang, if he can get this probe, see some of the Hydras on the way, should know what's going on. Hasn't started slamming down a bunch of cannons just yet, and this Overlord at the front realizes exactly what kind of defense you're dealing with. Temple Archives on the way, so I think Girthang reacting appropriately to what it is, and Russo's going to have to try to make a move before this defense gets out of control like we saw in Game 1.
I'm worried these cannons are a bit late, though. I don't think he realizes when he's in the main. That's what he needs to worry about. All Protoss out there should know, Den before lair, Protoss beware, you're going to need more cannons. Because he didn't actually see any Hydras out, I don't think he realized that this was coming, but if you see no lair, you know you're up against a bust.
Is this the one? Was that
No, the one is way better, don't you worry. Surely you've heard that one before.
No, I haven't.
Interesting.
You're making me groan. You see, we're trying to poke these cans down, but unlike what we saw in Game 1, takes a lot more damage here. Pulls off, loses a couple of Hydras, doesn't get any significant damage on these cans. And if you look at this front, 7 cans here up at the front, not being able to pick off this 4-4 +1 finish. And with this Citadel opening, like, and Zealot legs nearing completion, I think Girthang's in a much better spot now than we saw in Game 1.
Yeah, for sure. This defense just seems totally solid. I mean, maybe it's a better SimCity setup, but he just kind of laid down enough cannons, like, just in time. We saw them morphing as the Hydras arrived, which is really what you want. So I take back what I said. He probably knows more than me that he didn't need to actually put the cannons down yet, and so he just waited for the exact right moment. Really nice defense here. Now, Russo is getting a lair this time, so he's definitely going to have more potential to transition out of this. He's already making a couple more drones as well. So I think he realizes, okay, he's not getting in there this time. Last time it didn't work either. Corsair is out.
Of course, that's going for scouting right away. No, it's going to get the overlord kill, take the advantage. But we're seeing some of the Zealots move out into the map, get some free kills, pull back before they lose anything, making a use of that Zealot legs being completed here. And Corsair is going to kill this Overlord out of the main, so that way there's no real knowledge about how many gateways are being added, what the plan is, if it's going to be dedicated to base Protoss for a while, or some kind of plan to get this third base up for too long. But I love that both players, even though the game opened very similarly, both players making those adaptations, realizing like, nah, I got to move it to the mid game, I got to do something else, and Gerthang sitting here is like, I know you're going to move it to the mid game. I'm getting a Corsair. I need to scout. So both players reading the situation appropriately, getting us the game 2 we really want to see.
Yeah, I'm liking Russo here going for double Evos as well. I think he's going to be going for Hydra Lurk, is what we're going to see. I'm intrigued that Protoss is getting armor here. He already has +1 weapons, but he's not starting +2 weapons. I don't know if that's actually like better against Hydras. Since some Protoss in the chat can tell me.
So getting armor does help you a little bit, because the +2 for the attack is much more critical against Zerglings if they're getting the armor upgrades. So if they're not getting them, the +2 versus the +1 not quite as critical. It helps you if you get into the base and start hitting buildings and all that kind of stuff. But it's not as critical here. But Russo moving forward, trying to get something done. Gerthang actually being very respectful here. He has a DT, but there's no overlords. He can really kind of move out and start being super aggressive. And look at that. This one KP boy going to push back an entire Zerg army.
Or is it?
Oh, here comes that Overlord just in time.
Got him.
Like that.
Nicely done by Russo, that Overlord just arriving in the nick of time. And actually, that's a pretty big deal, because Gerthang could have set that out, try and threaten the third or the main or anything like that. But now, you know, again, he's stuck in his base. I mean, he's getting to the point where he has enough Zealots, I think, to actually push this back. But Russo has decent defensive setups at his bases, so he's probably not going to get busted here. But Protoss might be able to take a third if he takes his back control. Oh, decent storm there.
Good storm. Zealots moving out, trying to deflect this Zerg, but unlike what we saw last game, remember, you complimented like the timing on that Robo, making sure there's protection against those Lurkers. Lurker aspects is finished, and Lurkers are being morphed, but no Robo's even been started yet for Gerthang, so very different feel of this game. There might be an opportunity where Lurkers can really open up the field, and even still looking at Russo, he wasn't all committed to making this early game play, really droned up, actually leading in workers now, so the situation for Russo looks way better this game than game 1.
Well, you know the rhyme for this one, don't you? Robo by 9. Robo by 9 per Bisu's design. But unfortunately, it is a bit late, so these Lurkers are going to be able to take map control back, probably. And if Zerg can set up a big Lurker contain there, it's a big problem for Protoss.
Yeah, I mean, Russo, you can see everything being positioned here, still being careful, wants to, like, just take control of these bases, make sure Zealots can't get in here. I would love to see Russo take this opportunity, though. You see that the Protoss not trying to move across the map and be aggressive. This is the opportunity to take that 4th base, start taking control of that upper left side of the map, and lean towards that double gas for the late game. But here comes Gerthang, looking like they're going to start posturing across the map, but with no observers, this is not going to do anything.
Yeah, well, you know, in this PvZ mid game, there's usually like 2 pretty common paths that can go, where Protoss takes a third and Zerg just tries to deny 4th while they're on 5 bases and they win, or Zerg takes a 4th and just tries to deny Protoss 3rd until they win. Those are 2 pretty common scenarios, but hang on, there's a fight coming in here. A lot of Hydras here, no Storm just here. He did morph 2 Templars into an Archon, but he sees the Lurkers. I think he knows he can't do anything about that.
I'm a little bit shocked here. If you look at this game, you see that Russo doing a good job keeping the workers up, making units when they need to, and really holding up on these 3rd bases, being in a good spot. But look at Gerthang. This giant bank of money he just can't spend, hasn't added on the gateways in time to really be able to spend this, and not moving out across the map to take that 3rd base. So I think Gerthang in a good spot to play was just a little bit cleaner here. You finally see that probe moving towards that 9 o'clock, getting another base established. And while Russo's still just being very defensive, not taking their own, I'm a little bit worried, because with all this money just kind of available, Gerthang's army should be stronger, and Russo not taking that next step in the mid game.
Well, don't worry, because PvZ is the matchup where you can build like 15 cannons at one base, and you're not a noob, you're pro. So he can spend that money, don't worry. Like, because he's got to fortify this 3rd, right? So he can just use that bank for that.
I mean, mean, it's just going to be a difficult situation to see so many lurkers being made for Russo. That supply, every time it's so close to being even with the Protoss player, like, it does not feel good for Protoss here.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, Saetzero. Supply is the same, Zerg wins the game.
Why are you doing this to me, man? This is the end of my weekend. What are you doing, man? Like, you can cast with other people. You don't have to do this to me.
Well, you're the one here casting. You're my victim for today. Okay, huge number of lurkers coming up here. I think the first observer is out. Yeah, there it is. But is this army enough? I don't see any Templars here. Templars are down to this southern army. If he can sneak in and take out that third before the army repositions, that'd be a big deal. Starting to set up the lurker field.
We're seeing engaged from the Protoss player, but seeing the lurker spines doesn't want to go through. I think even an observer is not going to be enough. Good storm on the right side here. A little bit of a flank here, but I think Protoss just does not have enough units here. You see so much damage being done, but all the Hydras moving away from the lurkers. A little bit dangerous here, but so much free fire from these lurkers. Big damage from Rizzo. Giant lead, and you see coming out of that big supply lead for the Zerg with a worker lead, and that fourth hatchery finally being started at the 12th spot.
Well, this is like you were saying, because he can't spend all that money. His army's isn't as big as it should be. But the third is still up. As long as this third doesn't fall, I feel like Protoss is still doing okay. Obviously, you don't want to get your army reset as Spirit Protoss. That's never a good thing in PvZ. But if he can maintain this third, get the probes there, and rebuild his army, I think he'd be alright, because Zerg's only just starting their fourth now.
I mean, this is still just a rough spot for Girthane, though. Like, he's got to be able to move out of the map. And Russo, I think really it's just going to be up to Russo. If they're good with their units, don't lose them in a silly way. A big storm going down, taking down some damage on these Hydras. And we're seeing Russo trying to move across, really trying to reposition and use these lurkers in an annoying way to slow down the Protoss player. But Girthane not having any of it, trying to move forward and keep the pressure on. While that third base has been established, there's no pressure here. Russo's going for the throw, going for that natural.
Oh, I don't know about this. The cannon's in range, actually picking off some of these lurkers. That's a pretty big deal. And there's a few Templars at the back here to Storm. And Zerg's going to lose all his lurkers, I think. Storm's going down all over them. My god, it's monsoon season for these lurkers. And the Hydra's getting cleaned up by the goons. I think that's the end of this pressure from Zerg. And now Protoss is free to saturate that third. And honestly, he's looking pretty good because the Zerg's drone count, you know, he's not really that high. There's nothing going on at this fourth base yet. And he doesn't have a hive on the way or anything like that.
I mean, I think the Zerg's still in a good spot. The word count for both players about even, and I'm sure there's some rhyme to describe them, droves or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the drone count for the Zerg slightly higher than the Protoss, and while there's not stuff at this fourth base for the Zerg yet, there's no probes at the third base for the Protoss either. So, like, both players kind of in that stasis where they should be feeling pretty comfortable. That is a big loss for the Zerg, going forward so aggressively, losing all their lurkers and Hydras, resetting their army count. Now, both players do have some army, like some minerals to remake all their things, but it's dangerous. You saw Russo had a good opportunity, kind of fumbled the engagement, was a little bit over aggressive, and Girthane being so defensive, kind of building up. And if you look back, there's so many gateways here. I just don't want to see Russo make another engagement like that and kind of give the game to Zerg, or give the game to the Protoss player.
Yeah, I mean, as we mentioned though, Girthane's still struggling to macro. He has a huge mineral bank here when he really could use just a huge amount of zealots. Now, it looks like Zerg might come in for a counterattack here while the Protoss is out of position because he's advancing on this high ground, but the third is not well defended. 4 cannons is not enough. You really need Templars there. I can hear something warping in, but it's not cannons at that third, that's for sure. Oh, he's putting some for drop, but it's not going to be enough.
Finally seeing that next step for the tech tree on the Zerg player. That Queen's Nest on the way, and some melee upgrades being researched. So Hive going to be moving forward, trying to get into those cracklings, make a better play to start taking down bases and control things. But Russo moving forward, Girthane trying to get an engagement here for the lurkers burrow. And a good storm over on the right side. A lot of lurkers on the left side not in the fight at all. Girthane finding a good opportunity to take a fight.
Yeah, there's not many Hydras here. It's mostly just lurkers, so these goons going to be able to clean up. Some more Hydras coming in from the left. Storm repels them and does a lot of damage to those lurkers. Yeah, this is a good engage for Protoss for sure. He's going to clean all this up, I think.
Yeah, this is just a terrible spot. You see here, all those lurkers got killed, just Hydras left over. Plenty of the Protoss army is still available, but that giant bank behind it, 12 gateways back in the main. So much production capability for Girthane. Russo can't be afforded to lose his army. Look at the supply difference now. If Protoss moves forward and tries to shut down this fourth base, or really anywhere they want to go here, I don't think the Zerg can actually defend any of it.
Well, like I was saying, that's all Protoss needs to do. You take a third, you deny Zerg's Thorf, then eventually the game will end, Protoss will win. But I don't know if he's aware of this 12 o'clock location. I mean, he's sending more and more army out here, so maybe. It does seem kind of an odd location for Zerg to take, actually, because it's quite close for Protoss to take. Typically what we see pros do is Zerg will take the bottom right 2 bases, and then Protoss will eventually work their way to the top left, and sometimes it ends in a split map on this map. Okay, Protoss is coming up here now. Looks like he doesn't want to take out this base, but Lurker's just hatched, and this is a reasonably defensible position for Zerg.
But the lurkers aren't burrowed yet. All the
Oh, they're clumped. They're clumped.
They're pretty clumped. There's plenty of tempo here with good mass storm.
Lurkers clumped together. Prepare for stormy weather. Boom.
You can cast the rest of this game, man. Have fun.
That's not even the one I told you about, to be honest.
I don't know why you keep doing this.
But yeah, Gerthang doing a great job crushing through here. Oh my gosh, he's destroyed this fourth. Is he going to take this series 2-0?
Honestly, I don't know. It's not that Rus is not a spot where you can fight for this game, but these engagements just a little bit suspect. Some of these lurkers not being burdened in time, the positioning, especially lurkers being too close, vulnerable to storms. You can see that Gerthang.
Oh, Protoss reinforcements. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, this is just a rough
GG.
fight.
Wow.
Fantastic game from Gerthang. Taking the tier 3 2-0, looking very strong here. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Like, that is a strong player. Like, I'm expecting that to be in tier 2.
Let me put it this way, like, props for taking it 2-0. It was definitely a strong performance, and, you know, that attack at the end was beautiful, and those reinforcements are a really strong move. But we can say the cracks were there as well, you know, like some macro slipping for sure. And in the first game, like, you know, his response to 3 Charger wasn't quite perfect, but definitely looking really strong. And I don't know, tier 3, you reckon, Snipe? How many Benjamins did he give you? Come on, tell us.
Well, I mean, they're both on Stormcorn's team, right? Like I'm not.
Coincidence? I think not.
I'm not saying anything, but I can imply it all I want. No one can stop me.
All right, well, let's move on to tier 2. I'll bring the bracket up now.
Well, while we got a little bit of a time.
Why do they all say tier 1? What have I done? Oh, well, they're right back. But go on.
While we got a little bit of time before we hop into the next tier games, just to give everyone that's watching, let's talk about a little bit about what we got going on for everyone here. We're CPL 6. We're here. Regular season's about to start. If you didn't see it, if you go to TL.net, there's a post. It'll tell you who you're playing this week. The matchups are set, so you can just go there, see you're about to play, start preparing. You can see the maps, you can see your matchups, start practicing, get your coaches involved, learn how to get better at this game, be as good as these guys we just saw play. Other than that, if you're loving the content we throw out on this Twitch channel, I know, like, we don't fucking chill, we don't do it, but apparently I'm gonna
no, do it.
We got that Twitch subscribe button. I'm not saying anything. You know where it is. You know what to do. I don't have to tell you.
Yeah, man. If you give us the Benjamins, you get them back virtually. You can use the emote. That's the scheme here.
Literally, you can DM Snipe and bother him all you want. Say you gave Benjamin.
Oh yeah, that's right, guys. Fun fact: if you subscribe at the top tier, then you're allowed to message Snipe 24 hours a day about going down a tier. It's legit. Trust me. That's definitely an official thing.
Other than that, we do have a Ko-fi set up. You can see the links in the Twitch channel. Just scroll down a little tiny bit. Help support the people. Like, the people running this league, we don't take it. It's for the people helping out outside of that. Like Super Saiyan, who did these awesome graphics for us.
Oh, they are awesome. Let me just fix one.
He's helping us
Boom,
so
look
much.
At that.
This is kind of what we're throwing out at people. And other than that, just get ready for the regular season. We're starting up. We got one more match of the week coming up. Tuesday, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Usual time. You know what's going on. That'll be the last match of the week with preseason games. After that, we're getting into that real games that actually matter. It's going to be super exciting. But right now, we got games that matter so much. Like this King of the Tier tournament, this is bragging rights. People love this stuff. So let's get into that Tier 2. What do you think?
Yes, so looking at this bracket. So in the finals, we have Hungs and Telvanni. Now, I wouldn't have thought Telvanni would be able to come back that far through to lose this bracket, because look at this, got eliminated in just the second, well, I guess it's technically round 3, but for Telvanni the second round, and then he clawed his way back, one opponent at a time, went through all of them, and now he's here. in the final. Now, Hung's journey was obviously a bit different. He just went through all his opponents, never went down to losers bracket at all. Wow, he beat Hazley Knight. You know, Hazley Knight's one of the pretty good tier 2s. So good job by him. NCX is asking for a team breakdown, by the way, of the top players. But go on, what are you gonna say?
Well, for tier 2, we have Hangs representing SKT4. That's Snipes team. Telvanni representing SKT4. It's
oh
still
my
Snipes.
god.
I'm not saying anything about how the teams are made and the admins who chose their teams, but
CPL is corrupt. We know it.
It's a little suspect, right? But all the players doing a great job. I'm actually really impressed to see Hangs here in the semifinals being NCX. That's a name I've recognized from the CPL in the past, so that's definitely a good win right there, proving that they're supposed to be here and doing the job. NCX even make it all the way to that last round of the losers bracket where Telvanni got the run it back. So we're gonna see that Hangs versus Telvanni, and NCX was so close, almost did it, but I guess it's gonna be SKT4 team kill, and I'm cooking some people.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hung's definitely going to be the one to watch, but we'll see how this finals goes. Maybe Telvanni, you know, it's not easy to claw your way back after going down there. But he did it. In fact, I just see both of them beat Hazley Knight. Poor Hazley Knight.
Yeah, a little unfortunate. I was watching that stream earlier.
Oh, there you go.
Are we ready to start the game?
We are indeed. Let's do it.
Fantastic. Let's get into the first game of Tier 2 for King of the Tiers.
Alright, in the top right, in the red here, we have Hungs playing Zerg for SKT4. And in the bottom left, in the yellow, we have Telvanni playing Protoss, also for SKT4. PVZ again. Here we are starting on Polypoid in this best of 3.
Not to burst your bubble, we didn't update the names in your overlay.
Oh, true. I better do that. Well, Saetzero, take the wheel.
Absolutely. So we're on Polypoid. Like I said, what we're going to be having as far as the map order for all these games, it's going to be Polypoid, then Eclipse, and then Sylphid if it's needed. Also, remember, these are all double limb brackets, so if the person that came from loser bracket runs it back, you're getting another best free of charge. It's bonus. It's like buy one get one free over here, and that's why we got that subscribe button. Like this content.
By the way, guys, subscribing is not buy one get one free. We're probably going to double charge you, like buy 2 get 1.
I don't know. We're going to see here, but ooh, Telvanni, look at that pylon in the main.
Yeah.
Has no interest and on a 4-player map. So bold here. Is this going to be that 2-gate zealot pressure that I've been seeing become a little bit more common? Just saying, you know what? Zerg sucks. I'm tired of 3-Edge Hydra. If I just throw zealots at them, the problem fixes itself.
Well, I don't know Telvanni that well, but from what I know, he does quite like goon busts. So we might see starting with 2-gate, but then transitioning to that 4-gate goon bust that is technically a thing. We'll see. Could just be zealots. You can definitely end the game with those. Hang's going for the 11 pool here. Sorry, the overpool, I should call it.
Overpool?
11 pool's misleading.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty reasonable opener. 4-player map. You're going to have the units to defend yourself if you need them, but you see here again, cross positions going to be hard for Telvanni if you're going for that really aggressive opening, which there are those 2 gateways. So what I was saying is, like, Zealot's going to be marching across the map, trying to punch some drones to death and seeing what they can get done. Now, I hope that we don't see what we were seeing from last game where we had this overpool opening, but not making 6 lanes, just going for 4, trying to be a little greedier, get the hatchery up, trying to cut the corners where they can, because Telvanni's going to be having none of it with this opening.
Oh, looks like it's the typical 4. That's the safe number you normally go for. Well, hang on, more minerals coming up. It will be a drone. Well, I don't think it's necessarily a problem yet, because you've got time before the number zealots builds up. But the problem is, with not going hatch first, which obviously is considered greedy normally, is you don't have the creep here in time for a sunken. So a typical response, sometimes Zerg just puts a sunken in the main and abandons a natural and tries to tech. Ooh, the scouting probe. You know, even more so than gate expand, you really don't want to lose this probe when you're doing this build. Oh, 1 HP! Oh my gosh, okay. Bisu probe lives on.
Yeah, if you can move.
No!
I couldn't even finish my sentence time before it got killed. I was just like, please, you need to survive. But the drone does get over to the Protoss base, sees that there was not a wall, and sees some zealots moving across. So Hangs has that full knowledge of what's going on. And you see immediately, 3rd hatchery being popped down, not at another base, wants to keep everything close together, easier to defend. You're going to have so much larva and so many links available to help deflect this attack.
Yeah, I mean, since it's cross positions, it is kind of like, oh, well, have I just gone the wrong build and I got unlucky? But at the same time, you have that kind of power projection element where you just like force Zerg to make Zerglings and Sunkens, like you say. But the thing is, Telvanni's not really going anywhere behind this except a Nexus. He's not teching right now. I'm pretty sure he's about to expand here. Okay, he's getting that forge. Ling's coming for a backstab, actually, but that may prove to be a mistake. If Telvanni's Zealots and Probe can take out these Lings at the front, they'll suddenly have free reign on the drones. But then again, these 4 Zerglings are probably going to do serious damage as well.
I mean, those 4 Zerglings in the Prost base, remember, it's 2 gateways producing Zealots, while Telvanni's over there, like, pushing with 3 Zealots here, going to be able to really get some pressure on. I think Hangs is much more in a dangerous spot here. I think these Lings that are over in the Prost base not going to be able to do the job that you see. And you can already see from Telvanni, this worker lead. Hangs has to keep cutting drones, can't make anything, while these Zealots really doing work at the front of the base. Telvanni's choice here, even though the macro is slipping a little bit, like, this is a good choice against what his opponent did, and Hangs is going to be in trouble.
Yeah, really nice job there by Telvanni to defend in the main, also attack at the natural here. Oh, and I missed it, but another Zerg got picked off there at the natural. Sunken is going to come up, but I don't know if it has time. These Zealots actually say, I don't care, you can make a Sunken. I'm going in the main, that's where the drones are. And there's only 7 of them left. Oh.
So many builders getting made. Hangs can't be afforded to lose. As you can see that the gas was mined for so long, just 300 gas just kind of sitting there, unavailable to be used. The drone's trying to be microed a little bit, drill, trying to get away from these Zealots, but that means no mining's being done. No more units are going to be able to be made, and Telvanni still making Zealots back at home, adding on some cannons, going to be able to move to that next step. I think Hangs is in some significant trouble.
Now, the Zerglings here did kill a probe or 2, and it's good damage, but it's just not quite enough to even this out. Gets another probe, though. I mean, that's great value, but... Oh, he's attacking the Sunken. The drones do not have a very good drill path. I think they can come on this side, but unfortunately I'm just going to retreat. Nope, they're coming back. This is the only defense Hunks have. He doesn't have the minerals for any more Zerglings. This is it. And that Sunken falls. 2 more Zealots show up. Oh, I think this game might end very soon.
Yeah, I think this is just a little bit of a strategy difference from Telvanni. It Hangs not making they need to, losing all the drones, not being defend what we saw here, and Telvanni taking very easy game 1. I think that's what you want when you're kind of walking into the finals. Just like, you know what, if I can just let's relax, get the tempo down, take that free win.
Free win? I don't know about that.
I mean, as far as the games I've seen in a while, that was as free a win as you get. Both the Zealots and the Zerglings at the beginning of the game just kind of walk past each other. But when you see 4 Zealots walk into a pro space that has 2 gateways already made, that's kind of a free win.
Well, yeah, it's very interesting that Telvanni was like below 100 APM the whole time. I guess he just plays slowly and deliberately, and this just goes to show that APM doesn't really matter that much. And you know, guys, Snipe, the admin of CPL, who rarely goes above 200 APM in my experience, but he's still very good. It's true.
I mean, you're absolutely right. APM, not everything.
Too busy alt-tabbing managing financial transactions to get above 200, you know.
There you go. Speaking of alt-tabbing and managing things, let's get into that next game.
Of course. Alright, in the top right in the teal, we have Hangs, currently down 1 game. Bottom left in the yellow, it's Telvanni, taking game 1 with double gates in base. I wonder if he'll do the same. Maybe that's just his style.
I mean, if that's your style, I think it's reasonable. It seems like it's getting like a little more infected into the meta, especially if you see some of these openings from Zerg, like be able to disrupt that economy, throw Zerg off their normal game plan seems very reasonable. And on a 2-player map, even if the distance is a little longer, you know where they are. You don't even have to send that probe scout and see it. Which, I mean, if you're doing 2 gates and just kind of going off on it anyway, you don't need to, like, you're going to do it no matter what your opponent's doing anyway. So, I think that seems pretty reasonable for Telvanni if they wanted to be doing this again.
Here's a thought. If you go for hatch first, does the long rush distance prevent a probe from blocking it with a normal probe scout timing, or will it get there in time? Because against that double gate proxy, like, oh, not proxy, double gate in base rather, hatch first is the best thing. Double gate proxy, you want a 9 pool because you just go to their base. But double gate in base, you really want hatch first because then you have that creep for the sunken, you have more lava for lings. It really is just ideal, but obviously when your opponent's going forge, most of the time it just gets blocked. Now, we do see the pylon in the base again, and there's probe coming like pretty early as well.
Yeah, So I think we're seeing a very similar opening from Telvani this game, looking like that's just the style choice we're seeing here. And before the game really gets kind of ramped up here, we got a little bit of downtime as we see Telvani going into that game plan we saw in the first game. Shout out to Specialist for running the King of Tiers tournament today. Like, this is a good opportunity for people to get involved and be able before the season really starts to get like something for StarCraft that they want to be doing. And shout outs to him for just kind of running all this stuff and you know, conscripting us to cast it for him.
Conscripting, yeah. No, I'm a happy volunteer. I'm really glad he organised this. Okay, the probe gonna block here, and you know this is actually. Oh,
that's such a move. I love this pylon block. It's just to lay the hatchery a bit. If you're going 2 gateway Zealot anyway, you can slow down that larva.
Nice pick off of that drone though. That's a great move to come and snipe that before its shields get back. So, you know, both players making some moves here. The hatchery will go down a bit delayed.
Yeah, the pylon doesn't cancel, no real thing, but that does slow down the larva. You can see 1 gateway already done, Zealot nearing completion. 2nd gateway also on the way here. And Telvani's build not really getting out of sorts at all, but there's been no scout into the Protoss base. So when this Overlord gets here, I think it's hoping for a wall, but it will not see one, and that's not going to be great news for Hangs.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't know if Hungs is just expecting it again, because he didn't send a drone scout like we saw in the Tier 3 game. And, you know, that Overlord is actually pathing to the main already. So he's just straight up saying, oh, okay, this guy's going to do this every game.
I mean, when you see people doing... I wouldn't call this cheats.
Yeah, look at this. Like, he's doing 3rd hatch at the natural, so I think he just assumes that's what it's going to be from now on.
Yeah, I think this might be one of those things. It's just you played against a build like this, and you go, you know what? I think this is my answer for it. It didn't work out the first game, but either that this is your experience, it's like this has helped me get through before, or there's just an opportunity where like, well, I sent out of those lanes, and I shouldn't have done that. I'm gonna make that adaptation. So I think Hangs, we're seeing what is we're gonna see here. Now you see this time lanes moving across the map, but there's more lanes this time, not just the 4 or 5. Now we see a full pack of 8. They're gonna see these Zealots on the map, and they can take this fight if they want to.
Yeah, pretty good response by Hungs here for sure. And I don't expect Telvani to be able to get anything done, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's disadvantage if he just expands behind this, forces out more and more links. Because, yeah, Zerg has just stopped droning here, but the layer is on the way. Okay, links suddenly engaging. It's a good surround, but, I mean, I think it's just too many Zealots for the links to win here. They do take out 1, though, and with more Zings continually popping, he can probably wear this down reasonably well.
The Zealot's not even that damaged here. Some of the shield's gone. Like, you see that some of the things being taken down here, the Zealots in lanes kind of reducing their own numbers back and forth, but Telvani's not getting slowed down, keep making Zealots without too much issue, while Hang's trying to build up whatever resources to go this lair build. You can see, like, if the plan was to go Mutas, you need to get minerals, you need to get gas, and this is going to be very hard to actually balance all this stuff.
Lots of links hatching, though. He's going to take these Zealots out, I'm pretty sure, and they're not even in a good position. So that'll end this aggression for now. And Zerg's lair is about to finish, and when Protoss is in this kind of difficult position, Mutalisks are really hard to deal with. If he just throws down that Spire, keeps the Zealots back, I think Telvani's in a pretty tough spot.
But can they... Well... Telvani, the moment I started saying that, I didn't even get to finish it before I was wrong. I was like, well, if Telvani keeps sending these Zealots across the map and keep putting that pressure on, like, can Hank actually afford to get the Spire up to really kind of keep things moving here?
Well, the problem is, you don't know if Zerg's got link speed here, and if you move out with these, like, 6 slow Zealots and there's, like, 20 speedlings waiting for you, you lose all the Zealots, then you lose your base. So it's very risky, but he's going to do it, like you say. So yeah, maybe it will be so that Zerg has to just keep making Zerglings here. Because yeah, the drone count is extremely low. Like, he's not going to be coming out with like 9 Mutalisks here. It's going to be like 4 Mutalisks suddenly in your base trying to kill all your probes.
I mean, if you're looking at what the Zerg player has, they're supply capped. There's no Overlord being made. There's 1 drone mining gas. You're going to get lucky to get 3 Mutalisks right
yeah,
now.
Maybe. But look, here's these Zealots.
See some of the Zealots trying to take that fight in the main. 1 kept moving forward, gonna like do that, like, let's keep you honest checks, make sure you made a sunken. And you can see this a little bit of a micro fight back and forth here between Hangs and Telvani in the middle of the map, but this is giving Telvani that time they need. That Nexus on the way, trying to take that next step, even though both players really cutting workers very aggressive.
Yeah, I really like that Hungs is trying to like delay this as much as possible, though, moving back and forth. It's really well done. Well, I don't know about this though. But I think with this sunken, he should be able to defend this. Yeah,
especially behind those two batteries, it's going to be hard for the Zealots to actually get to it and start attacking it. So this feels pretty good here. That Spire now completed in the main. We don't see any mules on the way. Just can't afford to build them. Realizing I have to make drones, I have to get to a next step. And Telvanni's starting their cyber core, finally going to start developing some tech of their own.
There might still be time for Needless to come out here. I'm surprised he didn't go for them. He's studying link speed as well now too. I guess he's thinking that I just need more defense for these Zealots right now, and Needless won't be enough. Here we go, they're going to try and get in there. There's a lot of Zealots, man. Nice choke there. Surprised he didn't go for an egg block though.
I still think you've got to get some needle with this here. Just it's damage that can be done to them that can't be fought back, and they can't run away because they're not speed.
Yeah, that's true.
Get pulled away, trying to get into this fight. The Sun can do so much work here.
Yeah.
About half health, not being attacked. Zealot's kind of melting slowly over here, but Hank's still losing a lot of units as they try to convince.
Oh, nice drill. Great drill on the ramp. He does lose one drone, but he will clean this up, I think. So the drones rolling up their sleeves there and getting to work. And now we see the munis coming. He did make 6 Scourge. I think that's in anticipation of a Stargate, but there is no Stargate yet. But there will be cannons.
I think that is one of those. Remember, when you're playing Zerg and you're making units, if you pick all 3 of your larvae and you hit a button, it makes it with all 3.
That's true.
That might be a little bit of a misclick. But just hit S for select, S for Scourge, and then just wasting a lot
That's
of
why I
gas.
rebind Scourge to X. No way I'm going to hit that by mistake.
That's smart. There's your pro tip. Don't let that happen to you. I think you can see the Scourge moving across the map in positions that at least they'll be useful. They can catch a drop or get some scouting info, but you can see that the way Hags is positioning these, I don't think these were intentional. Others would be in the main trying to hover over that Stargate, snipe that first Corsair.
Yeah, you might be right there. Well, I like that you're taking a stride, though. You might as well send them out to check for hidden bases. You never know. Or, you know, in some universe, there might be like a proxy robo. That is a thing we've seen pros do. So, yeah, fair enough.
I mean, that's just one of those things that happens. Sometimes you play a game, it's like, oh, crap, I never started this upgrade, or I made something else. You just got to roll with it, because,
yeah.
I mean, it's pretty done. Like, you can't survive it. Telvanni, though, back at home, like, didn't really see any of the things. Like, I think the all the Zealots got killed before there's mutas on the map, really saw the tech, but still being very responsible, making some cannons back in the main, so they're going to have to protection against mutas whenever they do come. And you can see, starting to build up that work account. Telvanni's situation looking pretty good here. Hank's finally trying to move across the map, but with only, like, 4 mutas, I don't think they're going to get anything done.
Ooh, taking out that Overlord's a pretty big deal when Zerg's economy is this small as well. Okay, Mutila's coming in here. Cannon is ready, though. Getting a couple probes.
The one cannon that was out on the bottom either got canceled or killed. I didn't really catch which one.
I think he destroyed it, yeah.
Yeah, 3 cannons in the main. Don't attack here. This is not where you want to be, Hanks.
Oh, the goon just waiting to snipe. Oh, he doesn't. One shot off killing.
Half those mutas on like the brink of death, so low on life right here. And Hank's gotta try to get something done. If you look back at home, Hank's making a crap ton of drones, just trying to buy time, hoping their opponent does not move out here. Because trying to be as active as they can, get some damage done. But Telvanni is back at home. They got that Temple Archives done. They're working on Zealot speed, adding on some gateways. There's gonna be a pretty intimidating ground army soon. I wonder if Hank's gonna be able to defend against it, because you look around, there's not even a Hydra that made.
Yeah, I mean, once you get a few Archons out, I don't see what answer Zerg has to that. You need to make a DT as well. A bit difficult with no Corsair. I would have said since Zerg doesn't have Overlord speed, it could be good, but without any Corsairs, I mean, how do you bully the Overlords? Well, he's going to go for it anyway. Only a few Mutalisks left here. Still just looking around. Do you think they saw that blur? Probably not. Very hard to notice that. Just drives by that Ling. See you, buddy. Archon is out as well, by the way, if these Mutalisks try to come back in.
Oh, this is going to be so bad if this DT manages to go to that 12 o'clock base and shut that down. Hatchery's not even completed yet. There's no defense. Muta's trying to poke in, get what damage they can done, but there's still 3 gateways here. There's an Archon nearing here. Muta's doing the best impersonation of playing ZBT, trying to get what damage they can done. But I don't know. It's a little bit dangerous here. You can see how much damage these Mutas took, and this is a pretty big investment for Hanks, and they got some damage done. It ended up evening up the work count, but I'm still worried. Whenever Telvanni goes for that attack, how are you actually going to defend it as Zerg? You don't have any fighting force.
And here we go. That hatchery is under attack, and I don't see any Overlords anywhere nearby. I don't think Zerg can actually save this. If you try and morph an Overlord, is it actually going to finish before the hatchery dies? I don't think it is. DT's do mad damage. In fact, he does cancel. So I think that's probably the move there. But yeah, he starts Overlord speed now, but the damage is done. Denying that third is huge. Look how many drones Zerg has just waiting to go to this extra base. But it'll never be finished.
Yeah, such a rough spot here. Hank's trying to move around the map again, reposition some of his skirts, trying to get something done, but Telvanni didn't make that Stargate. There's no Corsairs on the way. There's nothing going to be happening, just a ground army moving across, and you can see really kind of building into a pretty intimidating army here from Telvanni. That weapons upgrade keep moving through. We got Storm, we got Templar, we got all sorts of stuff, and back at home for Hanks, finally making that Hydra Den going to be able to move forward, but still, this is mostly Mutalisk, and if you're playing against a lot of Storm and Archons, that's scary.
Well, you know, I do like this move from Hans, taking this top left sneakily. I think if you're behind a hidden base, it's a good way to try and come back. So he's trying it, but he still has to survive at the front. You know, if he just makes... Yeah, he's already doing it, he knows. If you make a bunch of Sunkens here, you just hold off the Protoss, so they think you're still in 2 base. That gives you a chance here.
Well, DT finds the lower right base, so but the upper left one still not discovered yet. The Muta's finding the Templar in the back, gets the free snipe there. Good move from Hangs to slow that down, but an Overlord getting killed. That supply blocks Hangs and needs to be careful. Pro's still moving across the map, and there's a couple Sunkens here, but not a whole lot. And these Zealots are moving in. They got all their upgrades, and they're punching some Zerg to death.
That's right, that's what they do. And these 2 Sunkens nowhere near enough, a third one hatching. But where are the Mutalisks? The Mutalisks aren't home. Oh my god, those Archons are just going to decimate. Archons just destroy everything. Oh god, the Mutalisks have to be so careful. Oh, they pop copper hit. This is very difficult micro to do. Oh, they just go straight in there and they get annihilated, almost all dead now. Oh,
well,
damn.
all these Archons getting so much done. Now fighting the drones as well. The 17 kill Archons do the job. Telvanni taking game 2, which that resets the bracket, right?
Yes, that's a 2-0. So now we go into the next best of 3. Because remember, Telvanni came from the losers bracket, so he had to win 2 in a row. But so far, it's looking doable because he just won the first one 2-0. All right, post up the next one.
It's definitely an interesting spot we're seeing. Telvanni, like, what do you do? Like, you just played, you got through on the winner side. Your opponent did 2 gate in base against you twice and won the games without too much contest. If you're the Zerg player now, what's the adaptation you're thinking of doing?
You bust out that 2-hatch Hydra. It's the spicy build you need for this. Alright, in the top right, in the white, it's Hungs. And in the bottom right, in the yellow, it's Telvanni. This is the final best of 3. This one... Oh, Populid. Yes, it is Polypoid. The winner of this one will be the king of tier 2. Do we give them a crown?
No.
No? What do you mean no? Oh, that sucks.
Well, you make one, you ship it from
Yeah,
Australia.
I'll send it.
Now we gotta make a belt like wrestling. Like,
yeah, that'd be sick.
Test champion. Like,
Yeah.
we can do title fights, it'll be fun.
That sounds awesome. Okay,
we're going into that second best of 3 now, which this is what we're doing. Like, this tournament was a double elimination bracket. It was best of 1 until the finals, and then the finals would be best of 3. But it's a double elimination, so if the loser wins, we're getting 2 best of 3s out of the tier. That's what's happening here. And
do I need to bring up the bracket again to explain? I can do it.
No, I don't think you need to. We're in the game. I think people understand what we're seeing here. But I'm curious to see what's the adaptation going to be from Hangs. Is there going to be a different gameplay? Because if you lost those 2 games the way you lost them, you can't feel comfortable going for the same game plan you did. Telvanni
really?
Their same game plan. Here's because more gateways in the base. He does not give a crap at all.
Okay, so he's still going for overpool. I mean, he did get 1 scouted, so if he tried hatch first here, it wouldn't have been a good time. But yeah, I'm not sure where he's going to take it from here. Maybe what you do is you just make tons of Lings and Link speed and you try and catch Protoss trying to move out and just run in their base or something. Oh, I think this Pro's going to win this fight, isn't he? Oh my god, he is. Oh no.
Oh, not like this. And you saw that Telvanni was willing to make the pylon block things off. With 1 drone coming down, that's not going to be enough to do it.
But he gets it though.
Oh, never mind. Hangs in a good spot. Isn't even over 300 minerals, so feeling pretty comfortable here. Pool on the way. But still, 2 gateways from Telvanni. We've seen how this game's gone before. Hangs has to have a better adaptation, be able to survive this pressure. And honestly, I love this decision from Hangs. It's one of those, if it ain't broke, I'm not going to fix it. Just keep doing the same thing until you can prove it stops. And even a little bit of sadness here that could stop that hatchery from going down a little more.
You reckon that's what it's about? And I didn't see what else happened. Maybe that is it. At the probe dying, yeah.
I think
maybe some lag came in. I don't know.
From the pro side, there was a little bit of a supply block that pylon a little bit late. You saw that the first gateway was a little bit delayed, but you see 1 zealot made, 2 more on the way. So Divine is going to be still in a decent spot. Drone coming down here is going to be able to get there. Sees no wall, but sees a zealot on the ramp. Doesn't even have to walk away. Knows exactly what they're looking at here. I gotta see a different adaptation from Hangs though. Otherwise, I think this next set is not going to go too much differently.
Look at that sneaky drone though. Oh, so close, but still gets denied. Well, he doesn't really need to see, like you say. He knows. He knows, really.
So you say they know, but look, they're moving out with 6 lengths. It's going to be 8 now, but this is still 3 zealots and a probe to give them that extra damage. This is a fight you cannot take in the open, and Hangs is actually just going to bypass it and say, screw it, let's have a damage race. Never mind, the moment I said it, decides against it. Like, again, let's just wait 5 seconds, then say. That's the caster trick for everybody.
Yeah, well, I think he realizes that more zealots just going to come out of those gateways into Vani's base. Oh, 2 links going down for free. That's a pretty big deal, actually. Hungs is on the ropes here. He's going to start a sunken in just a second. No, he's staying out of a hatchery, actually. This is what he did the other games. We'll see if this works out. Now, there's enough links here to fight this. Oh, and they catch a zealot. Or do they?
Yeah, good pick off. They're going to get that zealot. They're going to get that first probe as well. Well, I think they can. They just gotta micro around a little bit.
You just said it yourself. Wait 5 seconds, then say it. I don't know. I mean, if his buddies...
I'm committed. They're gonna get it. They're gonna get it. You just gotta move past a little bit. Don't A-move. Walk past it a little bit. Get us around. Telvanni gonna fight
still
in the bed.
Alive.
Try to kill that zealot.
He's still alive.
Shut the hell up, man. I'm trying here. I'm trying to build up that hype. You don't need to narc on me for being incorrect.
He's still alive. He's probably gonna live the whole game. I'm watching that zealot now.
I should not have given you observer duties.
No, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have.
Chat, I gave him the choice. He opted into it, but this is what he wants to observe. This is your CPL dollars at work. If you want to donate more CPL dollars,
that's right. We like melt the dollars down, inject them into my brain so I can make more rhymes. That's how it works.
I mean, honestly, we need more Zerglings on the field here. Look at all these zealots into that into the Zerg base. This hatchery's not even done yet. There's no
sunken. Yeah.
The Zerglings is being pulled back, but the Zealots almost outnumber the Zerglings. There's no way to fight.
Oh, he died.
Oh, this is terrible. This is so bad.
Oh yeah, no, he's gonna kill everything. I think that's just too much Zealots. I think Hunks is out of here. I don't see what he can do from here. More Lings hatching, but it's just not enough.
I foresee that chat in the CPL talking to the coaches to be like, listen, I need to know how to stop 2 game, baby. Because apparently the thing Hangs is trying, he's trying the same thing. Kudos for committing to your strategy and trying to get it to work, but it's just not working here. I think maybe it's one of those things that worked against other people, but Telvanni maybe just executing it a little bit better, attacking at a better timing or something. You see the Zealots moving into his main, and Hanks just has no use to defend against it. I think we're going to move to game 2 very soon.
Yeah, I think it's just Telvanni's just really good decision making of when to commit with the Zealots and when not to. Like, I feel like he's never made a bad attack. He's never like run his Zealots in and like, oh, do you really want to attack there? And he's never been sitting there and we're going like, oh, you need to attack. He just knows when to go. Okay, these might actually be cleaned up with a good drone drill here. Yeah, I mean, pretty good drone micro there. Oh, there's still 3 Zealots up though. Low Zealots, but they can still do the work. And how much mining time is lost? More Zealots coming to the natural, dealing with even more Lings here. Look at that micro. He even has time to micro in 2 locations at once. What can Hangs do against this? Oh my god, 1 HP Zealot. GG.
Yeah, unfortunate game we saw from there. Telvanni taking the lead in set number 2. Really showing the prowess. I actually would love to kind of think about that past bracket when he got knocked into the loser bracket. I'm guessing it wasn't by his Zerg.
Well, here's what happened. Here's what happened, dude. He probably came in. It's like, oh, I'll just play standard. I'll do my Forge Fast expand. I don't know. Someone went like 9 pull speed or something. It's like, all right, screw this. I'm 2 gating all the way to the finals, and I'm not stopping. Maybe that's what happened.
I respect it, man. That's how you get things done. I don't have the commitment to just do something like that. It's like, no, I want to play the real game, man. I want to play real. I try to do the man. I should be doing this crap. This is how you learn how to get better at this thing. Just take the MMR.
Yeah, basically. All right, going into game 2 now of this best of 3. In the top right in the olive, it's Hunks, down 1 game, and the bottom right in the yellow again is Telvanni. Here we go, game 2 on Eclipse again. Let's see if it's just a rerun of the same one. Hey, Saetzero, maybe we cheated. We just we're playing the same replays again because the first game went pretty similarly.
No, remember the first one was cross spawns.
Ah, true. But the outcome was the same.
Yeah, a little bit.
We just used some Photoshop magic on the minimap.
It's Photoshop. We Photoshopped Zealots walking from a different starting location. Absolutely. Alright, so if I'm Hangs here, you got an the same opening 3 games in a row. Do something different.
12 hatch in base. I say 12 hatch in base. And then you tech meter.
Maybe try 9 full speed. Maybe try 12 hatchery to get the larva up. Just try something different, because what you've been doing here just has not been working, unfortunately. And you're at the you went from in the winner side to 1 game from elimination out of this tournament. I want to see that kind of killer instinct to try something else, even if it's something you haven't practiced. Just try to get something mixed up. Throw Telvanni off their game a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go 9 full speed, you have to get a sunk because you don't have enough lava, but you can tech quickly, you can backstab. There's a lot of options there. And like you say, just what he's been doing has not been working.
I mean, it's working for Telvanni. Do it again. He doesn't care.
Well, I guess we were talking about this before, that if you have a build that your opponent is just not prepared for and it's just breaking their game, then you can just do it over and over. Oh, look, he's going to try to box hatch.
See that change? You see that change? That's not an overpool. This is 12 hatch, but the probe got there in time. Can this drone get the hatchery down before it gets delayed too much?
Can this probe get the drone down? Looks like he can. Again. Ooh.
Another one. So, adaptation from Hangs, I think, tried to move out with that drone, saw the probe ready to block, and just went for the 12 pool instead. So, we are seeing a different opening, a little more economics from Hangs, which we saw in these games, a big issue building workers. So, having more to start with might be in a good spot here. And you see that drone over there should be slamming down the hatchery just soon. So, this might be in a better spot. You get that better economy, still get the larva up. Maybe this will be better. Just get more links on the map to deal with these zealots.
Yeah, I think losing that drone is unfortunate, but otherwise, even if you just have to throw it in the pool, I don't mind it because you've got a little bit more drones than if you went over pool. So I think it would be a decent position for Hunks. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we see 3 links from the start this time instead of 2 sets, really trying to get some pressure on the map. So I think Hanks is trying to make that adaptation, try to get something else done here. And I would love to just see really leaning into that kind of speed link style, get that 100 gas, just slam out some hatcheries. Because if your opponent's just really hard committing to these zealots, they're slowing down their tech, they're slowing down their expansion, they're doing all this stuff. You don't need to rush up the tech tree. You can just get some speed lanes, get some sunkens, chill back at home, and make sure you get to the mid game in a decent spot.
Yeah, well, I wonder, if Telvanni had switched up this game, Hunks would never have expected it, right? If he just goes Nexus first this game, it would be pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah, that's definitely the coin flip. It's do the thing that he hasn't been able to stop first, do the thing that it's he would never see this coming.
Alright, well, these zealots sneaking by, these lings see them, and we have that 3rd hatch going down again, so can Hunks pull it off this time? He's had plenty of practice now back into this build.
Yeah, a little microbow going here, but it's still dangerous. 3 zealots plus that probe to help out. Definitely a reasonable spot here. Good engage for the
wow, target fire of the zealots. I don't know if you saw that, but he actually switched targets to the one the probe was hitting, and so he barely wins that fight with the 6 HP zealot. Damn, that was really swift micro there.
Hey, this is already seeming like a better spot for Hangs here. Getting some of those zealots killed early. Loses some of the early lanes, but the micro was pretty decent there. It's buying time for Hangs, getting that 3rd hatchery on the way. And mined up some gas, pulled some drones off, so I'm guessing that will be for that lane speed at some point here. But Hangs looking like they have a different adaptation, but still not keeping that worker count up. Really trying to lean on these Zergloids to get them through this game without losing too much here.
Well, this is what I mean about Tavani's decision making. He knew that he couldn't go in there because there were 8 links popping. He had to go back for reinforcements, and now, you know, it looks a bit scarier. Now, I think Zerg will be able to hold this location. That's second finishing up. Yeah, there's no way now. But, as you say, there's not that many drones. 7 drones right now. Tavani about to take this Nexus. So, what does Zerg do from here? Do you just keep making links and try and counterattack? Looks like that's what he's trying to do, but speed only just started. And without speed, this is very difficult to actually make anything happen here.
I think the lanes you have here, because I mean, we can see it. We see everything on the map here, but we've seen it that Tavani, he gets the pressure on, starts at Nexus, that slows down the pressure from continuing. Hang's got enough links to dissuade things. He should wait for that link speed to finish. This is your opportunity to really start slam down some drones. You're already seeing a little bit of a transition, still making more links to stay threatening, but starting to add on some drones as well. Still nothing mining gas, just enough to get that link speed started. And I think Hang's... there is adaptation here. I think it might be a decent spot here. At least it's looking better compared to the other games we saw today.
Well, I think with the number of links he made, Hungs needs to attack. I don't think he has any path to victory from here staying home and droning. I don't want to do it before he has speed. No, of course. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying the onus is on him to make something happen here, though. But if Tavani advances in here, no, Tavani is just teasing. I don't know about this. I think this is a mistake from Tavani at last as he made one. Okay, he's not going to commit, though.
Lane speed's done. It doesn't matter if you commit or not. Now the lanes big surround here, picking all the
nice micro.
Are like separated, getting maximum surround here. This is as good of a fight as Hangs was going to get here. Resetting the army count from both sides here. Look at that unit count, so even. Actually, Hangs comes out ahead and has some speed links moving across the map. Look at that wall. There's some cannons.
But you call that a wall? That ain't a wall. Like, there's wallings on the way too. This might be it. This might be Hank's chance to finally counterattack.
I mean, this could be the opportunity here. Tavani losing a lot of their units pretty fast. Links being made and lots of reinforcements moving across. I think Hank's going to go for that bust, and there's nothing blocking this ramp. Telvanni is typing instead of making more units.
Too salty. CPL, he's going to get killed.
CPL advice: don't talk, play the game.
Yeah, and this is it. I think Hank's going to get in here and take out this natural at least. There's a cannon in the mineral line, but there's no mutas coming today. GG. Alright, he can bleed. The god can bleed. Hangs finally takes the game.
Alright, he took a different opening, put him in a much better spot in that game, took the win, and now we're going to, it's like, we've seen so many games between these players, but this is going to be that game 3. The final decider matters so much, and it's on Neo Sylphid, the map we haven't seen yet, which is a 3-player map with short walk distances. I think the 2-gate player loves to see that kind of stuff. I think Telvani's still going to go for it.
Okay, so, like I was saying, now though, do you switch it up, not even do any kind of 2-gates? Oh, here's what you do. You just build like a hidden base, like 11 Nexus, a hidden base, and then you build 2 gates in your main. That's what I reckon I'd do if I was in this scenario.
What I would do is stay on the 2-gate plan if you like doing it to begin with, if you want to introduce the players, and I'll continue my thought.
In the bottom left, in the yellow, it's Telvanni, and the bottom right, in the brown, it's Hungs. Currently tied up 1-1. This game will decide it all. Who is the king of Tier 2? And I guess he'll also be the king of 2-gates if he wins again, but go on.
So, what I was saying is, you saw Telvanni very comfortable doing the 2-gate in base, and as every Pro player here can attest, walling Sylphid sucks so bad. It's terrible. It's the worst. So if you're comfortable going, I don't need the wall to play my game on a map with 3 players, so there's no cross spawns that's bad for you, and a short walk distance for your Zealots to start messing with the Zerg, I think Telvanni goes 2-gate and feels great about it.
Probably, but I will say one thing that works in Zerg's favor, there's not an actual ramp, it's just a choke, and the ramp is slightly better if you end up blocking it with Zealots, which can happen. And also defensively at your own base, sometimes you need to do that. So there's that one like counterbalance against the list of reasons why 2-gate is good. And he's already making the palm in the base, I never should have doubted him.
I mean, you just foresee the future. This is the kind of thing. It's like Terran players. If they do 2-fact in TVP, they do it every game. There's no I mix it in sometimes. That you do it or you don't do it.
I guess you're right about that. Seems to be true at the pro level too, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean I think that's reasonable, especially if you're in CPL and trying to learn build. Pick your build, really commit to it, put it in every situation, regardless if it's exactly what you want, or maybe a little less favorable. We're seeing that kind of opportunity here now. Cavani's sending out that probe scout. Gotta find where his opponent is. Both players not gonna find their opponents right away, which, I mean, that's still knowledge in itself. Now, Hang's different opening than what we saw. Still going for that overpull that we saw in the first couple games that didn't work out quite so well. So, hopefully a little bit more careful with that worker management, not do anything crazy. But, I mean, Hang saw what happened in the last game, has that recipe to win. Hopefully learns from it in this game.
Yeah, well, you make a good point about focusing on one build, because we've seen Telvanni, like, you know, I think it's evident that he doesn't really have any other plans, but just he's executing this one thing so impressively. Hunks just can't seem to stop it.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa,
This
whoa.
isn't too deep. This
Wait,
isn't too
what?
deep.
Oh.
I think our boy here saving the ace in the hole. He watched Snow versus Solkia. Hold on, one base tech. I can do that too. Now I would love to see if it is that kind of reverse some nonsense, but we're gonna see what the build is. Now, no wall, 3-player map. That Overlord's in that 12 o'clock base knows it's not here. Now, if you're Hangs and you don't get that scout off, you would just assume. But
Oh yeah.
they're already moving across the map. They're gonna get in the base, and it's gonna be less cells to deal with. No wall. The infrastructure doesn't look particularly good. This is a much different look, and Telvanni risking it on the final game. I'm very curious to see how this plays out.
Yeah, and I can see Hunks would just be like, oh no, he's going to get again, right? Like, what else is he doing? For sure. The other thing is, like I said, there's no actual rampage to choke, which can be slightly harder, I think, for Protoss to defend here. But I think just with Zealots against a few links, he should be all right. And look at that, Zerg even just staying back. He's like, oh, where am I going to go? Just going to intercept the Zealots on the map, right? But maybe this Overlord sees no Zealots coming, is like, hang on a minute.
Well, this one tech rush was to a Stargate. I think this is that maybe this kind of style, doing one base. You go. It seems like you're gonna go into Corsairs. And that'll be Corsair into Reaver, because that's the only thing that really makes sense. You just don't really have the gas to do Corsair DT on one base. You need that second.
Hold on a second. If Zerg does go for a Ling all-in and you go Corsair, that can be enough to win the game. But if Zerg is just droning up for sure, I think you need to go to Reaver.
I mean, you even see, like, Telvanni really wants to hide this. Actually making a Dragoon in this base, wants to dissuade this Overlord from getting in there. You see that Stargate way off on the left side. As much time as possible, trying to get this in. We're going to see, I'm tracking Hangs on my screen to see if he gets far enough to see the tech choice. It's a scout on the way. Telvanni memeing real hard here.
Oh my god.
This guy watching too much Bond. If you don't have Bond's execution, I don't know what you're doing here, buddy.
Well, I mean, the Overlord doesn't see the Stargate. It might catch him unaware. Some links coming to the front, but I don't think they're going to be able to get in. Oh, that other Zealot really wants to do something, but he just can't. Yeah, and that Goon there to help. So yeah, losing a lot of links for no gain there, but there's still more he really wants in.
I mean, you see these links trying to work through, but since they can't get this around, the Zealots barely even take any real damage. It's only been shields from now.
Well, one of them did die, to be fair.
Yeah, this is going to buy time for this scout to go out. Now, let's talk the virtue of a scout. No one ever thinks of it. We have to talk about it a little bit, right? They're great at killing Overlords, but if you get back in here, look at Hangs. There's no gas that's really being used in any kind of anti-air. No hydrogen on the way. So really, you get the scout over here, it'll be slow, but they will kill drones.
Yeah, and there's just no answer right now. Like, a hydrogen would take a long time, and like spores obviously are not what you want to be doing here. Uh-oh. Okay, he's going to go to work on this Overlord to begin with.
Look how fast Overlord dies to a scout.
Oh my god. That's brutal. They do so much damage. Oh my god.
Well, they do so damage to air. Now look how fast that drone dies to a scout.
Well, it's still faster than a Wraith. Actually, I think it's like the same damage, so I take that back. Okay, more links trying at the front. I think Hunks realizes he's in trouble now. There might actually be enough to break through here. I'm starting to get worried, because once it's only Goons, they're really not that good against Lings. But how many Lings are really left to face them?
Oh, the lane's trying to get through. They poked through just a little bit here, but remember, Telvanni added on more gateways. Now it's not 3 gateway Goon production, which if you can move across, like, you can build Lings to deal with the Goon, or this scout's going to kill absolutely
Well, hang on, yeah, you can't build Lings if you're supply box, my friend. He even cancels eggs there to try and make more Overlords, I think. But there's no time. They're coming. Oh my god.
This is such a rough spot. You even see Evolution Chamber on the way. Hydrogen's done, but it's like when you don't have supply, you have to try to rely on spores, try to buy yourself some time here. But look at the supply difference. Telvanni at 41. like still waiting on things, but just building goons to get through this is going to be great. Dealing with any kind of static defense, going to be able to kite things out. Meanwhile, this scout, 5 kills already. This is insane how much damage this is doing. This is the true meme build, but Telvanni making it work.
Yeah, this is crazy. The scout doing so much damage right now, and I think there's nothing to stop these goons. That Sunken, you know, only takes a few volleys, and 2 lings is not enough for this. Oh my god, has he done it? Has he won with a scout? Oh, that poor Hydra. He was born into a cruel world, that Hydra. Oh my gosh, all the drones going down. There's nothing left.
So this is CPL, guys. Don't forget, this is where we learn how to play serious StarCraft.
GG.
Teach you how to play.
Yeah, that's right. So, 2-1. Telvanni is the king of Tier 2. Wow.
I mean, I guess so. Jeez.
What a strat.
What a game.
Damn, that's crazy. Alright, we're going to have a quick 1-minute break and then we'll go into Tier 1.
Absolutely. Alright, so while we're on that tiny little break while we're setting up between games, as a reminder, if you haven't heard already, CPL 6 is now in the regular season. Lineups are on TL.net. You can see, if you're in the match, you can see who you're playing. Otherwise, root for your teammates, help them practice. Since we're in the regular season, make sure you are talking to your coaches, learning how to adapt your builds, get some advice. Replay analysis is great. Help them out, help them help you, that kind of situation. Anything you do to make their life easier, because they are volunteering their time. Make sure that they are not wasting their effort. Put the work in a little bit, make their lives a lot easier. They're going to appreciate for it. Other than that, match of the week, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Wednesday, 7 p.m. This is the last week of preseason games. We're going to kind of do a little spot selection of, hey, we're going to cast these games for preseason. We're not one dedicated group, just kind of some games. If you were in the preseason and played a game that was like, holy crap, that game is awesome, Discord. If you're recommending it, I'm probably going to cast it. So give me some ideas of what to pick out. We can cherry pick, kind of get things moving.
I want to see games where there was like one hero unit. That's what I want to see.
You just jumping in there, huh? Like
yeah,
silence jumping in. Okay, that's fine. I know I can continue my shilling. You're not going to throw me off my train. Speaking of shilling, there's a subscribe button on our Twitch. We did it. Like, we got enough people watching CPL. We can subscribe now. You can
it
throw
has
that,
emotes.
That Twitch Prime, if you got the, you know, whatever. Dude, you hear everyone talk about stuff. You know what all this is. We also have a Ko-fi. That's a thing that's good for content creators. That does not go to the CPL staff. That goes to people like Super Saiyan that helps out, who made all the overlays for us this season and last season and like every season. So this is the kind of thing that we can do that help kind of step up our production a little bit. Make sure everyone that's putting the work in gets some kind of there's a word I'm looking for, but I can't find it, but you know what I mean. I think the word I'm looking for is, hey, you should throw a little money at them because they're putting some work in and doing a good job.
Alright, so let's look at that Tier 1 bracket, shall we?
Yeah, what do we got here for Tier 1?
Alright, so our finalists are going to be Jumsteen versus Flash for the win. So, one thing I can't help but notice is that Flash for the win played T-Toss in round 4, lost, and then beat him in the losers bracket to come back. So also I'm going to get out in front of this. Again, we have the potential for 2 best of 3s in a row. Flash for the win wants to take home the finals. He has to win the best of 3 twice because he's coming from the losers bracket.
Well, I just love that low key. You really talked about Flash of the Wind. Let's talk about what teams these guys are on, right?
Yeah.
So Jumsteen, more SKT4
Oh
sniped
my
that
god.
Benjamin's coming through. He picked all the great players. With TL Flash of the Wind, that's from Ryan Does Revenge. Now, whose team is that?
Oh, it's my team. The best team, in other words.
All right, so we're seeing that kind of move through. I'm looking through this bracket a little bit. Definitely some strong players moving through here, including some of our venerable staff trying to get through early. We see Return getting knocked out early on. Camo DS, Royal Blue. Actually, it's a Flash for the Win beating Royal Blue in the losers bracket. That's
Oh, that is pretty good.
Sign.
Yeah, like Royal Blue is formidable for sure.
Yeah. So definitely going to be seeing some.
Wait, look at this. Look at this. Flash of the Wind knocked him out in round 2 and then finished him off in the losers bracket. Oh.
What a bully.
I know, right? Flash of the Wind isn't content with just one. He's beaten everyone twice. Well, no, I guess playing everyone twice. Still though.
Well, that's just unfortunate because that's my boy. Now I gotta like cast with some bias, right? Like
That's the villain. We have a villain. It's confirmed.
I don't know. I mean, well, actually, hold on. Flash for the win? I kind of don't like Flash. We can make him the villain. I'm down for that.
Well, I consider Flash for the Win a traitor because he played Terran, but he switched to Protoss. So, you know, I've got a basis here. He's in chat. He doesn't like it. All right. Well, you have like 5 seconds to defend yourself, Flash for the Win, because we're going to start that game.
He's running out of time. I think he's just a bully.
One moment.
Alright, so we're into game 1. It's Tier 1 Finals. TL Flash would win. He's in the low right. He's got that olive Protoss color. And in the bottom left, it's a Terran of the teal variety. And that's Jumsteen.
I call it pale green, just FYI.
Well, you can call it pale green all you want. I call this someone ducking TVT. Go ahead, talk about it.
Is that why he switched off? I know he's not a race picker though. He just plays Protoss, I thought. Is it race picker? Oh, is he saying race?
I just race pick because TVT sucks. Go ahead, address
All right, fair enough. I guess you're right.
Overlay?
Yeah, it's done. Sorry, it was delayed a bit. That's why I said hold on a second.
Okay.
Should be good now.
Imagine playing TVT. Hey, we got a little bit of build up. Every Protoss versus Terran, unless there's a proxy 99 gates or BVS, opens the same. Talk about TVT. Convince Flash for the win. Stop.
Bring him back. It's beautiful. It's like chess meets like I don't know, StarCraft, I guess.
It's like chess meets sleep. Like it's
no, screw you, dude. No. It's just the opposite because when you play chess, you're sitting there trying to use your brain, but you're not moving. You know, maybe you have your hands folded under your chin. You're like scowling at the board. But in TVT, you're like moving your hands around really fast, trying to keep up with everything and failing. So it's like chess plus adrenaline.
I mean, I move my hands really fast when I'm trying to maneuver my pillow to get that cold side when you flip it over. So yeah, it's like chess meets sleep.
By the way, it looks like we might have a Raxify coming up from Jumsteen. It's interesting because he's putting that barracks down at the low ground. No gas yet. Now, of late, that build has been a bit less popular. Well, actually, no, it's even fair to say of late. It's been a while now since the debut of that Proxy Reaver build in ASL a while back. It's been like really unpopular to go Raxify in TVP. We'll see if Flash of the Wind's gonna do anything like that. So far, not sending any scout. If he just goons scouts, I think it might even be too late as well. Okay, he's sending a probe now. But Jumsteen can potentially take a pretty good advantage if he gets away with this.
I mean, we're even seeing from Flash for the Win and building that initial Stella. So taking that Terran experience of going, you know what I hate when it happens to me? If they go for a Zealot for her and just send it on over, Jumsteen not making that wall, it's going to be able to get into the base. And luckily for Flash for the Win, getting that first scout initially. And, ooh, I don't know about this. That barracks getting repositioned can slow down some of that Marine production. And this probe is real happy to see that.
Yeah, it's interesting that he's utilizing the CC and the barracks instead of a barracks and a depot in case Zealots come up. But there will be no Zealots immediately. And we see Flash for the Win, like he knows now, but he's not immediately going to try and set up a proxy here. Maybe he needs to shake this SCV off, but Probe's going to lose that fight. I mean, intrigued to see what his response here, because of course Protoss always has the option to either put on a lot of pressure over Dragoon range, try and drain the Terran resources, or just go for like a quick third Nexus here. You don't have to bust it with a proxy, but if they don't get something done, it is a pretty good Terran advantage, that's the thing.
Well, well, this bunker is not going to be completed in time with enough for it to care. While this Zealot gets in here, he's going to be able to walk right on past. I mean, it's going to take some damage to move through. It's going to try to slow down CC. I don't know if I like this, taking so much damage from the bunker. Does end up slowing down that CC. The shield's about whittled down here. And you see that Flash for the Wind really trying to abuse how strong Zealots are. Doing some pretty good damage and pulling some SPs off the line. So for a minimal investment, good advantage.
Wow. That's really good value so far. I mean, I understand it would make sense to run by into the main. That's usually what you do. But the thing is, he doesn't have any more Zealots coming after this. So I think with just one Zealot, it makes a lot of sense to just pick off those SCVs. So I like it so far.
Yeah, opening seems pretty reasonable so far. And just seeing from Flash for Wind, that kind of standard opening you're seeing from Protoss so often. One gateway, get your core, get your Dragoon range, straight into Nexus. I'm expecting this to be followed up with an early robo, get those observers. Nothing too weird from both players, I think. Just kind of unlike what we were seeing from the last set of games.
Yeah, well.
I think we're seeing a little bit more typical play as we move things up. People want to get into their comfort zone, get into the rhythm of the game.
Well, if both players see... You really want to see both players playing completely standard for 6 games? Is that really what you want here?
If it promises 6 games, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, this Goon going to come up here. Protoss going to start to be annoying in a minute with Goon range, but I anticipate he's either going to go for tech or a 3rd base here. The Robo is coming up. You could go Reaver off 2 base here and just try and harass, I suppose. It's just, it seems super scary as Protoss to have to deal with like a 2 base push coming out off the back of this, because it's just going to be so much stronger, so much faster than a factory expand.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where I feel like this is more of like a comfort thing of what you're doing from Protoss sides. Like, do you want to add on a bunch of gateways to really try to put pressure on? Do you want to go for some kind of harassment? But, I mean, with this robotics, I'm just expecting observers. Get that observer in the base, because you need to know, like, how many factories? Is there going to be a push early? Is it going to be, like, armory? Is there going to be big upgrades? Like, how greedy should I be being right now? And that robo is really the key to start seeing all this. Although, as I said, that Reavers, there's a shuttle on the way. You got that support bay, no observatory. I'll scout him while killing all of this stuff, is what Flash for Wind says. And Jumsteen, you figure you're a little bit concerned, right? This one Dragoon's been poking the front. Where's the other ones?
Yeah, I would say what's very key here is the scouting SCV he has. You can see there's no 3rd going down either. So I would definitely say in this scenario you'd want to get an eBay right away. I mean, that's pretty common with Raxafi anyway, because, you know, you're going to be too delayed to kind of get Armory Academy usually, because, you know, you've got the CC. But we'll see how he reacts. He's actually going to Vulture Speed right now. I think he thinks he wants to get out on the map real fast. Interesting he's saying there's so many minerals. I wonder if we'll see a really fast 3rd CC here. I'm not sure what he thinks Protoss is doing, though. Scatter CV's still alive. Honestly, this one Dragoon should not have been able to get this much value with this tank out.
Yeah, I think just don't want to like lean forward and risk anything. I think just one of those.
Oh, like, yeah, you know, that makes sense, because maybe he's thinking, oh, he's showing 1 Goon, but actually there's like 8 Goons back here just waiting for me to lift that barracks up, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, just being a little bit careful. Now we see Jumsteen, to go with that Vulture Speed, we see mines on the way as well, so really kind of churning into...
Oh, the SCV in the base sees the Reaver pop out! Oh. Wow, what a hero SCV. Just walks right in there, is like, oh, what's all this then? How's all this going?
I mean, so you say that, but, I mean, there's eBay done, but that's not really the best thing against Reavers. It kind of restricts things, but there's still Dragoons putting pressure on the front. They want to move forward. You can, like, really start, like, making the Terran have to decide.
Oh, there's no siege mode, you're right. If he comes to the front, he could potentially bust this with Reaver. That said, he's not going that way. Look, the thing is, no matter how much Terra knows, if Terra has map packs and knows the Reaver's coming, it's still not necessarily bad for us, because you can keep it around and use it to defend.
Turret running around the outside.
Oh! Okay, good reaction.
Go for it, pulls off, takes some shield damage, but doesn't take any hull. There's still that opportunity. You see an observer moving across. I mean, if you didn't want to go in with a shuttle, you ain't going to be able to go in with an observer.
Yeah, it is going to detour. It is going to detour. It's not the bravest observer. I'm still worried about this front. Although the thing is, there's no way for Flash for the Wind to know that there's no siege mode, and there is actually mines, and that will actually be enough, I think.
I mean, if nothing else, though, Flash for the Wind in great spot here. Putting all his pressure on and feeling pretty... Ooh, hold on.
No, this is too risky. He's going to lose this shuttle, and he realizes it. He turns back. Very nice defense from Jumsteen. Really just positioned those turrets just right.
I mean, honestly, for an observer that's gonna die in 5 seconds, it saw maximum value.
That's true.
With iodines and saw the CC on the way, with a Flash for the Wind building their next Nexus on the way, and still trying to find an opportunity to poke in with the shuttle. And obviously trying to poke out, but doesn't feel super comfortable with it. The shuttle moving in, trying to get past, taking a lot of damage from this turret. It's gonna go down. The Reaver's gonna be stuck in the natural. Unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's not really going to get much done either, I don't think. The SCV's already gone. I think this is a bit of an overcommit for Flash Flynn because he saw that turret there and still decided to do this. I mean, kind of knowing that he's not going to get out. But Jumsteen reacted so quickly. And yeah, now that Reaver's done.
I mean, it still got a handful of kills. I think got up to 6, which still is not
Oh,
terrible.
7. It's 7, actually. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really worth losing the shuttle to Drew down the Reaver for 7 SCVs.
I mean, so, like, it did decent damage. I don't think the Pros player feels terrible about that, especially if you look at the worker count. Flash went heavily ahead on Probes already, like, considering the openings were not
True.
too different.
Why
but
is
also,
that? That is odd.
But also, Flash for the
Ooh.
Win finished their shuttle speed. So, losing that shuttle and Reaver, not exactly what we want to be doing, but clearly Flash for the Win going for that heavy harass style. And now, with poking around, seeing where the turrets are, Jumsteen probably feels comfortable, isn't going to add any more, but a speed shuttle will get right through those defenses without any care in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised he's going for another Reaver here, to be honest. I suppose if a push is coming out, he would kind of need it, but it feels like that's not what you want to sink your money into at this point, because as the game goes on, they get less and less effective.
No, it's going to dive right into that main, man. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You just come with 2 speed shuttles and go for the armory, I guess. But I don't know.
He's going to go for worker kills, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
I have my doubts.
You don't open Reaver, then go speed. Oh, look at that scan time from Jumsteen. The moment the Nexus goes down, gets scanned almost immediately. A couple vultures out on the map trying to put some pressure on, see what they get done. So Pilot's going to be able to try to wall that off. So Flash for One trying to establish that 4th base. But that CC did manage to go down to mineral only. So both players moving forward and some bases up. I don't think either player feeling too bad right now, but that Reaver's done. Let's see what gets where things go for Flash for the win.
Decent value for these vultures, picking off like 4 probes so far. Reaver's going to come and bully them away. Or kill them, maybe. There's one. But you know, there's another 4 vultures setting up while Flash for the Win is distracted. Okay, there's going to lay some mines, it looks like. I tell you, it's his mineral high ground. It's so easy to harass with vultures. It seems so annoying for Protoss to try and defend it. Oh, he's going to run into these goons, though.
Jumsteen moving into getting some upgrades, armory on the way, and starting to add on some more factories. Moving into 6 factories here on that 3 base. So look at that army is going to get a little bit intimidating. But if you look at Flash for Win doing a great job macroing, giant worker count right here. Vultures managing to get through that mineral only base with 1 cannon here, but that's not going to slow things down too much. Jumsteen find that opportunity to get some damage done, and these vultures do manage to back off and survive, put some pressure on that 4th base. So no probes are going to be able to go there for a little while.
I mean, I think a Reaver should be able to come over and clean this up. He's got the shuttle, he might as well fly it around. But yeah, it's good pressure Jumsteen's putting on. I'm surprised the worker count is so far apart though. Even with 7 dying to a Reaver, I feel like Jumsteen must have slacked on SCV production a bit here or something. Because I just wouldn't expect him to be this behind with a Rax FE opening. Okay, cleans up those vultures.
I mean, you can see the workers that were in the main. There was no shuttle that got through there and killed a bunch of things right there like that. It literally is just that the worker production just wasn't quite there.
Okay, so I think Jumsteen's going to have superior like upgrades, and the tech is delayed for Flash, but Flash is in a good economic position. Well, I say that, but these vultures continuing to pick off workers, really slowing Flash down a lot. But I mean, he's doing a decent job defending it. I think on the whole, this vulture harass is going decently for both players.
I think obviously more than anything, it's just thrilled that it's forcing Flash's army to stay back at home, not putting pressure forward, not pressuring that 3rd base that Jumsteen took. Where you see there's a bunch of siege tanks here, it's just buying time to keep getting that tank count up, because he doesn't want to keep replenishing vultures and is losing a big fight here. Just wants to keep the Protoss army back while they're trying to just slam things down.
Well, as predicted, he got that 2nd speed shuttle. It remains to be seen if he's going to go in the main with them or if they're just used for fighting the Terran army. But yeah, stasis is a ways away. Like, let alone the research for an Arbiter to have the energy is a ways away. So if Terran did push out quickly, he would need this. Looks like he wants to go in for an attack here. You know, one thing about Jumsteen's position, he does not have enough committed onto the high ground. If Protoss can quickly storm in there and just attack down there, you could definitely get this CC, I think.
Well, those speed shuttles do have a bunch of zealots. One of them does have some reavers as well, so this could be a good opportunity to kind of move forward, try to put some pressure on. And if you look back, like, Jumsteen has a lot of tanks made, but a good portion of them aren't siege are in there, and most of them are on the low ground as well. But I think Flash and Red is just going to be comfortable posturing here and take that opportunity to take the top right, add on some more nexuses, keep moving forward. Well, Jumsteen doesn't really have that next plan to get that fourth base up, trying to power up for some kind of big push, but look at supply difference.
Yeah,
Flash
look at that macro.
is a commanding position, and macro really shining through.
Yeah, Flash crushing it. This whole game, really, he's just been pulling ahead. Like, I would say the openings didn't really go his way, and especially not that Reaver, but he's just, like, mechanically, like, overpowered him, I think. But Terran still can just sit here and defend until he maxes. That's the thing about this matchup. Just because you're maxed doesn't mean you should attack. It could be deadly sometimes.
I love the decision here. I want every process to do it, like, period. Air weapons being researched. You don't even need to commit to getting the you can just, it's like, it's insurance for later. Or if they scan, it's an overreaction possibly. It costs you 100, just start doing it. Maybe it'll be great, but it costs you basically nothing.
Yeah.
And we're seeing partners are on the field now, upgrades are on the way, Storm being researched as well, and more Stargates being added. So really, like, Flash is going to be in a great spot. As they hit max and start taking more bases, that mineral couch is going to start building up, and I think this is the opportunity to add on more infrastructure, whether it be more gateways, which you're seeing up at the top right. Yeah, it's more gateways. Or just add
that's
on
a lot of gateways.
Start some kind of carrier transition.
Yeah, well, I think that's a great point that you might as well just freak Terran out if he scans for that. Because, you know, sometimes in the late game I scan for that too. I'm like, he's going carriers. I can't find Stargates. Let me just check the cyber. If I saw it spinning, I'd be like, oh god, make turrets, make Goliaths.
Yeah,
you know, this is...
Gateway, man, you love it.
Yeah, that's right. This is where Polypoid gets a bit difficult for Protoss, though, because Terran has this kind of arc of 5 bases he can secure rather easily. Once he fortifies the, 9 o'clock there with, like, some mines and a couple tanks or whatever, it's pretty easy for him to push and take the 6 o'clock as well. And, you know, 5 bases is a very scary number for Protoss to deal, but he's attacking now. He sees that everything's unsieged. 2 shuttles coming in. Stasis is ready. Can't drop. There's no room. Okay, the Reaver finally drops. Oh, it gets a 6 Scarab off. And here's the Stasis.
Great stasis in the back there.
Wow, that's a lot of Dragoons. I mean, the Zealots are gone, but the Dragoons are not retreating. They're pushing on. I think it might actually be enough to just clean this Terran army. Oh my gosh. Such a decisive moment for Flash.
It's enough to clean the army. Both sides taking heavy losses, but Flash has the infrastructure to take the losses and replenish. You see Mine's going to slow the push down, but I don't think Flash cares about this. It's slow. It's going to make that third base.
Oh, Mine's take out his CVs too.
It's not going to get anything done. We're seeing just back at home, Flash finally setting up those nexuses in the top right, and it's really getting more gateways up. So you can see that big fight. Both sides losing a lot, but look at Flash's supply already. That macro.
Damn.
Really.
Wow, that's amazing. Really nailing it there, macroing as he fights. That's really impressive. And now the tank count has been reset. I don't think Terran can deal with another max Protoss army. Protoss is compelled to retreat just for the moment against all those mines. But yeah, we see 1 tank out right now. This is pretty tough for Terran. I don't think Protoss knows about the 9 o'clock. If he did, I think he'd just go around and take that out.
It hasn't seen it yet, but you do see some observers moving. Maybe you're going to be able to find it, but still, this is a terrifying ground army from the Protoss player. Going to be able to keep moving around, and I mean, if you look at the Terran, like, he tried to macro to try to get his thing done, but like, they're not even at +2, +1. That +2 upgrade nearing completion now, but things just kind of moving slow. It feels like just, if you look at the builds and the way Flash was playing, just very assured of just get everything moving, get a bunch of units made, and got a giant advantage that he's not letting go of.
Oh, this Vulture run by could do a bit though. I mean, there's some cannons, some goons, but you can potentially take out a few probes, and it looks like it probably will be cleaned up. Just enough defense there, really nicely done by Flash. Yeah, I mean, this game goes to show that if I was playing Protoss, I'd be like, oh no, he went back to Sophie, freak out, do something. But you really don't have to. Like, he just played his game, and like, just played it better, I think, and he's in a really dominating position right now. Stasis will be available in a moment, but he's not going to wait. He's coming right up in here.
Even moving up this ramp smartly, only the Zealous.
Oh, the flank. Look at the flank, though. This is huge. I love it.
is enough to take down the 9 o'clock.
GG.
Yeah, Jumsteen tapping out of game 1 here, so very convincing victory for Flash. And if you're Jumsteen, like, you are concerned. Like, that wasn't like some cheese build. It wasn't like some weird pressure. That was normal kind of macro, and he had way more stuff.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by his play overall as well. Like, I think the Reaver was an overextension, but otherwise I would say he didn't really make any mistakes. Like, it just looked really clean. Alright, let's get to that game 2.
I mean, you can't make me. I don't have to start it.
In chat, Snipe saying, Jumsteen still got this, I believe. Okay, in the top right here, in the grey, it's Jumsteen. And the bottom left in the olive, it's Flash for the win. Currently up 1 game. And here we go into game 2 on Eclipse.
Yeah, I do think the different map here. So we're seeing, like, I think that big macro style that we saw from Flash and Wind might not be as strong here, just because there's less bases, less, like, opportunities to kind of spread out. And, like, I dare you to counter me. On this map, it feels like it's a little harder to, because if you move towards one of the corners to take your bases, they're not as easy to defend.
Well, I would say there's advantages and disadvantages. As you say, there's nowhere else to build gates, really. That's the big difficulty for Protoss. There, you can try in various places, but it's not ideal. But at the same time, I feel like it's quite a bit more difficult for Terran to push all the way across the map on this map. Now, that said, Terran doesn't necessarily have to do that to win. Terran gets half the bases on the map. Well, yeah, I've got a rhyme from Artosis here I have to use. It's not even mine, alright, so don't shoot me. If the map is split, Protoss must quit. It holds true on this map. So if Terran could just slowly secure the bases they need, they will win. But at the same time, you can kind of use these ramps to your advantage. Maybe you go carriers here. It has been what pros have tried in the past. We're going a forward gate, by the way. That is one other way to take advantage, of course. And if it's going to be Rax FE again, that's a great way to counter it.
Yeah, I low-key love the decision here. Like, because it's a 2-player map, you don't have to worry about scouting or any kind of stuff like that. You saw what your opponent might be doing here. Now, we are seeing a barracks being made, but it's in the main, not part of like a forward wall or anything.
Yeah.
I think you might be seeing that early gas, something else instead. So I think on a map like this, you probably want to be getting those early vultures, don't want to be losing any kind of shenanigans.
Yeah, I love that these players are mixing it up. They're not doing anything crazy, but like just doing different openings each game is really important, I think, in this series. So I'm liking it so far. And yeah, it's just as well, because if you go for Rax FE against this, it's pretty unlikely you'll survive.
Definitely could put you in a very rough spot here. Now, Flash does get in here, sees what he's dealing with here. Is that a barracks and depot placement, the kind that's going to be good against Elts?
Oh, well, you know, depot to the right, Terran's to light, so yes, indeed it is.
Also, I'm curious to see if that is going to be the adaptation, if there's going to be like, oh, I don't think this Elt's going to do anything.
He's making the box. I love this SimCity. What you do is, you put the factory to the right here, and you just have this, like, haven from Zealots. Perfect. I'm loving this SimCity, so ask no more about it. It's perfect. Could not be better. Ooh, this probe doing its best, though. Oh, he didn't actually block up the factory. Nonetheless, it will be pretty secure from Zealots. And the Zealot coming across, I think as long as Jumsteen micro as well, he won't get too much done with it.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised we're still seeing is that it wasn't even the first Zealot, there's a second one on the way as well, so pretty hard commitment, which, like, this delayed the gas a significant amount. Like, now if this is going to be a fast Nexus, that seems okay, but still, delaying all this gas, delaying Cybercore, all these kind of tech choices here.
Oh my god.
Factory's already on the way.
Speaking of that Nexus, I was missing this, but this SCV thinking it's a probe in PvZ right now delays that Nexus quite a bit without even building anything. Okay, now the Zealot's coming in. Back to what you were saying.
Yeah, I just wonder if this could be an opportunity for Elmsted if they want to put some pressure on. Like, Flash's build got pretty significantly delayed. And like you were saying, this building placement could be so good to help delay things. Now, if they can kill this SCV and delay the factory...
Nope, too late.
Finish, there's no chance here. And you can see the Zealot's not going to be able to get out alive. So big loss for Flash so far. Doesn't even manage to get a Marine kill. Second one's here, but I don't think this is what you want to be doing. You want to be throwing away too many more units here for no reason. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, on the flip side, he did force these Marines out, because I assume Terran built all those because he scouted. The thing is, Terran can still potentially go for an FD, but on this map, it's not favoured because of all these ramps. So I don't think it's a total loss to Flash for the win. It keeps Terran honest.
I mean, you don't like going FD if you've seen your opponent make multiple zealots like this?
Oh no, you totally do. No, you totally do, because once the tank is out and like vultures are rallying as well, the zealots actually become very useless because you kind of just kite and they just die quickly to all that DPS. That's the thing. I mean, it's better to have them than nothing, right? But given that Protoss has sunk his resources into these, they're really not an effective unit that you want. And actually, he's made so many. I really thought he would be making goons by now. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe if he does come across and he's getting mines straight away, I think he is actually going to do it. And that seems like a really strong option in this scenario, actually.
I mean, the way you were talking about it, you're like, oh, well, what if there's goons? Like, that Cybernetics Core finished at the same time the first tank did.
Yeah,
So
well, these ramps won't help zealots very much, that's for sure.
Yeah, very delayed, and you can see
Damn.
the Flashpoint can't even try to take it. There's no slowing down this push, and if you look at what he's got back at home, like, there's buildings that are easy to take apart. That pylon's going to depower and ruin half of
Ooh, nice engage there on the ramp, though. Flash turns around at the ramp and picks off a Marine. That was nicely done. And I will say, since Flash went for 2 gates behind this, he's actually not badly set up for this, but Terran will get map control and be able to lay mines at least.
I mean, honestly, like, if you can keep the pressure on and kind of force things away, you see probes trying to get pulled, slow things down. But if you got
nice mine placement.
Mines, they get into the base.
Yeah, you can see how useless those zealots were. They just tanked for a second, now they're gone.
That mine wasn't great though. Did some pretty big damage to some of these Terran forces, kind of mitigating some of the issue here. The probes being able to pull back, but there's still a tank moving across.
Oh, this is a mistake because the vultures won't rally. This tank might fall, actually. That's a big deal. Okay, he's going to pull up the ramp, but Protoss is pursuing. Okay, he's not sure if there are mines there. I think that's why he backed up, and that's smart because, to be honest, Jumsteen should have had the vultures there for mines. Just a bit of a misrally there. But overall, nice defense from Flash for the win.
I mean, really nice defense from Jumsteen, though. That mine really kind of betrayed him. Did so much damage to his Marines, it's slowing thing down. So more than anything else, like just a little bit of that bad placement. But you see the pressure being put on here. Flasher, when had to like make some units try to be aggressive, they slowed down his probe count. And with this command center being about to be finished, like Jumsteen looking like they're in a pretty decent position here.
Well, denying that third, that's pretty good. And now we can lay his mines all over it. And because Protoss went for this 2-gate before Robo, the observer's pretty delayed as well. This is quite nice. Although, can you saturate that base? Okay, there he goes. Ooh, he's going to do a 2-base push follow-up, I think, is what we're seeing here.
Yeah, I know, a bunch of factories like this so quickly after one was already made. I'm expecting Jumsteen to kind of prep up for something pretty big here. No big plans to upgrade.
Now, once again, I have to say on this map, it's problematic trying to deal with those ramps. But if you kind of breeze past them before Protoss is ready to defend them, you can potentially get an extremely strong position at this high ground outside the Protoss natural. You can just slowly come down from there, and there's not much Protoss can do.
I mean, there's also that aspect that we were thinking about from what we saw in the last game. Flasher wins macro, especially once the game got late. Really was impressive. Like, really turned on, made a good job taking more bases, adding on the gateways. So if you're playing for that 2-base push, it's like, I see where you're strong. I'm not going to let you get to there. I love the decision from Jumsteen to take that risk.
Yeah, that probably makes a lot of sense. But can he pull it off? I mean, it's a long way to go to get to the pro space and finish them off. Getting that eBay. Looks like he's going to be ready to move out fairly soon. It's just as well he didn't lose that tank from the FD, because you really want every tank you can get for this push.
I mean, this is going to be such a rough spot, but you look at the Pross base right here, there's more factories than gateways. Like, this could be very, very tragic, and it's not like there's tech to help, like, kind of cheat your way through. No Reavers, no Storm, nothing like that. It's just core gateway units. So, like, one good tank placement, one good mine hit, that could be all you really need to kind of switch things around. With mines over at that 9 o'clock base, these Dragoons trying to move over and slow things down, you know it's still just 2-base economy for the Protoss. I think Terran is gearing up for a pretty good situation.
Well, the thing is, if Protoss is staying 2-base, typically with this build, you wouldn't push. You'd just get upgrades and power on your own 2-bases. But it depends, you know that Protoss was trying to take a third. Did he just throw down like 3 gateways or something when he failed? Or has he been saving the minerals like Flash of the Wind was so he can take it now? You don't know that he's actually just doing the same expand. I mean, if Jumsteen guesses correctly, he will be in a pretty good spot for sure. But he may be timid to move out because of this. We'll see.
I mean, I think you don't go for a build like this as Terran and be timid. I think timid's not a choice. When
Well, sometimes you have no choice though. If Protoss is doing 2-base powering style, like they have 6 gates, they're getting shuttles on 2-base. Moving out is not what you want to do. You want to sit back, get your upgrades, and just wait, because 2-base with 2-base, Terran will eventually win.
We're seeing Flash for when trying to move across the map, using the Dragoon and some observers to kind of, you know, disarm some of these mines, get some map control here. Managed to get.
Oh, are we still good on the stream? I'm losing connection here. Is it me or is it Saetzero?
Yeah, look.
You good? You good? Alright, we're good. Slight technical glitches, we're back. Yeah, I was going to say this move out is just in the nick of time because Terran I think is about to move out, but Flash of the Wind has established his forces in a forward position just in time because you need to play for as much time as you can. Here in space can be exchanged for time. Something Einstein, I guess. So this is exactly where Flash of the Wind wants to be, but he does need to be careful. Nice pullback so far. Ooh, nice job trapping that goon, but the mines... Oh no! Loses a bunch of vultures. That's not worth it for Terran, I don't think. I mean, 3 goons is something, but I don't think that's what Terran wanted there.
I mean, really, you see the intention of the Terran here. He's got all those factories back at home. Even the ones with add-ons, it's all vultures. All units that can move forward.
Oh, this is a great mine surround. Wow, that was really well done. These goons are going to get cleaned up. Suddenly this looks really bad for Flash. Oh no. What does he have left? A few goons went around the left, but I don't know what he can do from here. That was a really strong move from Jumsteen. Oh, we're losing connection again. What is going on today? There we go. Oh, we good?
I'm gonna double check my internet after this game.
Sure, I can always go to Discord streaming if we have to. Guys in the chat, please report if the stream lagged, because it might have been my end after all. But now, Terran getting in here onto this high ground, there's only a few goons left. No zealots, no shuttle or anything like that to get out here. And Terran's getting into that like chokehold position in the front of the natural. If he can slowly creep his way in here, that's all he's going to have to do.
I mean, this is such a power position for Terran here. Just reinforcing with nothing but vultures. You see, taking that siege tank, going slowly across, and this is the opportunity where Protoss is trying to get their arbiters online, so they're investing a lot in tech that is not going to be useful for these fights. It's just Dragoons here, no zealots to slow things down. Jumsteen just moving straight towards that natural. Nothing's going to really be in his way, and this looks really bad for Flash. And you see these zealots, they don't even have speed. They're not going to be able to get in there.
Nothing worse than a slow zealot. Well, except maybe a goon without range. That's probably the only thing worse than a slow zealot. GG. Wow, nice push coming out from Jumsteen there.
Yeah, definitely a good maneuver there. So that evens it up to 1-1. And before we get into game 3, just in case, I'm going to check my internet for a little bit. So I'll be back in a minute. You can chill some stuff, and we'll be good to go.
People saying in the chat, like, Saetzero left because he didn't want to see goons die. He just alt F4'd. I could believe it, guys. I could believe it.
Well, I don't see anything in the chat, so I'm thinking it's on mine. I'm going to be right back in a minute. Chill some stuff for CPL, and I'll be back shortly. So
as Saetzero mentioned, we're getting into week 1 for sure. I assume most people in the chat have signed up, but if you haven't, it's not necessarily too late. You can get put on a wait list, and we always have people dropping out. Like, it's inevitable. You know, week after week, there will be people who just don't have time or, you know, don't want to play anymore. So if you still are interested, you can still sign up. You can still get in there. And if you think you're too good for the low MI league, don't fret. We need coaches as well. So if you're a high MI player that's interested in this, we'd love to have you as a coach as well. So like I said, it's not too late. What did Flash for the Wind promise? I'm looking in chat. Oh yeah, if you have 3 gates when the push is you find out the push is coming, it's not necessarily too late if you can buy time and throw down 5 more gates. But yeah, I think from the vultures denying the 3rd, it was a pretty good position from Terran. Alright, you back? You sounding good?
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
I think we're okay, though.
It seems alright. Alright, so let's get into game 3 then. Tied up 1-1. Nice.
I mean, we'll be there shortly. I still gotta get back.
Oh, right. Sure.
We're trying. Did you shill properly? Did you do
I did. You said most of it already.
I mean, it bears repeating in case people weren't paying attention.
Well, what I did say is that if you're feel like you're too high MMR for CPL, we still need coaches, so get in there as well.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Get some more coaches and get everyone involved in this. It's such a fun community. If you want to be a part of it, definitely want to join. Like you can meet some great people and just have a great time.
Oh, I have the perfect sales pitch. Do you enjoy hours of repetitive tasks with little to no thanks? You can help us enter data for CPL. We probably need more people to help with like administration as well. If you want to help update Team Liquid or that's not Team Liquid, Wikipedia or stuff like that as well, that would be appreciated.
You need to work on your sales pitch, buddy.
Oh, I've got another one. And I've got another one. Do you enjoy having your internet unable to be used for hours on end with little to no thanks? You can help me upload things as well.
You know what? I think we're gonna leave this to Snipe. We're gonna leave this to Snipe to advertise on TL and Discord. Like, you're not selling it well. Is this like an Australia thing? Like, you just don't you don't know what you're trying to do here.
Well, I read a book once, I think it was from the 80s or something, saying that like in Australia, salesmen just don't really try very hard. I'm like, huh, okay. All right, let's get into game 3. In the 12 o'clock starting position in the pale blue, it's Flash for the win. And the bottom left in the orange, it's Jumsteen going into game 3 on Silphid, tied up 1-1. If Jumsteen wins, he will be the king of Tier 1. If Flash for the win wins, then we go into the next best of 3, since Flash came from the loser's bracket. So, everything on the line here. Jumsteen must be feeling pretty confident. He's got a chance to knock him out early and not have to go into the second match. And you know, this map is amazing for 2 base pushes if he wants to repeat that success.
I mean, I agree with that. I do agree that it is a good base for this kind of thing, but I think when you've shown your hand that you're willing to do that kind of thing, I'm expecting to see a little bit of a different play from Flash to win. They seem like they are following an idea of what to do, especially since as a Terran player, like they're picking
guys,
to avoid the TBT, that seems like you would do a little... Oh, just, it's fine. Relax. It's fine, I hope. We're gonna be hopeful. Shut up. Like, it's okay.
Just pretend it's not happening. That'll make it go away.
I mean, I was until you didn't, and it's like I lost my train of thought. So you know what you do? Screw it.
Yeah, well, look, to be honest with you, maybe it's like Terran bias, but I just like this map for Terran a lot. I think you have a similar thing on Ploy Point where it's quite easy to secure like 5 bases, and also 2 base pushes are good. Drops can be really good as well. I mean, the only thing that I really like about it for Protoss is that recalls can be very good because you're in this like low ground base with cliffs surrounding it. You can potentially fly an Arbiters a bit easier, but to be honest, other than that, I'm not really seeing the advantages for Protoss. I guess you can't full wall the natural, but in most scenarios you don't really need to do that either.
Alright, so my favorite advantage for Protoss on this map, I don't trust good players to do it. I think this is just like I'm too small brain, too monkey to like notice, but when you have a map with short distances and you're probably going to scout them without worrying and there's no ramp to defend, 10-15-2 get all day
yes.
long.
Oh no,
Day.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that. With no ramp, you're absolutely right. It's very good on this map. And since the natural's so wide open as well, definitely a strong build here. I wonder if Flash with him will go for something like that actually. That would be quite good, I think. But he's still making pros for now. We'll see. It's a very committed build from Protoss. That's the only problem with that. And he's making a Zealot, so forget that. Forget everything we just said. It's going to be just a couple Zealots, Goons, Expand, I expect, coming out.
I mean, it's still that good Zealot pressure. And like you were saying, it's hard to fully wall off your natural. So it's hard to really deny that Zealot from getting into your base and really stopping any kind of damage from being done. You should be able to get in the mix and really get some harassment, which we saw from Flash before. Now we do see it's still just that one gateway, still against that Cyber Core up. This could be an opportunity to still go like 10-21, put some pressure on. But I think Flash will win the way they're playing. I think if they just get enough map pressure on, maybe take that bottom right main, get control of like 4 bases reasonably early, I think they're going to be... Because you don't want to be in that spot where your bases start bleeding into those fake high ground that are so hard to defend against Terran pushes. Yeah,
I think I definitely agree. If it was a standard game, I would have to give the edge to Flash. But you know, there's a lot of things that can happen. I like saying this map pretty good for Terran drops, so at any time Jumsteen could decide to put the harass on. Okay, the Zealot going to come up before too long. Don't want to lose that probe too early. Oh my gosh, he almost does. He's going to need that to help out.
I'm staring at this SCV on the right side of the map. That is shenanigans. I smell shenanigans.
No, it's just scouting shenanigans. Oh wait, no, you're right. He's gonna make a second factory. He's gonna make a second factory, dude. He's still mining gas. Oh no, wait, no. I should calm down because I just realized he's already started his out on. He obviously just put them back on gas. I'm just freaking out over nothing. No, he's just scouting.
I mean, he's got a lot banked up. Like it's still.
Yeah, for siege mode and tank, or maybe just tank and mines or something like that. He's just scouting, and he sees that Nexus timing run on time. So very valuable SCV there. Not as valuable as the SCV who saw the Reaver, but still pretty good.
Well, the first upgrade is going to be mines, so there's still the opportunity. Maybe you want to do a little FD. So, I mean, Marine production is kind of indicating wants to push across a little bit, get some pressure on, deflect the stuff from here, and get that CC started.
Yeah, we see, by the way, Flushton throwing down 3 gates before Robo here. Not really sure what the plan is with that. I wonder if he's going to try and go for like a bust shortly, or he just wants to be super safe here. Because he hasn't scouted that much of the Terran main. Maybe he's thinking it could still be 2-fac. The Celt trying to have a look. Okay, FD going to come out here. Now, against FD, I would say 3 gates is overkill. And if Terran just gets mines down in good positions, is actually pretty good for Terran because you can hold them back and take your third or something like that. And not have to worry about them getting out. But if he's able to like crush this Terran force unexpectedly, then maybe he can come across for a counterattack.
I mean, with going for 3 gates, it did slow down the completion of either of them. So I'm not expecting a crush of force. Managed to get a little bit of a fight here, killing off some of the Marines. So good engagement so far from Flash for the win.
Yeah, very good.
Not taking any real damage on his Dragoons, being very good, mitigating this force, really shutting it down, slowing it down a good amount. Loses 1 Dragoon, but that's not so bad. Like, buys time for more Dragoons to get made. This push movement from Jumsteen really isn't getting anything done. Even the mines and the vultures don't really get to the main.
Well, I think this is a fine outcome for Terran as long as he doesn't lose the tank. Like, this is what you expect to get done with an FD. You maybe kill a goon or 2, you get some mines down for map control. Whoa! Oh, he was playing with fire right there. I don't think Terran needs to get more done than this necessarily, although instead of denying the third, he tries to send that Vulture in for more goon kills, and that means Flash can just put this Nexus down no problem. He hasn't even started a Robo, so honestly I think Jumsteen not utilising the full advantage he could have gotten here, because that's really what you want to do with FD. Contain them on 2 base with line, make sure they can't take that third, and also, you know, they can't come across until observers are ready. So I think Flash for the win's actually in a pretty good spot now.
I mean, Jumsteen did see that probe moving over to the right side, so knows that
Nexus
it's
too late.
On the way.
You can't kill it with just 2 vultures.
Yeah, but you see 2 more factories going down, and like I think Jumsteen, if they wanted to go for some kind of early push before Flash really gets settled on the map, before that Nexus really starts establishing, you can see the confirming that they see it, trying to get a little harassment down. A good mind hit, taking a good amount of damage on these Dragoons here. Loses a couple of these vultures, trying to be a little bit over aggressive here, but I mean, I'm just curious to see what the next step for Jumsteen is. Going to be being really aggressive, trying to put some pressure on, or is it going to be slowing things down, trying to set up that third base?
Well, he's got 3 factories, so at least he's going to be doing some vulture harass, I believe. We'll see if he throws down any more, because if you throw down more than 3, I think you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to go for a 2-base push here. But so far he's not. I think he might just be trying to put more vulture pressure on and then take his own third. But I mean, I feel like as soon as Flash for the Win gets some servers out, if he has his goons in good positions, if he has good SimCity, which so far at the natural he does, then I think it's going to be tough to get in here. That said, this mineral-only base really is hell for Protoss to defend from vultures. Like, it's not a good base. It's very tough to keep vultures from getting in there and killing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fantastic, but at least it's hard for the tanks to get there. It is just vultures, so it's like
that is true.
Like you got to worry about losing the pros. If you're willing to build some cans there, wall things off a little bit, I think it's not so bad.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There's pros and cons. Like, Terran's going to push your natural long before they're going to get all the way over here. But, I mean, the further away it is, the harder it is to get goons there to deal with vultures as well.
We are seeing more factories going down in Jumsteen's main, not really making that attempt to get that third CC up. So, curious to see if it's going to be a little bit more of a push. It's not that 6 factory that we saw last game.
I'll give him time. I say it will definitely be a 2-base push then. Going up to 4 factories, I'd say no doubt he's going to come across at some point. So we see a pretty normal Citadel timing from Flash. I expect that he wants to go for Arbiter here. But of course the push is going to hit before that's out. Observers are so delayed. One problem is Flash for the Win not going to actually be able to scout the Terran's base for quite a bit here. So he's not going to know this push is coming until it's all too late, I think. We'll see if he's able to defend just with what he has. Already going up to 3 gates earlier, he has a few more goons than he otherwise might have.
I mean, still though, you look at that supply count, it's barely ahead for Protoss. Most of that is actually just workers. It's not even really effective units. Now, Jumsteen, gotta be careful. You see where they're putting the mines. Like, which way are they gonna push? Are they gonna push through that on top of the mines?
Well, I think you siege up here. Yeah, he needs to siege. Yeah, this is just buying time from siege up, then he can creep forward and pick off the mines one at a time, I believe. Or will he? Oh, he kind of needs to, actually, yeah. Okay, well, that's a lot of vultures, though, and the tanks to back them up. This is not the engage he wants, though. He's going out to a concave where all the goons are attacking, the tanks are not. So he's forced to push back a little bit. A lot of vultures getting picked off for free so far. It's a pretty good engage for Flash, but now they're getting into this very narrow area. Oh god, probes coming out. I don't know if that even helps Protoss, or if that's just like more losses they're going to take. I don't know about this now. It was looking good at first, but suddenly these goons have to go in this narrow location. Well, that said, only a few tanks left, and looks like these goons are actually going to clean this up. Wow.
I mean, I think a big part of that fight that it's like, oh, this looks so good for Terran if it was actually high ground, but it's not.
Of course.
There's no high ground advantage here. It looks like there might be. You play like there might be, but there's such a good concave. All those vultures going down so quickly. There wasn't a minefield to slow things down. The Dragoon managed to take a really reasonable fight there. And you see Flash for one taking a pretty convincing lead. Look at that supply difference now, up about 25. And feeling pretty good with all three bases set up.
Yeah, this is an enormous advantage for Protoss after killing that push. I mean, all you have to do really is just tech up. And once you get stasis, usually you can bust Terran pretty reliably. Terran going to try and take a third base here and reconsolidate. Of course, the game's not over, but it's going to be tough going from here. Armory only just started, so no hope of overwhelming Protoss with upgrades anytime soon.
Yeah, we're seeing for Flash or Wedge still going for Arbiters. As expected, it's so hard to have a reason to not go 3-base Arbiters, especially on this map. It feels great. But that Zelt leg speed now completed, so really going to be able to take control of this ground if you want to, get the army on the field. There'll be the opportunity to bleed onto the map, try to take another base, try to take control of that other main down in the bottom right, where he should feel comfortable, really get into that macro spot he wants to be at.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be some time before Protoss goes up to like 6 bases here, especially with Terran only just taking their third now. But ultimately, if you secure that and get a bunch of cannons and stuff up there, it's pretty tough for Terran to push either direction because it's fairly wide open getting across from one main to another. Oh, denies that fourth though. And here we go. He's this vulture harass I was talking about. It's technically walled off, but they can still get some range in there. Cannon going to finish soon and deny this though.
Yeah, I like that pylon wall off though. Like that's a good way to secure that base against these little vulture harassment. It won't do good if there's a really full-scale attack from the Terran, but it's gonna be hard to actually get over there and do that. As you saw, like the way the Terran pushes, just never gonna get over in that spot. But once it gets established, you feel pretty good here. And you see Flash trying to bleed onto the map, try to clear out some of these mines, get some vision control, and Jumsteen looking like they're trying to set up that third base finally.
Yeah. So the thing is, it's very vulnerable from the side where the mines are, but at least they will give Terran advance warning. Okay, it sends an extremely large Dragoon force to secure this fourth. I don't know if that was quite necessary, but there you go. Oh my god, so many mines going down. One thing Jumsteen is good at is just placing a lot of mines. The number of mines you place directly correlates with your win rate, basically.
I mean, I guess that depends on your thought. Are you buying vultures because the unit's good, or are you buying mines and it comes with a Happy Meal?
Okay, oh, well, look at these vultures. They're going to come in here and bully these zealots because there's no goons to help them. Oh, I don't know about the mines, though. When you lay mines in this kind of scenario, it's very easy for zealots to drag them. Oh, my god. Not good for Terran at all. And this probe, just in time, saves itself. Oh. Wow. So, not a good vulture sortie at all for Jumsteen there. Loses like 6 or 7, I think, to that one mine.
Yeah, poking around, trying to get some value, get some map control, but the mines aren't even laid out. They didn't really get a lot done. You can see still a little more pressure from Flasher Wind. Like, you see Jumsteen trying to get some kind of map control, but Flasher Wind being very active, making sure to not yield any of it as that base over at 3 o'clock finally gets started up.
Yeah, so I suppose Flash of the Wind did kind of drag his feet getting this fourth, actually, and Terran's third is sort of up and running. I'm looking at it, and there's all these side LSCPs, but nonetheless, Terran, if he just knuckles down and defends for a while, if he can defend whatever the first Arbiter does, I think he still has a chance to claw his way back. Because Protoss doesn't have an overwhelming lead at this time. That said, the first stasis, I think, is a very dangerous time for Terran.
Absolutely. And even just still, like, when you have all this control...
Oh, look at this run by, though. This one's going to get some value. Oh, nice probe drill, actually. Kind of denies those vultures a bit. I mean, it's still totally worth it, because, I mean, how much does a vulture cost? 75 minerals. Oh, even gets in, gets one more.
Arbiter on the field now are going to start getting that energy up and trying to get things moving forward. Now you see that third base from Jumsteen taken. There's a couple tanks there, but if you went in, throw them to that bottom side, really the only thing stopping you is mines. And I think you're willing to throw a couple zealots that clear it up. Like if you really want to put that pressure on, Jumsteen, the units are not really in a spot here. We see the Dragoons moving forward with Zerber. You're going to start clearing up, put some pressure on. Jumsteen has to move down to try to defend this.
Well, that's the thing. The mines buy you time. They let you know Protoss is coming, so it gives you time to reposition your army, and I believe that's what he's going to do. No, maybe I spoke too soon. I don't know. There's a bunch of vultures there. It's a narrow location. It's pretty long odds for that to work out for Protoss, I say. With a stasis, different story, but before it, I'm not so sure.
I mean, all Splasher Win I think cares about now that bottom time to go to the
bottom, this
right.
army running into mines. Luckily for Protoss, Terran ran some vultures over to stand in solidarity and get killed by mines as well. But this is pretty good value for Terran here, really like blunting these reinforcements. Oh, and those goons accidentally well, I assume it was accidental, ran into that third and took a bit of damage there as well. Stasis is ready. Where will he strike? Will he strike at all? To be honest, it's looking like maybe he shouldn't try and attack here because it seems like Terran's pretty ready. Now, there is a lack of turrets at this third, and there's no anti-air of any kind that I can see over there. Oh, a lot more vultures falling, actually. I mean, Jumsteen has traded away a lot of vultures. Maybe attacking is the right move here. Like, the defenses are weak, but I can just see Flash of the Wind getting, like, caught up in the choke or, like, hitting too many mines, and I'm just not sure it would work out if he did go for it.
I mean, this is the big opportunity, though, that EMP Shockwave...
Oh, speaking of big opportunity... Oh, he only gets 2 tanks. I thought he'd get all the vultures, but then again, it would wall him off if he did. Okay, still 3 tanks here, though. And plenty of vultures to deal with any zealots coming forward. I don't know about this. Oh, nice mine drag again. Man, Jumsteen's lost so many vultures to mines this game. But yeah, I don't know. This location is just so narrow. Does Protoss really have enough?
I mean, you say that, but look at the supply difference. Like, this was a lot closer at the beginning of this fight. And again, not actually high ground. The Dragoons be able to poke in from the sides. Like, even though the station's only got 2 tanks, big move forward from Flash. He loses all his zealots, but they're going to really put some pressure on. Jumsteen,
yeah, I guess it's enough.
Like, it's enough to really put pressure on. Jumsteen trying to move forward his units, but they're not siege. He has to be careful. And you can see that Flash from Win can take his time, try to move forward. Does not overextend too much. Doesn't, like, suicide all his units to kill the CC, but still gets a big amount of damage, resets the UNCAT. And now with the 50 supply lead and getting all that tech available, I think Flash Ruin feels really good about that attack.
Yeah, well, I think with the position he's in, he killed enough SCVs and tanks to make that well worthwhile. And again, I have to say, like, so many vultures got taken out by his own mines. Like, he was just parking them on top, and like one zealot runs in, boom, all your vultures are gone. So a lot less efficient than it could have been. Now, these defenses look a bit more reinforced now, like 6 tanks spread out at Goliath, a vessel. I don't know if you should go in a second time, but definitely a worthwhile trade there.
Well, I mean, now it's been long enough. The Arbiter's been on the field. You got the upgrades you need. And, like, now you can start looking not just for like stasis to break things open, but recall becomes a real threat. If you look around at Jumsteen's base, there's no mines in the main. There's not a ridiculous turret ring. There's definitely an opportunity if you like try to poke around for a recall. You could definitely find one. Or Flash Heroic could just feel comfortable knowing he bought all the time in the world to start setting things up. Gateway's going down over at that bottom right, really setting up for that next stage of the late game.
Yeah, I think in this scenario, you don't necessarily want to recall unless Terran starts moving out. I mean, if you're really far ahead, you know the Terran army's small, it can be a good way to end it, but when Terran's just like knuckling down defending, I think you wait till they poke their head out and then recall. That said, I'm not sure Flash has even researched recall at this point. He may have and I didn't notice, but I don't think he did. That's a lot of gates though, damn. It's going to be like game 1 where he just like starts building from like 30 gates at once.
Man, it's definitely possible. Now you see Jumsteen though, like not making a move to take that next base, and you can see like in the main, those minerals are about to mine out. I don't feel really great about Jumsteen's spot here, that he's not trying to move on the map, get a little more control here. Like, I don't think you want to be in this standoff when you have the Protoss kind of with a little bit more control, has the bottom right base, has units on the map more than just a couple vultures, so I don't know.
Well, I think the best path for Terran here is to try and take the mineral only and the like 11 o'clock base and just kind of fortify that position for a while, and then eventually you work your way down and cut off the natural of the other base. Like, this is long term. I think that's the best path to do it for Terran. When you know you're in a disadvantage and you're not likely to be able to push to the Protoss main, a split map's a good way to do it. Oh man, this one mine, how much damage will it do? There's so many Protoss units. Okay, not that much. They hit one zealot.
Ooh, So enough vultures to actually force the cancel on that Nexus down the bottom.
And at the same time, at the upper main, getting in, killing a bunch of probes is actually pretty good for Terran. And you know, Flash didn't make as many probes as he did in that game on Playpoint, so this actually hurts a bit more. He really needs to remake a bunch. He's down to like less than 50 right now.
You were saying you weren't sure about recall being researched. That you are correct. That was not ready. It's now being researched now. But there is some arbiters in map. They're getting that energy up, and you still see Flashford win pretty close to max right now. But you also see approach that as well. That supply lead that was there before, no longer available. And with that 5th base or 6th base being canceled, Flashford Win plans kind of getting slowed down here. Ooh, look at this.
Oh!
Giant EMP.
Nice.
That's brutal. That broke my heart to watch those arbiters lose that.
There's a difference between the Terran player and the pros player. I was like, nice. You're like, oh, it broke my heart. That was very nice. Scan, saw them sitting idle, and boom, there they go. I need to rhyme about arbiters standing still. Because they always get EMP'd if they're just chilling. They need to keep moving.
I mean, you're not wrong, but at least it needs to not be clumped up where one EMP hits all of them. Like, that's definitely the worst thing. All those energy going down.
Oh my god, huge mines here, taking out so many zealots. Holy crap. That killed a lot of zealots. Suddenly, Flash's army looking a bit weaker, and you know, Jumsteen's just about maxed. He's lasted long enough, +2 just finished. Very delayed upgrades, but not delayed enough, I don't think. Now he has actually a scary army. No stasis are available. Okay, one stasis on that Arbiter that escaped the EMP apocalypse, but I don't know. I feel like Jumsteen could potentially take a fight here. Now, he's moving out to the center of the map, which I don't really like at all. I'm not sure whether he went north, try and take those extra bases, but nonetheless, we're going to have a fight here. Tank's caught on siege as the Protoss comes in. Which Arbiter has the energy? Terran has nowhere to know. He's not getting EMP that front one. A lot of tanks getting engaged by the Zealots. The one in the back not sieging, but the Protoss army, I think, is just too small. Oh, huge stasis. Is that enough, though? I think the unsieged tanks clean this up. Well, hard to tell.
It's a very close fight here, but there's just not enough Zealots to keep putting these tanks at bay. There's just enough vultures to kind of mow it down. You see more reinforcements moving through here. That giant stasis still helping out a bunch. Both players just losing equal amounts of army pretty evenly here. Which I'm not sure, like, Flash for the Win did get more gateways built. He has a lot of remax and get more stuff on the field.
But
he needs to now be careful and actually just establish next base, because his natural's about to mine out as well. And he still has to have that next step. He's just thinking, I'm going to max my army, I'm going to move out.
I'm not so optimistic about Protoss' position because his probe count is not very high and his bank is gone. If Terran is able to secure these 2 extra bases, and there we go, he's taking one now, I think Terran's suddenly in a great position. Oh. Well, a lot more zealots coming out.
I mean, I think a whole part of this game is going to be, will Terran actually try to take that next base? You see an SCV over there trying to go to that one, but it is only a mineral only. A little bit unfortunate. Another fight coming out in the middle of the field.
It's a lot of zealots.
Look at these tanks away there. Ooh, good stasis. This fight got
nice.
A lot better for us right here with that stasis.
Yeah, really good one. Both stasis his cast have been very good, actually. It's just that Terran made too much, but he will actually clean this up now. Wow, really nice fast remax from Protoss, actually. And yeah, Terran not with quite enough to hold his position, so I take it back. I shouldn't have said anything, should I? Because now I look like an idiot. Looks like Protoss going to power through here. A few more tanks out, but I mean, is he at... Oh, God, that mine drag. Flash is really good at just, like, sending a unit in to blow up Terran stuff with mines. He knows when to do it.
Absolutely. Now, this situation, we haven't been really paying as much attention to it, but the natural for Jumsteen mined out. The 3rd is about to be mined out as well, so while the worker count is there for Jumsteen, without having an extra base, he's actually dead broke right now. Nothing coming in.
Yeah, and like I was saying, I think this is the mistake of trying to move across the middle of the map, where if you just move north and set up that area, you could have taken 2 more bases here. He's still going to try and take that middle only. It's not over yet. And like I said, Protoss does not have a bank right now. Well, a little bit of one, but not really. Well, a dodgy attack comes in from Protoss. He loses an army that might buy Terran the time he needs. He's going to start long distance mining right away, and that's one advantage when you have this many idle SCVs. Long distance mining isn't so bad.
I mean, you're not wrong on that one, but this is that opportunity. Look at the banks we're seeing. Flash Red maxed up. Jumsteen. They're trying to. It's so hard to establish anything. This could be your opportunity if you want to go for a real call. There's a great chance here.
Oh, that could be what he's doing. He's clustering up here, and that's not enough turrets to stop it. Okay, looks like he's going to bust this 3rd, but there's no minerals here, so I really question the value of this. Nice mine clearing, though. There's really nothing to do here. Like, there's a depleted geyser. Okay, yeah, he's going to go for the main. Here we go.
Yeah, if you can shut down this production, especially the ones with the add-ons, you really can't afford it.
Oh, this might just end the game instantly.
Not enough turrets to slow that down. The Arbiter takes
Oh my
lots.
god, there's 4 Arbiters in here. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
look at that recall up in there. We're going to be shutting down all this production. And we just see Jumsteen trying to move out with these vultures, trying to get something done. But no units are going back in the main. And look at that stasis at the choke between the main and
He
the
did his
Admiral.
own zealots.
Nothing's going to get here.
Oh.
That is beautiful heads-up play.
Alright, he tries to engage the army that Flash has left on the map, but the Zealots are already on top of the tanks. The Vulture's fighting the Goons. This is the opposite of how Terran wants it to go, and that will be cleaned up. GG, well played. Flash takes it 2-1. You know what that means.
Resets the brackets?
Exactly.
Oh man, we get to watch these guys play more TVP.
Hell yeah.
Fantastic.
So, a whole other best of 3. Anyone's series is going to say anyone's game, but it's not accurate.
I mean, it is anyone's game.
I mean, after Flash wins at once, he's going to be feeling confident. Jumsteen must be sweating, right?
I mean, so the way we saw the first set play out, right? The game got long in 2 games Flash won. Jumsteen can't feel comfortable getting to a normal spot and letting things develop. I think what we saw in game 2 with that like strong push, that 2-base push to put pressure on, I think Jumsteen should lean into that. Make sure Flash doesn't get to that late game because the games just have not gone their way. But to introduce the players for this one, in the top right, in that dark blue is TL Flash Forward, resetting the bracket, taking us to another best of 3. In the top left, the yellow Terran, trying to reclaim their throne. Everything's evened up now. Jumsteen doesn't want to go down without a fight.
Alright, so back on Polypoid. Now, if you want to end the game quickly, what do you do, right? I'm sure you can answer this question. What does Terran do to end the game on 1 base?
True fact.
That's it, that's it. So, on Polypoid, though, it depends on the setup. Because if the Protoss can use that high ground mineral base to defend, it can make it a lot harder. Now, I think some of the time you'll be able to get in there before Protoss can kind of get in position, but it could kind of sabotage your efforts. So I don't know if that's the best option necessarily. Another option I really like is the 1 base drop. Just suddenly you're in there killing all their probes.
Yeah, like as you were going through that spiel, I'm like, you know what I hate so much? Like vulture drops, they'll kill all your things so quickly in a way that you're just like, man, this isn't right. This is not how this game's going.
Yeah, if you want things to die slowly, go play Age of Empires or something. I don't know. That's just how StarCraft is.
Well, like in this map particularly though, you've seen how Flash has been playing it, being pretty active with their gateway army, trying to keep them on the map, clear out the mines, keep the Terran back. I think if your opponent's playing like that and you decide, I'm going to go for drops, that's not a terrible game plan because your opponent's army is probably out of position to defend it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a tough thing when you're up against 1 base Terran. You have to position some for drop and some to watch the Terran army moving across the map, so you can't necessarily kite. It gets tricky, but that's probably not what we're going to see based on this barracks and lack of gas. I'm pretty sure he's going for that Rex FE just like in the first game. So I guess he really is just resetting the best of 3. It's like, alright, well, let's just try the same plan again. Who knows?
I mean, I would love to just assume that players can be like, oh no, I think we got a beat on it, but after that Telvanni game, I have no fucking idea.
Oh
There's
God,
a limit to my clairvoyance, and I think that burnt all of it.
Telvanni is just an enigma, I guess.
But I think there's definitely a good opportunity on a map like this where if Jumsteen wanted to get that aggression, I mean, we are seeing that Rex, this CC, the gases expand to make sure the economy gets moving, but like we saw it in game 2, just kind of moving it. If you go to like that, like strong, screw the armory, no upgrades, slam down the units and put the pressure on early, force Flash to not get to a comfortable spot. Especially since that 3rd base is commonly going to be that like mineral only on that high ground that's so close to Terran with how they laid out. I love the choice if Jumsteen goes for it. We'll have to just see if
I don't think Protoss is supposed to take that because if you're pushing across later in the game, you don't even have to take the high ground. You just start seeking the probes from there, and Protoss has to engage, and you can just take your time like setting up a defense there. So I don't think it would be wise. Now, we've got a Zealot coming up against Rex FE. This is pretty good. Will he do like last time, just try and pick off as many SCVs as he can? Looks like that's what he's going for. He's not going to try and run into the main or anything. Oh, he's running around the bunker. Gets a hit on the Marine. But so far, very good micro from Jumsteen. Not really letting anything happen here. Nicely done.
Yeah, definitely good micro. It's going to slow down the bunker. You see a couple of the SCVs, the boys getting pulled just to make sure the defense goes the way you want it to here. I think that's not a bad choice. Don't want to lose too much to the cell here. But still, that CC about to be finished. If you look at Flash for the win, Nexus not even started. There's no more gateways. There's no tech choice. I think Jumsteen feeling very comfortable the way things opened up here since that Zealot didn't get anything done.
Well, here's one thing. He wasn't able to confirm the Nexus. He had to retreat because of a goon. So I don't know. Maybe he may play over safe here and be forced to get an eBay quite early. Well, the SCV's still on the map though. If it goes back in and sees this Nexus timing, he should know that there's no kind of tech rush coming up. Well, will he go in? That's the question. He's scooting around.
We'll see when the SB tries to get back in here. Like we've seen this opening from both players so many times here, and I want to see Jumsteen be a little bit proactive, try to get something done, shake things up a little bit.
Well, he's going to try and block this third, because I think Flash of the Wind's taking the option of double expanding quickly to try and catch up with the Rex FE, and these goons will bully that guy away. No one better kill that Ursidon. Okay, good. Flash for the Wind would be kicked off the team if you killed that Ursidon.
Yeah, that cute little penguin. It's so nice.
Yeah, what does it look like in Carbot?
It is the chubbiest little circle penguin.
Does it have a smile in Carbot?
Yes, everything does. Every single thing has a smile in Carbot.
Everything?
Yes.
I'm trying to think of like the least happy unit. Even Zealots?
No, not Zealots.
Ah, there you go, because they're just too angry.
Well, they don't have a mouth, so there's no smile.
Nonetheless, and I assume goons can't have a smile, right?
Yeah, like so
I mean, that doesn't really count.
Everything that Zerg has one, because they all have smiles.
All toothy grins, I guess.
Well, that the SCB over 3 o'clock gets taken out.
Wow.
So this is gonna be that opportunity.
Look at what Jumsteen's doing. Having seen that it's going to be a fast double expand, which, by the way, it was a bit of a bait because he's actually going to get Robo before that. He's going for this CC really fast, like just off 2 factory, no armory, no academy, no eBay. And it may pay off because I don't know if Flash can be able to contest this with 2 factory tank coming out. He may be able to deploy it.
I mean, the way it's positioned though, if he's trying to fly to that mineral only, that high ground, if you get the goons up on the high ground ahead of time, it's going to be a little bit harder to break. And you won't have the vultures to really help you out. Now, you see that upgrades coming for Jumsteen here. They are the vulture upgrades, Defiance and speed, not siege mode.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like when you're going to go for this fast third CC, that's not what you want to do because you need to secure this location from potential Paris attacks. If you wanted to stay back and like power, it would make a lot more sense sending out some of your army to harass because you're going to be easily able to defend the 2 bases you have, right? But we'll see. If you can sneak the vultures past the army, they can obviously cause a lot of trouble. But look at this. Flash still hasn't taken this third Nexus. I think he realizes that Jumsteen reacted to seeing his pro go there and he's like, alright, actually, I'm doing a 2 base bust. Hope you're ready. And like without siege mode, that's going to be pretty strong. That said, if he gets the mines in position, it can definitely help defend. Well,
I mean, I don't like trying to bust here. Like, you see all those buildings up at the front, tanks are made. The siege mode's not done, but it's on the way. Still these amount of units, and you see the vultures managed to get up there. The Dragoons weren't in position to really slow us down. You have speed vultures laying mines, cutting off that retreat path. So there's not going to be that extra opportunity to flank from the side. The vultures moving out on the map, trying to put pressure on. I think this was more the goal with this, in these vulture upgrades. Just Jumsteen is going to be proactive, force us to move back because of the threat of the harass. That opens up the opportunity to take that third base.
ooh. What? How? What? Did you see that? How did that goon not die? My god. That goon with like nerves of steel snipes the mine at the last second, and now he can sacrifice himself, right? Right? Okay, he's not going to do it. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's not necessarily anything about this setup says, yes, you should bust. It's more just that I think Jumsteen might be expecting it. Now, he confirmed that there was actually no third Nexus there with that Vulture. So I wonder if it'll make him play a bit more timidly. Yeah, you see him throwing up a bunch of turrets immediately, maybe worried about a Reaver, and he's not landing that third CC because I think he realizes actually there was no third Nexus there all along.
Yeah, this is actually a very different look that we're seeing from Jumsteen. Actually going for double armory, like at the same time, really powering up, going for a big upgrade kind of style. And he's trying to poke out this CC. That's going to give him vision for these tanks. But, ooh, these Dragoons, got to be careful. But don't take too much damage. There's another mine that could have been a lot of damage for free that Jumsteen could have done with those couple mines off to the side.
Yeah, I heard it, but I didn't see it. So I was going, what's going on? Yeah, once the tanks are all sieged up here with like a turret, maybe, it becomes pretty good. But as same as the first game when Pupil we saw, I feel like he's sieging way too far back, and he really needs to claim this high ground and like defend the ramp, I feel.
it's always hard when you watch some Terran players because like there's that fine line between like, no, you gotta like take control of the spot, stop playing so slow, stop playing so far back and save, and then some people would just be like, all the tanks all the way forward and
unsiege all of them, yeah, clump them up and then move command them. Yeah, I know what you mean. By the way, Flash Lewin getting double Citadel here. He's gonna get double Zealot legs. His Zealots will go 4 times as fast.
Oh no!
Imagine.
That's not what you're looking for here. But I mean, it's gonna be very fast Zealots here. It's gonna be juiced up. Like, there's no way to stop that upgrade. You won't know which Citadel to kill, I guess.
It's so that when Terran drops and tries to snipe the upgrade, he doesn't know which one to target. Okay,
yeah.
Protoss trying to come up here. I don't know about this. There's only 3 tanks. It's not much, but there's more reinforcements to come. Well, we'll see. It is a lot of goons. Yeah, and Terran wasn't really prepared for this. Is he actually just going to bust this down that easy? Oh.
I mean, a big part of that gauge was you saw Flasher when he had the goons moving up. He didn't try to poke from distance. He walked way up into the fight, realizing he could take it. Jumsteen has to GG out, realizing how bad that situation was starting to get. Flash taking a pretty good game 1. After resetting the bracket, Jumsteen, come on, man, you won with an aggressive play. Go to the thing that gets you the win.
Maybe now Flash is powered up, he's going to 2-0. Let's see. I think it was a nice mind game there from Flash that he sent the probe but didn't make the Nexus after he realized it was scouted. And then, yeah, it's not like Jumsteen wasn't aware then after he sent that Vulture what's going on. It's just he just didn't have enough to do anything about it. Always interesting when Protoss manages to win with just Dragoons.
I mean, as a avid 2K lover, I agree.
Alright, at the top right in the yellow, we have Jumsteen, and the bottom left in the red, it's Flash for the win. Up 1 game after winning the first best of 3. If he wins this one, he is the king of Tier 1. I hope he does because he's on my team. Be good to have the king of Tier 1 on our roster.
Yeah, you guys are jerks, man. They're just stealing all the good talent. But it's fine. We got that development squad. We're gonna be hunting for you guys later on. Like we're in a good spot. Don't worry.
Well, you're like poaching them from other teams.
No, man, we got that coaching. Like we're getting ready for the regular season. Week 1 lineups, they look strong. I made them. I think we're ready.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we're on Eclipse now. Eclipse TVP. We did talk about it a bit before. One thing that's interesting, by the way, is that Jumsteen only went for the Rax FE on Polypoid last time, did he not? He didn't actually try it again. I'm surprised, because even though it's 2-player, your opponent's going to find you right away. It's a long rush distance, so it seems slightly better here.
I think maybe the choice for the going for the Rax FE there is knowing on a 4-player map, it's less likely for the Protoss to do something crazy aggressive or like, you know, forward gateways, getting the Zealots in the mix, and that kind of stuff, just because there's more spawn locations. And you're just like, I think I can get away with this better on a 4-player map. Maybe less so on a 2-player or 3-player map where you know your opponent is going to be able to scout you a lot faster or have less travel distance to get there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, you know, another thing I suppose is that if you know exactly where your opponent is and you want to go proxy gate, you can put it pretty close. Like at that 3rd, say. And obviously if you go Rax FE, you just die in that scenario.
I'm torn for Eclipse because, I mean, we've cast a lot of games on Eclipse. It was one of the preseason maps for CPL. On one hand, I'm glad people are trying to play real games on it, but I look at Eclipse and I'm like, there are so many good proxy spots and no one's proxying anything, and I'm just like, come on guys, get it together, throw some gateways down, give it a try, like it's fun.
Well, you know what I found tilting on ladder was someone did proxy DT, right, and I died, and I'd like scouted various locations looking for tech, and where he proxied it was like, if you go from your natural towards the bottom right bases, you know that like little alley. He built it there on my side of the map. I was like, oh, nice. The one place I would never look.
Nice. Genius.
Yeah. There's always a place you can proxy DT that they won't check. There always is.
I proxy the 4th.
That's probably smart.
It's next level.
Okay, so this SCV gets in, he sees it's the Zealot again, but it's a long way for a Zealot to go before it get anything done. I believe last time they didn't really achieve anything either. That's right, we had this very good FD come out from Jumsteen, then followed up by that 2-base push that crushed Flash for the win. We'll see if things go differently this time.
I mean, this Zealot's chasing this scouting SCV, so it's not even going across the map. To
Yeah.
put the pressure on.
As Terran, that's exactly what you want, because yeah, the longer the Zealot waits, the less it's worth. Probe took a beating I didn't even see.
Ooh, hey, speaking of proxies, look at that pylon. Is that
Oh!
going to be just down the base, or is there going to be shenanigans?
Well, two options. You put a gateway and go DT, or you put a Robo and go Reaver, I think. Or you put 3 gateways and just go Goons. That's always an option. I hope he does that one, actually. I like that one.
Slamming down a bunch of gateways and going, like, just all in on Goons doesn't seem bad. Now, you see this SUV, it's doubling back. It wants to get back in, confirm the Nexus, confirm something, confirm some, like, gateway counts. Any knowledge you can get is what you're looking for.
Well, Flash very smartly puts this probe here to make it look like he's going to expand. Now, a canny Terran will want to see the Nexus itself, but see, look, the SUV's going to get picked off, so he's just going, okay, he's going to expand in a second, he just can't afford it yet. So everything seems normal, right? But it's not normal.
Yeah,
There's
we do have that. Yeah, proxy robo at 12 o'clock, and this is going to be very difficult to deal with. You see that Jumsteen looking like they're going set up for that kind of FD push. A Flash won't have quite the unit count you're used to seeing here, but if he can manage to pick off some things, just slow things down, I think it's not going to be so bad. Ooh, kill it!
How did the back one get that shot? I thought the front one would. My god. I thought he was going to go towards the proxy for a minute, but either way, if he gets there natural, he's going to know something's going on. But time is ticking. I don't know how much more time there is for Jumsteen to react. That said, with the FD, you're going to be pushing across, and I think Protoss more or less needs to use the Reaver to defend in this scenario. Well, okay, maybe I take it back. He might just have enough goons that he can just, you know, basically trade with the FD while the Reaver kills all the SUVs.
I
a
think
lot of Marines, though.
You just slow things down enough. Like, you have that Zealot that can definitely buy a little bit of time. You have a lot of high grounds to work with, and already making use of them. Look at this.
Yeah, very nice.
Great job taking the advantage you can. Lose the Zealot, which is whatever. He keeps all the Dragoons at max health. So everything feeling good here. But that shuttle's done. Reaver on the way. And you see Jumsteen looking like they wanted to push out. Didn't have the opportunity.
Oh, but what's this Vulture doing?
Don't do it.
Wow, that was awkward. Man. That Goon and Vulture kind of just like, I'll go this way. No, I'll go this way. No, you go left. Like, that's what they were doing just then.
Oh, this is so dangerous. Now
well, okay, so if Jumsteen knows a Reaver is coming, though, he can position these Marines and tanks, and he will be able to defend. But will he know? I mean, time's ticking. He sees there's no third, but he still hasn't even scouted the natural. Oh, it might be too late. Seconds away from arriving.
I mean, this is still just dangerous for Jumsteen, though. But if he can defend this in any reasonable amount, even if he loses some stuff with this Reaver, like, the Nexus not started is still one base
That's
play.
true.
Like, there's gonna be enough that he can get something done. Now, Jumsteen, let's see if he's got those quick reactions. You see some things getting maynarded over. That's not quite the same.
Well, it still helps.
Yeah. It does help.
Oh, that Scarab. Wow, disappointing, and now everything's away. But what does he have to deal with this? Okay, there's 2 tanks out. I want to say he has enough to clean this up. Gonna be careful, though, because that Scarab can do a lot of damage if you're not careful. Okay, lifts up. He's gonna head towards the natural, try and get those SCVs. The Marines are too slow to catch this shuttle. They do some good damage to it, actually. Oh, but there's so many SCVs to get killed here. But they're gonna skate away just in time, I think. Yeah. As a Marine, you do not want your job description to be catching Scarabs, do you?
I mean, they don't even connect half the time. I think
half the time. Yeah, if I told you, okay, we're gonna play Russian roulette, but you have 3 bullets in the gun, would you want to do that? Okay, here we go. Nice split on those Marines, saves 2 of them. Well done there. But there's only 2 left. The Marines get taken out. There's no Marines yet. The turret's not building yet. Okay, he does retreat.
I mean, we've seen some decent damage from Flash Wind, but not nearly as much as you're looking for. Good reactions from Jumsteen. Pulling the SV is not taking any critical losses. This does buy time for the Nexus to get started, but remember, Jumsteen's CC is completed. Siege mode's done. Got some units to help defend, and starting to make some turrets to make sure this Reaver can't come back in and really keep this pressure up. But look at Jumsteen. Very.
He doesn't want to drop here with 3 tanks. Like, I think you just leave when you see this. Oh, Flash for the win. He wants something, though. I think he realizes he hasn't really done enough damage. That said, his Nexus is done, and the worker count's basically even, so I think Flash for the Win is doing alright here. Oh god, do not drop there, you'll regret that. Okay, no. Oh! He disarms the mine. That was very well done, they managed to pick up there, but there's a turret here. I don't think that's going to work out.
You can see the engineer bay moving over. That should be able to start seeing. Actually, it's just out of range. It does not see the proxy buildings. You should know they're there, but you don't officially see them now.
Well, that Reaver taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, taking a little bit of a fight here. The Reaver taking a lot of damage. Does not get killed. It's on life support. So they're trading things back and forth. Now, Flash for Wind still has the word count pretty reasonably up. That in the robotics bay that got proxy is actually researching shuttle speed. They're looking like the opportunity for more harassment might be happening soon. More gateways getting added on as well. Jumsteen's defense is looking pretty good here. I think the situation could have gone a lot worse considering this kind of proxy build. Jumsteen should be happy with where they're at.
It's a bit problematic though that he's banked up like 600 minerals during this. So yeah, I would say yes, he defended alright, but the disruption to like his build has been severe. So we'll see what he does from here. If there's a Reaver out, a 2-base push becomes a lot more difficult. So I don't think that's what we're going to see here.
Oh, this Observer trying to be in base. Actually, 1 health survives.
They always survive 1 health, dude. It just always happens. It's because they have, you know, exactly 60 with the shields, but then 1 shield point comes back, so they barely live every time.
I'm trying to make things dramatic for the illusion, for the audience. Like, what do you like? Don't shoot it down with your logic and math.
I'm just a depressed Terran player. That's why I have to say that, because it happens like every freaking time.
Make a Wraith and get some scans. And
make a Wraith just for observers. I don't know about that, but look, it does get killed. Hooray! Justice restored.
Did you see Haya versus Free? Yes, make a Wraith to kill some observers.
Okay.
That is the game. That is the game.
Protoss sticking on 2 bases here, by the way, and adding gates. Looking like he wants to come in for a bust. You know, there isn't a turret right at the front here. There's turrets in the natural, there's turrets on the cliff, but right at the front might be a weak spot with shuttle speed. Get a second shuttle, load 4 Zealots in, drop Zealots and Reavers. I don't know. Anything could happen. Zealots trying to sneak out here, but this base is well observed.
Ooh, that 1 Vulture does manage to get out unspotted. Like the Observer did see it, but we'll see if Jumsteen will actually pay attention. It's going to be a good opportunity to kind of move out, get some things done. We do see some Dragoons getting pulled back. It's going to get spotted, not get anything done, but this is slowing the Flash down. If you're trying to break forward, you see some observers. The tank's moving forward, going to get control outside of that natural, and I think Flash for Wind has to back off here. Not feeling comfortable, but still, like, this is going to be a big loss at some point when this proxy Robotech eventually does get taken down. But look at all these Zealots moving across the map. Zealot legs halfway done. Looks like Flash for Wind trying to set up for an attack.
I think this is exactly what Flash for the Wind wants, though. He wants Jumsteen to extend out here into this location that's more open so he can suddenly bust, but he's going to wait for Zealot legs, I believe. And that he should be able to buy enough time that his Robo doesn't fall, I would imagine. But I don't know, that is a lot of tanks. Well, with Zealot speed, anything's possible. He needs to put some good mines down, though, I think, to defend this. He's just one shuttle, right? Yeah.
I think Jumsteen feeling very comfortable right now, though, scanning around, trying to get some vision, because he has a mine over at that 3rd base that Flash would normally take, a Vulture at the 10 o'clock as well, and then also just scanned closer to the 5, so knows that Flash is still on 2 base. So Jumsteen doesn't have to overextend, doesn't have to force himself to take a 3rd base, can sit very comfortably 2 base versus 2, feeling pretty good knowing that this defensive posture is going to be hard to break. I
like how he unsieged, then Protoss starts moving forward, he just sieges immediately, doesn't even move. It was like a bait almost. Like with these mines here, I don't know if this is such a good idea, but this is the exact moment Flash wants to attack. There's no real counter to that shuttle, but it only has a Reaver in it, that just gets nuked instantly, so that didn't do anything. The Zealot's getting cleaned up fairly well by the Vultures, but a few of them getting through. Oh, I think Terran defends here, but he will lose some tanks. Oh, well.
I mean, Zealots are all basically done. You see enough tanks are there, and they're all spread out just enough to kind of make this work. This kind of trading armies back and forth for both players. Flash for Wind already has that infrastructure back at home, enough gateways to help kind of keep resupplying, doing a better job during these fights, keeping the macro up compared to Jumsteen.
You know what? Jumsteen actually cut SCVs, I just realized, to go for like a 2-base push here. So when your army gets wiped out in this scenario, that does not feel good. But both players still on 2 bases, and this is what I was talking about earlier. When Protoss doesn't take a 3rd, you don't really want to push with this. You just get your upgrades and chill, because they're not pulling ahead in economy. They're just sitting waiting for you to attack as well. So now his tank count has been reset. It becomes quite a tenuous position for Terran. All these Vultures though. Look at them go. Oh, there goes that one.
And trying to find whatever opportunity they can. Now we do see there's plenty of buildings over here that are made to to lock off that third base for the Protoss. Finally making a cannon. It's going to eventually kill that mine so we can finally get that third Nexus going. Jumsteen scanning around trying to get an idea of what bases might be taken for the Protoss player. We should be feeling comfortable on 2 bases and feeling pressure to get something done.
Yeah, I mean, if you gradually take this location with the Robo, you just need to inch your way out there. I think you'd be in an alright spot. But Protoss might come in for another bust here. Plenty of mines laid. Some of them a bit too far back to the tanks, though.
Does that just give you anxiety every time you see it? When there's tanks like 3 extra mines?
Yes, it does. Mines in your tanks, Pro says thanks. Nice scan to
dude, come on! At least warn me when there's one coming. Like, let me get my heart ready.
Just no mercy for Saetzero. We're gonna rhyme him.
Is this what it is? Now we're not on the same team? Like, you're just merciless?
That's right. I've got to wear you down somehow. What team are you on? Are you playing against us? No, you're on SKT4, aren't you? So you got to pass this week.
No, I'm on rats, man. Like, don't let me in with sniping his like shenanigans.
Sniping his corrupt gang.
His ringer team of bullies and low teams.
Yeah. All his cronies.
I mean, we're seeing some moves here. Actually, we're seeing some DTs getting made from Flash for the win as well. Remember, shell speed is completed. This could be the opportunity. Walk past, just start shooting up the KP boys.
Go get the probes. Oh, is he gonna go? Oh, he must think there's goons there. This is where scans come in handy. If you see there's nothing there and all these probes long distance mining, you've got a lot of probe kills. But once again, the mines on the vultures. Okay, no, he does actually take out a bunch of zealots this time. Ooh, now he's gonna go for it. And the probes are still long distance mining. Oh my god, the gate is open. Okay, there's a DT there, actually. Still, many probes are going to fall here, I think. Yeah, given how many... Sorry, you go.
I was going to say, I like how active Jumsteen is trying to be here with his vultures, but it feels like a little bit of that drop in the bucket. Like, there's no move towards this 12 to clear this stuff out. He's not bleeding out further from his natural pick for control of the map. He's like kind of playing with these vultures, not getting a whole lot done, and then when they die, you look at the board, like the state of the game. It's like, well, Flash looked like they gained a little more supply. They're in a more comfortable spot, still have the map control. So I want to see Jumsteen like kind of focus on the more important things here. And now finally with this CC moving over, sees all these proxy buildings, army being moved up to the 12 to clear it up. This could be the opportunity for Flash to get into a good position outside of natural.
Absolutely. Look, about those vultures, I think he just missed the opportunity to run in to get those probers around the natural area. Oh my god, there's no observer here though. Well, hopefully that one mine that did a lot of damage will alert him to the fact there's a minefield here. Oh my god. Oh, dude, who needs nukes? Mines do too much damage. That was enormous. I think he cleans up the rest of this army now. Oh my god. Yeah, there's mines on the Terran army too. Oh my god.
There's mines on the Terran army, but you just can't get to there. Flash is trying to walk through the grinder, like into mines, into a bunch of vultures, walking down a ramp while there's a giant concave of siege tanks. And even with a couple siege tanks off to the side, clearing off that 12 o'clock base. Big fight went for Jumsteen. Flash went from about 40 supply lead to now down. Giant losses here. And Jumsteen going back to what he was doing before, poking out with vultures, trying to get some pressure on the map. And you can see finally he's starting to move forward with these tanks, really trying to exert some pressure on Protoss. And Flash, like, this situation doesn't look good because he didn't start a 4th base. He didn't get control of the left side of the map or anything. This is not going to be a good spot if Jumsteen can keep this push going.
Well, I mean, he's overexposing here and losing a bunch of tanks, actually. I think he was over-aggressive here and didn't position well. So Flash would have been able to get a bit more value back. Well, more mines, though. Always the mines. Dude, mines aren't even good. They're just, like, killers that kill who they want. They're not even on your side. They're just going to kill anything. Good lord.
You're right, they're terrible. Don't even research them. They're just going to get your stuff killed.
Yeah, they're evil. Oh, these 2 tanks left out here on siege actually going to be easy pickings for these goons, unfortunately. You know, Terran's still on +1 upgrades. I don't think he even has a starport right now. But he has secured the 3rd, and Protoss still on 3 bases. Then again, getting your army reset, it takes a while for Terran. I know this game is still pretty close, I think. It's just that these arbiters are out. A good stasis or a recall can always tilt the game in Protoss' favor.
I mean, absolutely, but in the same way, if you look at it, it's 3 base versus 3 base, and we don't see Flash for Red trying to move out and establish anything. If he was gonna go for that, like a base right above where 9 o'clock would be, that Vulture's been sitting there for literally like 10 minutes.
And
It's
finally, finally, it will
as
get
I said,
something.
yeah, moment I said it, it's like, hey, I'm not alone. Hey, a friend, I'm sorry. Yeah, so
He's like
finally,
loading his grenade launcher. You want to be friends? Shoots it.
yeah, I don't know if that's actually a real choice here. Now we're seeing some units going up, so Jumsteen should be knowing that Flash wants to take that 4th base finally, like making some kind of move here. But I think the macro for both players really starting to kick in a little bit, and I'm curious to see. Jumsteen's going to try to keep the pressure on and keep that slow build that got him where he is in the game now. Although, albeit, I'd say it's more from Flash kind of fumbling some of these fights more than Jumsteen. Like,
Oh, dude, those mines. I think you can see if he didn't hit those mines like that, he would have crushed that resistance, because he kind of almost won as it was. Oh, so many more mines getting laid down, though. Jumsteen knows Protoss weakness. Secret underground nukes. Like, you don't want to attack in here. I just don't think you ever want to attack to this ramp like this. Because there's just so much mines. You're never going to get through that. And it looks like he will go for a recall here, actually, I think is what he's thinking. Now, Terran's not exactly prepared for this, but he will see it coming, and maybe he can move back in. And I'm never really a fan of recalls when the Terran army isn't already moving out of the map. Well, let's see. Oh, Goliaths, go! No, Goliaths! No! They could have stopped it! Okay, he's going to recall right there.
That's a pretty good recall. Going to be able to lock up the top of the ramp as well. And you can see there's still a good amount of army out in the middle of the thing, so going to be able to put some pressure on these production buildings. Jumsteen not reacting super fast here. We see if how Flash One actually defends. If they're just going to try to get the damage they can, or are they going to try to take this fight a little more effectively?
Well, like he will kill this armory, but joke's on him because there's no science facility. He's not researching anything from that. So, I mean, I don't know. I think this is going to get cleaned up. I guess given that Terran's army was fairly small, it's not a bad trade.
I mean, I think it's what we've seen through all these games from Flash One feeling very comfortable just resetting army counts.
Ooh, like, there's the stasis. Now this gets scary.
Yeah, this is so much harder to deal with. You can see a lot of the...
He didn't quite cancel those at the right time. Hang on, he can try again. There you go. He's going to try and get those out of there, but it's not easy. The only way to counter a traffic jam is more of a traffic jam, as you can see.
That's fun.
Oh, it's like a chicane now. It's like you've got to weave your way around the zealots. And like these few Protoss units here continue to do damage. You know what's kind of interesting? These factories are all kind of low, so maybe if there's a second recall, you can pick them off. Meanwhile, Vultures cancelled the 4th on the left, though.
No, they didn't cancel it. They killed it.
Oh, they did too. They did too.
They straight killed it.
True. Straight murder.
We're not going to talk about your Terran bias. You're so focused on the recall. You're not even looking at the Vultures killing the Nexus. I see how it is.
Hey, you can call stuff out too.
I'm not going to talk over you, my friend. Like, I'm going to...
Ah, but that's your mistake, because I will willingly talk over you. Oh, mine's hit those Vultures.
Now, unfortunately for that recall, that wasn't a main. A lot of the buildings getting damaged, but not so many of the production actually got killed. Flash when taking their army, trying to move up towards what would be that 12 block area, trying to get some more foothold on this map, maybe put pressure on this 3rd base. But look how many mines are all over the place. It'd be hard to move through, but Flash for the Wind's army pretty huge here, as long as he doesn't lose.
Well, you know what else is huge though? This minefield is huge, and there is no observer.
I feel like, you know, it's a very dangerous sentence.
Oh, God. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But look how much damage these mines are doing. Huge damage going down. There's even some Vultures up in here. I don't think Protoss is going to get into this base. Losing so many units to mines. And yeah, these Vultures are going to block in time for reinforcements to come. Well, I hope reinforcements are moving. No, Terran doesn't have much to bring, actually. Maybe this base can be busted. So costly.
I think so. As long as you actually move up here, there's only one tank that's not stasis. The defenses are very light here at that base. You see the Flash from Wind actually being able to move forward here.
GG, congratulations. Wow. We have our king of tier 1. Well done, Flash.
Okay.
So, very, very costly at the end, but I guess he just knew he had enough, and that was his win condition. Just take out that base and the game's over. Really well done, though.
So let me get this straight. Tier 3, it was Stormcrawler's team. Tier 2, it was Snipe's team. Tier 1's your team. maybe tier 0?
Yes, the Rhynodons finally have their revenge. Well, don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up. That is tier 1 we're looking at right now. Hold on. There we go. Now we're looking at tier 0. So, our finalists are going to be Crane and Ash Space. So, we have another repeat of what we just saw, basically. Well, not what we saw. Well, tier 2, where Crane won in the semis, but Ash Space clawed his way back, and now he's back for round 2. And once again, if Ash Space wins the best of 3, then he can go in for another best of 3 win, but Crane only has to win 1 to get the championship.
I'm definitely very intrigued by this bracket. If you're looking around, it's like you look at top side, all right, Crane beat Armada. That sounds good.
Ooh,
and
yeah,
Ash Space, I get them there. But look at the bottom half. You see, like, Armada had to fight through a bunch of people, got the Flow beating a bunch of people, and Ash Space fighting their way back at the grand finals. It looked like this tier 0 bracket was stacked for the
Flow, Armada, both extremely strong players for sure. But Crane and Ash Space proving that they're stronger, I guess. Wow, Kiko is in there too. Well, I'm surprised Kiko didn't make it to the finals, but there you go.
I mean, lost to Crane, lost to Flow. It seemed like there's just a bunch of killers here really getting their job done. And meanwhile, we see Snipe talking in the chat, not being in the finals.
Well, you know, he doesn't bribe people so they let him win. He takes the bribe. So he took a dive, obviously. It's the only explanation.
Well, now, since it's tier 0, so last set of the night, there might be one best of 3, it might be 2. We have to see how things play out. But if you are loving the casting that we're bringing to you, we do this all the time. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, 7 o'clock p.m. in Eastern Standard Time, New York City time. That's going to be us doing Match of the Week casts for CPL. It's going to be preseason, then it's going to be regular season starting next week. It's going to be super exciting. We're always here. Follow it on Discord. Follow the channel. You get the notifications for everything. If you really just like what we're doing, there is a subscribe. There is a Ko-fi. You can throw some stuff at us. I don't care. It's not really important. We're doing it for the love of the game. And speaking of the game, do you want to get started on tier 0?
Nice. All right. Well, this is going to be the most hyped series of all, right? Because these are the highest skilled players. And, you know, in a way, the stakes are highest because, you know, you'd rather be King of Tier 0 than King of Tier 1. So let's get into this series.
Literally, a scout got made and it didn't.
It's true. The scout fucking destroyed.
Yeah, it didn't look comically stupid, so...
It looked OP as hell.
I don't know,
like,
man.
It just slaughtered those overlords. Alright, in the top right, in the blue, it's Crane. And in the top left, in the purple, it's Space. Playing in the Tier 0 King of the Tier. Starting off this best of 3 on Polypoid.
Alright, pros versus pros. Finally, some honorable games and some honorable races.
Look, you can't tell me TVT sucks and be like, yes, let's watch PvP all day.
No, I absolutely can't.
Oh my gosh.
No, this is how you describe TVT. It's like chess, but there's stuff and it's exciting or something.
Yeah.
Pros versus pros, I'll just be like, it's like 7 goons for 6 goons.
And the game's over.
And then it snowballs out of control. The micro is so important. If you really like, if you love playing those UMS maps where it's like, I have 3 mutalists versus 4 marines and a medic, and it's like, this PvP is the matchup for you. It's super fun, and it's so hard to take bases and go late game. It's just actual like different builds to use. It's exciting. It's a little silly, but it's exciting.
Yeah, well, it is pretty exciting when it goes late game for sure. We had some very cool PvPs on Transistor where we got to see like stasis used in PvP and stuff. That was pretty awesome. I want to see the like carrier Dark Archon PvP meta.
You never will. That actually makes no sense.
Oh, sure it does. One player's building carriers, the other player builds Dark Archons to control them. So then the first player starts building his own Dark Archons to control them back, and eventually both players are just spamming Dark Archons. It's perfect. It makes total sense. And then one player builds a cannon and wins the game.
So you want to watch a game where no one wants to win? Is that what I heard?
By the way, Crane checking for proxy here. It's little known, but you can actually build in a couple of spots in the center here in Polypoid. So Crane just wants to see if there's 2-get proxy coming up. Space is just like, I don't need to check the middle. I'm lucky. I'm just going to one-scout you. I mean, Crane would have as well if he didn't. So both players going to see exactly what each other's doing. Pretty matched builds so far.
Now we are seeing a little bit of a build difference. We see Space actually going for that early Zealot. Doesn't want to scout for the proxy. He's just going to make that blind Zealot before the core instead, making sure they have that little extra defense and come up. So I think Crane's tech having that little bit of an advantage here, going to be able to get the Goon on the map, get that probe out of the base a little bit faster.
Yeah. There's always the question here of, is your opponent going to go for one of those gasless builds where they get 2 gates and expand or something like that? But of course, since they've eliminated that, we're going to be in for a much more standard game. Oh, that probe in Crane's mineral line is picking fights that it shouldn't. Okay, now it's going to live.
Alright, I mean, so you say that we're going to be more for a standard game, but once you get to that point where both players are scouting around, gas is taken, there's a gateway, there's a core, all that kind of stuff, the moment that probe dies, that's where you get into the mind games. What build's actually going to be taken? And we see both players taking that Dragoon range, no kind of like gimmicks where they're kind of bluffing, trying to lean into DTs or anything, but still, who wants to make that guess? Are you going to go some kind of opening that I need detection for? Can I just go a bunch of Dragoons? Am I going to expand with Reavers for defense? Definitely still a lot of options for both players here. It's going to be whatever player wants to be that little bit more greedy or add an extra gateway and just kind of kick the opponent's teeth in.
Snipe in chat, what am I hitting you up for? Like what, so you can throw games? Yeah, let's match each other next week and then you can throw, no problem. But see, what I'll do is...
CPL 6, the end of the corruption. Knock it off, both.
No. CPL 6 is already corrupt. I'm not making it any worse. I mean, don't you know the subtitle for CPL 6 is Bug Speed Snipe? Just FYI, that's an insider meme there. So the thing is, well, what was I talking about before that came up? I can't remember. There was something important, I'm sure.
It wasn't. You're talking about Dark Archives versus Carriers.
Yeah, exactly. That's super important. But no, I don't know.
So both players doing literally the same build right now. One gate straight into Robo. Don't want to risk anything too bad. Now there will be an opportunity if you want to go for that fast Reaver instead of getting Observer. But I think both players opting into something like this, so aggressively getting that Robo, want to be absolutely sure DTs aren't the option. Since neither player's really kind of throwing a bunch of Dragoons forward, you don't really see the expenditure of the gas. Don't want to be risking anything. So it's going to be really that kind of blinking contest. Who's willing to get that Nexus first and like risk themselves being broken while both players playing literally the same build.
Yeah, you know what's intriguing is I thought that Space might actually try and hold this high ground. That's why he moved out so early. But he did retreat from there. You know, doesn't Crane have a pretty significant advantage in this scenario where you're both just making Goon Reaver? Crane can kind of safely advance onto this high ground and kind of menace Space to push out, whereas if Space is standing in the equivalent position, he's on low ground.
Well, so as you're saying, as they both make Dragoon Reaver, they're not both making Dragoon Reaver. Space is going for 3 gateways, and the Robo's just for observers. 3-gate observer, very strong build, get you a lot of Dragoons, get you the safety against DTs. If you want to be forward, you can put some pressure on, do some damage, slow down whatever expansion your opponent does. Or you can see Space here being very defensive here, making sure to lock over the base. With that probe down there at the base, looking like they want to just take a Nexus reasonably soon. While Crane, they got that Observer going, still in 1 gateway production. Now they do have a support bay, they're going to be working on Reavers, but since it's Reaver without Shuttle, this is meant to be defensive. Crane poking out just to see what's going on, get an idea, but I think they're going to be just trying to establish that Nexus.
Surely with Reaver without Shuttle, you should start the Nexus first then, if you're not planning to harass.
It depends on how comfortable you feel. Remember, Crane was on 1 gateway. He didn't have a lot of... You have to be making sure what your opponent's doing. If you're about to get like all in with a ton of gates, you're getting that Reaver a little bit earlier. It's kind of the only way you survive stuff like that. Now, Nexus for Crane does get started first. Space still has that probe ready, starting to build up some of the minerals. So the Observer here is going to see no Nexus here, tons of Dragoons, and they're starting to move across the map. Crane's got to be ready to defend this.
Well, he did expand ahead of his opponent, so I guess the defensive Reaver is the right call here. In theory, Crane should be able to defend this, right? 3-gate obs versus slow Reaver, like, you know, high ground Reaver, I guess is what you call it.
It's gonna remember, without a shuttle, it's all about can he protect that Reaver. If these goons can run forward and kill that Reaver before he gets too many shots,
that's gonna help.
It'll be very difficult. Now you see a big move for Space, gonna be diving in, taking so much
great
damage.
shot.
Does not kill the Reaver, manages to get away.
That Zealot's a goddamn hero. He was on like 3 HP when he killed that Reaver.
Yeah, still, you see Space take so much damage from there. Crane has a giant Dragoon lead now. and still has Nexus on the way. Shield battery up the front completed with plenty of energy to use. Now, while Crane doesn't have a lot of gateways just yet, another Reaver got made. Crane actually still being aggressive, pushing across the map. And he's look at space. That Nexus isn't even completed yet, so Crane definitely in a great position here. As long as you don't overextend and lose units in a silly way, they should be feeling very comfortable right now. You can see Crane pulling back, adding on more gateways in a great spot, up a couple supply, but that means the world in PvP.
Well, I will say though, like Space isn't in such a position that he has to attack here. He can still stay in the game, staying back here, but it is going to be tricky.
Absolutely.
Well, the thing is, he didn't invest in the support bay. Can he potentially get a Citadel and go Templar sooner? I'm waiting. He's going to build it. Look, do it, man. Do it. He keeps building probes. Don't you know? You have to get the Citadel. Come on, man. Oh my god! I shouldn't have committed to this. There it is. There it is. As soon as you second guess yourself.
He built it the moment you were like, I shouldn't have said it. He was waiting for you. He wanted to be wrong twice. Like extra high level strategy. Now, while you are seeing it from space, he's getting towards Citadel. He will have Templar tech, or at least just Zealot legs to help engage a bunch of these Dragoons. And adding on more gateways. Crane getting that shuttle speed on the way. Has 2 Reavers already made shuttle on the way as well. So great units able to be very defensive, but with a speed shuttle, you can really start getting some harass on, getting some damage, which when you see from space, he doesn't have the opportunity for that. He's just got to try to muscle it down. And both players have very similar unit counts if you ignore the Reavers, so Crane definitely got a pretty significant army advantage.
Yeah, I think until Storm comes out, Crane is always going to have the edge here, but once it does, I think it goes anyone's game. Like, it's either way. Now, it looks like Crane wants to harass here, obviously with the shuttle speed, that's the plan, but I don't know, Space seems to have it locked down pretty well. Yeah, you can get the Reaver down there, but the Goons are there to react right away. The chances of getting enough probes to make it worthwhile and not losing the Reaver seem low. It looks like he wants to try it anyway. Well,
I mean, he knows the Observer sees him. He's trying to poke in. Wants to be very
Oh,
careful.
wow. That's your punishment.
Shuttle speed barely not done yet, so Crane going to be careful not to overextend too far. And I actually love the choice. Taking that shuttle, only 1 Reaver, still leaving 1 at home for that extra defense. And you see Crane try and just kind of macro up, add on some more buildings. Finally getting that gateway count to catch up to space here. So at this point, like once everything is online, the production from both players will be very similar. But space is going to be the first one to Templar attack, making that next move.
Yeah, the thing is, the main was wide open, by the way, when he was flying in there. If he flew in there with a speed shuttle, you know, you could get a lot of probes. Maybe he still will. I think Crane's thinking of taking this third. I think that pylon isn't just for spotting. I'm pretty sure he wants to build a third up there eventually. This probe is going to poke, though, and I really like that move, just seeing where your opponent's army is positioned. And look, this is going to kind of catch these goons out, but Space going to swiftly pull back here. Not going to lose too much, I don't think. Oh, he looks like he wants to dive on the Reavers. Not picking up. Oh, great shuttle micro by Crane. Wow, that was really good. And got a lot of free hits off there with his own goons. Zealots are out without speed. They're really just food for Reavers here. On the high ground, Crane trying to take this army, but it is bigger than his. The Reavers need their shuttle to back them up. The shuttle has gone too far away now. It looks like the Reavers will fall, but the goon count will be superior. Oh. Okay, this is pretty good for Crane.
That high ground advantage doing all the work there for Crane to win. So many shots. And
get the probes.
Longer.
GG. He doesn't want to see this. He doesn't want to stay for the probes to die. That's very merciful. I appreciate that.
Convincing game 1 from Crane. Playing out the defense, knowing... Like, that's one of the big things for PvP for me, is what's your advantage, know what it is, and don't overstep it. Crane got those Reavers without the shuttle, didn't overstep on the map trying to have map control, just comfortable taking, I got my base, I got the expansion, good to go, took the advantage of having a little bit better economy, and really rolled that into a good win. But that positioning at that last fight, having that high ground advantage, really did all the work. Yeah,
it was really good how he looped around the back, but also he sent that probe on the main path so that the enemy army didn't outmaneuver him. Because, you know, if you're going around the way and your opponent goes the shortest distance, it's not good. Alright, into the second game. Oh no, these colours. In the top right, in the yellow, we have Space, and the bottom left in the olive is Crane, currently up on game. That almost rhymes itself.
So how about
it's not top versus bottom.
So how about I talk about PvP for a little bit, and you on the overlay switch to player names.
Oh gosh, what is it with me in that? Good idea.
That's okay. Shout outs to Cole because the chat pointing that out. Now, on Eclipse, much more opportunity to get some weird proxy stuff going on. I'm curious to see if we're going to see any kind of different build from both these players. but considering it's 2 base, lots of high ground advantage, lots of open space to move things around, like spaces built that we saw in the previous game, that 3-gate observer, that's the kind of build I love on this kind of map. It makes so much sense to me that you can put that pressure on, you know exactly what your opponent is doing, and just kind of comfortably try to develop and get your nexus up, move into there. I don't think you need Reavers as much on a map like this with all that like high ground going up and down as you move across the map. So I think if we see a game very similar to what we saw before, it should feel pretty reasonable. It's just Space got to not take that fight against the high ground like you did at the end of that game.
Yeah, and it was good timing as well that Zealot speed wasn't finished, because they really are pretty bad, like especially against Reavers without speed. By the way, what are people saying is a crime in Twitch terms of service? Oh, sure. If they were saying it would be a crime to show the Reaver hitting the probes, yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, we're not here for gratuitous content.
That's right.
Space, he's opting into something else here. You see double gateway, which this could just be gateway pressure, but this should be Zealot expand. You get some Zealots up, get your early expand, get a forge to get the detection, and then you can go DT behind her or go into a normal game plan. But if your opponent doesn't do a build that's prepared to defend against this really quickly, this could really get out of hand fast. And also, we don't know the turn rate between the two players. Having to defend against this kind of Zealot build.
Look, that probe blends in. How do they even know it's the wrong one? Oh, okay. Look at it. It's like, how would you even know?
I mean, I think the players probably did the little shift tab. It's teal versus
yeah, they have that luxury. I wish I had that. Can you set them to enemy? No, you can't do that. If only you could set one of them to enemy, it wouldn't be so bad. But yeah, like we can't do anything about this because it's hosted in melee mode. So, or maybe 1 versus 1 mode. I don't know.
Oh, unfortunate for Crane. That scouting probe gets killed by that Zealot almost immediately. Not gonna be able to hang around here and get a good idea what's going on. Which, I mean, it is 2-gate. You should be expecting just to be Zealots, just to take a Nexus or whatever. But staying around long enough, if you could see the gas, which you do actually see from space, taking the gas now, there might be shenanigans.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, so where do you go from here? Do you go for DT after this, or what? Into your own goons, or...?
I really don't know. You might just be able to take advantage going to a normal build. You see Crane here being a little more defensive, actually even getting a shield battery blindly, not really sure. So these Zealots can get in there, kind of get some damage done. You might be able to just go into a normal 2-gate goon, go into a robo, you can go DT, you can go all these kind of things. I think it's a little bit just that mind game trying to eke out an advantage that just kind of added nothing. Trying to play, but Crane very intelligently sends out a second probe, get the scout on, and should see that there's a gas on the way, but the shield battery is already done. Zealots are here on the map now. Crane has to be careful not to take too much damage from these Zealots.
You know, he had 2 on gas for a while there. I don't know if it's intentional or a mistake. We'll see if that impacts him. Yeah, pretty good micro so far, actually, from Crane. Oh, that Zealot barely makes it out, so it doesn't look like Crane's really going to lose anything here. Filling up the shields, no problem. Well, yeah, Crane actually just crushing this. So, correct me if I'm wrong, the last PvP we casted, the player doing the 2-gate strategy won like 2 games in a row, right?
Probably. I don't recall the games. Kinda, there's so many, it's hard to keep track.
I think Crane's doing a really good job microing this, and he might show us how you can kind of just demolish this kind of build with good micro, because I'm wondering what's really going to stop him from coming across the map here. Like you said, his second gate was delayed because he had to get that battery, but even so, he should have the goon advantage here, I would think.
Yeah, but remember, like, if you're from Crane's position, you don't have things in the base. You saw 2 gates into a gas. You kind of don't know what you're expecting here. So he doesn't know that there's a Nexus here. He also doesn't know that it's not DTs. You see that he's kind of turning up back at home. Might not feel safe moving out until maybe there's a robo, some kind of observers on the map trying to see some kind of thing. Or he could just be trying to wait for more gateways before he really feels comfortable moving out. But just at this point, 2 gateways, no tech, is not really the position you want to be going for. And the way he's set up, I think he might just be willing to take the little bit of loss and just take his own Nexus, stay defensive.
Is that the play here though? Because won't you be behind like quite significantly?
I mean, it's a weird spot. I mean, this is already a weird game, having this Zealot opener from space, but then going into that gas right away, and then just kind of a normal build. One of the things you're actually seeing from Space here, it is why his unit count looks so healthy. He has skipped Dragoon range. He's just kind of bluffing. He has lots of numbers of stuff, but he won't have that micro opportunity. Needs to kind of make sure that gets started soon. Otherwise, there's going to be a great opportunity for Crane to bust through when these Dragoons just won't be able to fight back.
Yeah, well, you know, I guess the one advantage Crane is going to have is his robo timing here, so potentially Reaver Harass can equalize this game, or busting. But definitely he's not going to be able to get in here with the cannons.
No, he could definitely get in here right now if he's just
You think
very
so?
careful.
Ooh.
Like, so the cannons are there, but he has Dragoon range. His opponent just started. He has a giant advantage here. If he can bait space moving out, like, there's definitely an opportunity to get something done here. That second cannon is not done yet. You see Crane trying to pounce forward, managed to get one of the Dragoon kills, and you can see this difference. Like, Space has to be so turtled up here, so careful. The cannons are really going to be the only thing keeping him alive here.
I don't think Crane realizes it. If he did, I think he would actually just keep going. Obviously, it's not easy to tell. But damn, that's a huge advantage actually I didn't think of. So yeah, if Crane was just rallying goons across from the start, I think he could have crushed this then. Because it's just such a big difference. Range or no range.
Yeah, I think part of that would have been if he had like a third gateway, but instead kind of being a little more conservative. This is what's letting him get this Nexus up now. So he is a little bit behind on the economy. That Nexus will finish eventually, but it's not like right now he's so far behind on workers. He's actually still up on supply. That army, pretty intimidating here. And you can see Crane working towards a shuttle, working towards that robotics bay. I think he's going to wait for that Reaver to try to make a move to press in here. He won't have that range advantage anymore, but you can see that Dragoon count still pretty good for Crane. He actually has an advantage still.
Okay, yeah, and like there's no way Space can move out because he's got a like pretty good army position here to contain. So if he just keeps him here until the Reaver comes, then he can start sieging with the Reaver. This seems pretty good for Crane.
I mean, you even see, like, this is just such a rough spot for someone like Space here, because look at that concave Crane has with these Dragoons. How do you move forward into that without, like, taking a bunch of free damage? And you even see Crane has the Observer moving into the base, sees how many games are made, how many are being made, sees the lack of tech. I think Crane is going to be feeling really comfortable now putting some pressure on, or at least knowing what he should be doing here.
Yeah, maybe you take your third here, I don't know, or maybe he will try to go for the attack. Shuttle's already out. Is it worth harassing instead of trying to bust the front? I don't know. I mean, again, the main mineral line looks undefended, but sneaking your way around there could be fraught with peril sometimes. So many options.
If you're not going to bust the front here as Crane, you have to at least try to harass. Your Nexus was so much later than your opponent. You have to try to catch up. And with that Observer seeing how many gateways are getting slammed down, if you don't slow down your opponent, they're going to get a couple rounds of production. You know you're going to be in a rough spot.
Right, that makes sense. Well, it looks like he's going to try to go for a third here. I suppose he's going to harass and go for the third. Because, yeah, I think the window for busting this is definitely closing. Once Zealot speed is out, for sure, Crane's just going to... Not Crane, Space is going to have a bigger and better army, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you already see Space actually taking that supply lead, because more gateways and skip some of the tech, and actually working towards +1 weapons and Citadel of Dune. So, again, skipping that Reaver tech, trying to just go straight into something else. Now, Crane backing off the front, but this shuttle trying to work through here. But Goons are already kind of in position.
Oh, not bad, not bad.
And that one hit alone, even up that work count, Crane finding an opportunity with that Reaver.
Thing is, though, there's already this sunk investment Space made into more gates and this tech and everything, so I say Space is still pretty ahead. I don't know why they have to go to the natural. Couldn't he have tried to fly in the main here? There's a lot more probes there to potentially kill. I suppose the shuttle would get spotted by buildings right away and the probes just run.
It is one of those things that you just have to be careful of, because a lot of Pro players will have Dragoons in the main ready for some kind of drop like that. You don't want to be caught so far out of guard, because if you lose that shuttle and that Reaver, like, Space is all on gateway units and everything. If you can kill that shuttle Reaver and its economy was better, that is a great opportunity to counterattack, or at least set up a third base where Crane won't be able to push.
True. That's a good point. It is a big risk. You know, I'm getting worried, though, for Crane in general, because I feel like Space just has every advantage right now. He's having this, like, faster storm. He has upgrades going, whereas the only thing Crane has going for him is this double Reaver, which his opponent doesn't have. But as the game goes on, they're going to become less and less valuable the more storms are coming out.
I mean, Reavers do still maintain their value later on, especially as you get further in the game. where speed zealots become a little bit more valuable than just raw dragoons. Like reavers still maintain their value there. Like storms are useful as well. Like having multiple splash damage sources are definitely good. They kind of stack on top of each other a little better.
So if
like they're not dead weight.
If one player put all their resources into storms, the other put like some into storms, some into reavers, is the reaver player better off there?
In my opinion, yes, but I don't know what other people are.
I never thought about that with the splash stacking. I guess you can just melt those zealots that much faster.
It also balances out your economy a little bit better.
Right.
It's a more mineral and gas being balanced rather than heavy gas.
Well, having shuttle speed, of course, is going to be a big advantage as the game goes on. Oh, look at this. The probe line is still undefended here. He's going to come in for round 2 of Harass. Oh, this looks like it'd be very effective indeed. Oh, I don't think he targeted the right probe there. And the Reaver itself is blocking the Scarab. Well, okay, I guess you can just go through the minerals. That's cool, I guess. Oh my god.
That hit was worth the first one dudding out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and he drops to get that Templar. Nicely done. Wow. Okay, I take it back. Yeah, Reaver's definitely better than Templars. Screw Templars.
I mean, one storm drop would have done infinite damage, though, to that mineral line. So that's definitely not the case you want to be looking at here. But Crane finding a good opportunity, that Reaver doing big damage, that space, managed to go to the 12 o'clock, take that third base. Now, Crane did not invest in another base. He invested purely in army and looking at moving across the map. He still has those Reavers. And you see space moving across, actually a little bit out of position. Needs to be careful. Like, I think this is a big fight, and Space's army should have the advantage here. And so it's going to be all about positioning here. Who has the high ground advantage and who's willing to blank first. Space moving across to that 9 o'clock expansion wants to shut down Crane's third.
Yeah, and Crane actually pulled back. And I don't think he realized how far advanced Space's army is. I think this third is done for. I mean, with Storm here, I don't like this as Crane at all. I think this is going to be a slaughter. Well, he's going to come down from high ground, though, actually. This is kind of sneaky. One Reaver is just zooming off to God knows where. Nice Storm on the shuttle immediately. Dropping the Reavers in the north, but the Storm's going down all over Crane's army. The Reavers doing what they can, but they're targeting a single goon that... Oh, wow, they stopped those Archon from morphing. Oh, loses one Reaver in the shuttle, and the rest of his army gets destroyed. This harassed Reaver not able to help out in the fight. GG. Space just with more stuff, really.
It also had the positioning first. Crane tried to move into it, took a bunch of fire for the Reavers before the fight even started, especially since the Reavers had to dodge that initial storm. So Space taking a really good fight there, and that evens up the series 1-1.
Alright, well, let's go into game 3. See if Space can just take it down just like that, or if we're going to have to go for a second best of 3 here.
Hey, listen, we're both Drag fan, man. You better be rooting for Crane right now. You better be rooting for Crane right now.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, sorry, it was Crane in the winners bracket, wasn't it, actually? I take it back.
Don't remember the brackets.
Check it in a moment, but in the 12 o'clock right now is Ash Space. In the grey, oh, that's much better. In the yellow, we have Crane. Tied up 1-1, game 3 here in Silford. But yeah, it was, in fact, Crane in the winners bracket, actually. So if Ash Space wins, we go to a second best of 3. If Crane wins, it's over, and Crane is the king of Tier 0.
Alright, so maybe I don't root for Crane then. But maybe I want to. I'm having a great time. These games have been great. Which actually, I don't know if we introduced these players for what teams they represent.
No, we did not.
Crane is representing Team Amigos. So those are the guys.
Well, yeah, I can't root for him because that's my opponents this week.
And then Ash Space is representing Mech and Cheese. A great name. Great.
Perfect name. Perfect name. But yeah, I can't root for my opponents this week. They have to crush and burn, so they'll be disheartened to play against my team.
Man, you're just a bully. Like.
I
want you to do well. Like we got the whole fucking. We're all teammates, man. Like I want you all to do well. Like I want everyone to have a good time. You're just like, no, we're enemies now, mortal enemies.
That's right. I won't give you the time of day. I'm not joining you for match of the week because we're not in the same team. I can't cast with you, see ya. Or I join, and like the whole time, I'm just asking, like, so Saetzero, what exact build would you do in this scenario? And what about your teammate as well? What do you think they would do? Okay, probes.
I feel attacked right now. Don't. What are you doing?
Just gotta get that intel, man. That's what it's all about. So both players won scouting. They're pretty lucky. Well, I guess 50-50 on Silford, right? Oh yeah. So about Silford, right? Oh, interesting that Crane's going for this strategy. I guess he's like, huh, that strategy's pretty good, huh? Let me try it.
Oh no, I like it way better on this map than
Do
the map
you?
we saw.
Because no
Yeah,
ramp?
because it's Sylphin. It's shorter distances and there's no ramp.
Right, yes.
This makes way more sense on this map to go this kind of 2-gate. You really put the pressure on, and because it's a little bit harder to defend any of these bases, you have to really respect the power these Zealots can have early on.
Yeah, I was going to say about Silver, because there's no ramp, you know, you have that potential goon contain that we see so often in pro games. But this kind of 2-gate play kind of circumvents that whole metagame, I think. Rip probe. Didn't even try and run. Okay, looks like... Wow.
So scared of the Zealot, doesn't even want to try to stay alive.
Dude, this is just like exact mirror of the other game, except the players are swapped.
So it is very similar that we're seeing the two players having their own different builds. Now, the big difference that I would say that you see on the map, because of how the map's laid out, especially because of the distance between the two, I think as like Crane going for this like 2-gate, getting the gas, getting the cyber core, you could definitely put on a lot more pressure, because you can see like look at these Zealots, they're already like halfway there. And you can kind of just keep railing at your opponent. I'm not expecting Crane to take a Nexus. I'm expecting just hard aggression this whole time. Really put the pressure on. We're using these Zealots to bridge you into going more gateways. And if you can get these Zealots in your face and see what's going on in your opponent's base, if you can write off DTs as a choice, you can just go goon all in.
Okay, well, will he be able to do that? I suppose there's nothing stopping him from coming in here. This one Zealot really does not want to hang out. Oh, watch out, dude. Okay, you're going to go back to the shield battery. Yeah.
The shield batteries there are going to be able to help keep things alive. But look at that giant surround moving through the pylons here. But that means the Zealots are going to be able to get into the probe line and start getting advantage for Crane.
Yeah, and it's very hard to save them with a shield battery. He gets one so far, and in fact he's killing that other Zealot while this is going on. Okay, no, I guess the Zealot's killing him. But yeah, already killing a few probes. It's looking very good for Crane at the moment. Oh, will he get another one? He does. Oh, wow. Decent drills, but it's just so hard to stop those Zealots. So that's a pretty good lead for Crane already, I want to say. Except that Space is going to have more goons here, I think. Although with Defender's advantage, he can't really capitalize on that. Like by the time he gets across the map, of course his opponent's goons have just popped out.
Well,
and
you're saying that. Did you see that Cybercore wasn't blinking? Crane's Zealots were in there, saw that call. Crane went 2-gate, delayed the core, delayed the gas, and he started range first. If he's paying attention to those kind of things, he should know there's shenanigans. But look, there's a probe still in the main. Crane could go scout that at any time.
Oh, I didn't realize that probe was there. Oh, and it's going to come across. Oh my god. You just want to leave the game when this happens to you as Space.
No.
You're just like, god damn, like I'm uninstalling this stupid game. Like, oh, he's just going to go back to his spot, no problem. I'll be back in 5 minutes. You enjoy?
You can see here that Space trying to move across, get some damage done, but there's already goons waiting here. Like you're saying, Defender's advantage. We see plenty of goons being made. Crane just has to not overstep, let that second round of goons come forward, and just kind of naturally build into its own lead.
Yeah, I mean, even trading just like this is fine, because he knows he has the reinforcements, right? I mean, it's decent micro so far. That Zealot just makes it hard. And yeah, I think Kramer will be comfortable with this. And yeah, he can just get the Observer, and like he'll be able to come across with just a bunch of green Observer ultimately, right? Or do you wait for a Reaver?
No, you have to just rush the Observer, keep it with your goons, don't expand outwards. Because if your opponent's rushing DT this aggressively like this, you can even just be comfortable getting a Nexus really fast, or pushing across the map knowing their choice of tech cannot fight your army.
Right. I was just thinking, if they get cannons, which is typically what you do when you expand this, oh, the probe's coming back. It's like, hi again, how's it going? Still making DTs? Cool, yeah, Temple Archives, cool. Forge? Yeah, that seems about right. Okay, bye.
The pro you try to leave, what a baller. He's like, I did my job, fuck it.
Let me retire, goddammit, I saved this entire game. Okay, so we see Crane moving his units across already. He can't hit before DT, but he could prevent cannons from going up in the natural, I think is the idea here. And when the DTs pop, the goons are fast enough they can just retreat. I'm pretty sure that's what he's thinking. And look at this, he's about to start stuff at the natural here.
Yeah, should still be able to move forward here. At least get an idea if Space is trying to expand or really committing to a giant attack. If you're paying attention, you can also see the little shimmers, and with that one strike going through, definitely confirms DTs, even though that probe was in the base. It's definitely seeing everything. Crane gonna pull back, has plenty of time to get everything online. Observer being made should be done before the things even get to that natural. Shouldn't even be able to cancel the Nexus.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, obviously Space doesn't realize that Crane knows, so he's kind of thinking, yes, it's working, but when the Observer pops out, it'd be a bit of a rude shock. Well, I don't know, what do you think? With 3 goons and 2 DTs, can you? No, okay, the Observer's just there.
Well, again, like, with the... I mentioned it at the very beginning when they were going for this thing. Space does not have Dragoon range.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
So
yeah.
it's going back into that. Crane has the faster Nexus, has the range, the micro opportunities, has the observers for this, like, to be able to make sure the DTs don't do their shenanigans. And you can see now Crane's actually rushing into a Citadel, rushing to their own Templar attack, making sure that they don't have to stop for Reavers. They're going to match their opponent for Storm and just have a better economy and a better army.
I'm surprised he's not trying to push across here, though. He's just going to sit back and expand himself. Like, I feel like he could have probably gotten in here. Because one Storm isn't going to do that much, I don't think. I'm pretty sure he actually did research Storm already. Again, there's the one Templar.
But think about what Space did. He built cannons at the front. He has these Templars.
True.
If you move across the map, you're attacking into his strength of the cannons, and you might be opening up that chance for the DTs to, like, kind of counterattack, get some harassment done.
Right.
Crane's back at home is the safe play.
I guess so, and his Nexus is faster, right? He got some probes early game with the Zealots. I guess it makes sense. It does look like he has every advantage right now.
And we do see Space adding on some more gateways, trying to catch up in unit production. I mean, he doesn't have the Robo Observer, so cutting some corners, which this is a great opportunity. If Crane wants to be cheeky, and you think your opponent's just leaning in, with the Observer across the map, they can go in and actually scout that. If there's no Robo, and you see the main, there's no, like, cannon to main, you can DT drop yourself. How are they going to stop you?
Oh yeah, it's so brutal. Like, you think Zerg have it bad? Like, same thing can happen to Protoss, where, like, you suddenly look back and all your probes are dead, and you're like, why didn't anyone tell me?
Speaking of Crane making some DTs, see, we're on the same page. I know Crane's doing
But like you said, it's all Team Drag fam, right?
No, Dragon would never tell us to play PvP like this. Get out of here.
Yeah, but the point is, we're all in the Discord, you know. The strategies are shared. Okay, Robo coming up now, but perhaps it will be too late. No shuttle on the way for Crane, though, so maybe he's just thinking, oh, wait, no, there's a shuttle finished.
Yeah, it's already done, man. It's already done.
Well, what I said was technically correct.
You were technically correct.
That's right. Alright, here we go.
Crane in chat, don't associate me with you. Oof.
Wow, okay. Does he just mean both of us, or like one of us in particular?
No, I think he's like just feisty. Speaking of feisty, look at Space moving out on the map with this army. No observers here. He's got some Templar Storms research, so he's trying to get some advantage here. He doesn't have the speed on the Zealot yet, so
oh my god, the shuttle.
Whatever he can find, whatever advantage he could try to get. One shuttle with a singular DT, one DT moving across the map, like without anything, and Crane keeping everything else back at home, making sure there's no counterattack to do any critical damage. While Space moving across, but Crane's already up 20 supply, and now this DT's going to do some work.
Oh, there's actually goons positioned. Oh, but he dropped it anyway. I didn't see. Oh, he's going to work. And now Space is compelled to attack because he knows he's going to take huge damage. Now, these storms are going to be clutch, but the army is just bigger for Crane. Oh, but he's in such a narrow area. Storm's doing a lot of damage so far, but is it enough? Observer wisely being held in the back. The DT actually got baited, I think, in Space's base. Got taken out, but a lot of mine time is still being lost. DT at the front also helping defend for Crane. He's going to crush this army, I think. But he did lose some of his own probes.
I think you're fine with that, though. You're going to reset everything. That DT, there's no detection. Space has to tap out, and Crane taking it 2-1.
That makes him the king of Tier 0. Well done. Nice.
That's fantastic play from all the players we had tonight. So that's going to wrap up our finals for the King of Tiers tournament. Shout out again to Specialist. He was the man running this for y'all. We do a couple of these per season, kind of give everyone that like chance to be like, no, I'm killing it, and I'm going to show everyone that I'm killing it. So look out for more of those in the future. But it's just really just a precursor to the regular season being started. We are now officially in week 1. You have until Sunday to get your games played. The matchups are out. They're on TL. Your team admin should know about it too. You can start practicing up, start setting things up. If you liked our casting, Tuesday, Wednesday, match of the week, 7 o'clock at Eastern time. We will be here. Definitely me. Probably Neblime. We'll see.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
That's why I said probably. See, plausible deniability. We got this. And other than that, like, we're just getting into CPL 6. Everyone should be getting hyped, getting super excited. We're going to try to put out some content for y'all that you're really going to be able to enjoy. Other than that, I think we're done for the night, dude.
Yeah, some hype games. Shout out to all the players. That was really awesome. All right, see you guys at Match of the Week.